Jesus. And we begin. Jesus. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the show.
Hi, everybody.
The show. We got a very busy show today.
Yes.
We got Joe Rogan coming in about, I don't know, he'll be here very soon, actually.
Joe Rogan walks in whenever Joe Rogan decides.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then we got Ricky Gervais later on.
What? This is amazing.
I think we're going to finally be here for a Ricky Gervais interview.
That'd be unique.
That'll be really nice.
Usually
we got Bruce Buffer.
And Bruce Buffer, of course.
He's here
for UFC.
Yeah.
There's a big fight going on?
Tomorrow night. Uriah Faber.
I think I got some pregame going on tomorrow.
Pregame for the Super Bowl?
Yeah, a little pregame. I think.
Should we just take Monday off?
Mikey Cuffs.
Do we need to take Monday off?
You know what? Kenny reminded me. Last year we took Monday off.
And how did it work out for everybody?
I think it worked out very well. And I was discussing this in the elevator, the nice elevator ride I have with Kenny each morning, and I was thinking, like, why, should I fake it and actually try to convince anybody that I'll be here raring to go Monday morning? Or should I just say fuck it?
You're tapping out already.
I don't know, because it's not like it's just, it's the Super Bowl. I'm having a party at my house, and people, it's not like I could just, get the fuck out of my house. People stay.
But can you control yourself?
No. I won't even fucking... What, are you kidding?
You won't even try.
I can't. Yourself? No. Perfect question and an honest answer.
At least you're being honest.
I don't... Oof.
If there's drinks around, you just can't say no, huh?
Oh, it's...
when
it's... Well, no, if there's drinks around, I can absolutely control myself in that, like last night, the night before. Yeah, fine. If there's a party, a Super Bowl party,
forget it.
It's very difficult in that party atmosphere to not, I'll just grab another fucking glass of wine.
How many did you have last night under control?
18.
16 natty ices?
No, I had 2 bottles of Budweiser last night. I had one at about
I thought you were going to say 2 bottles of wine.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No.
Or vodka.
I had one at 5 with dinner.
I don't care. I was just kidding.
And then I had another little nightcap at about 9:30.
I was just
kidding. I had another Bud.
You do what you want.
And that was that. No, that's fine. It's fine. But no, my weekday drinking is not anywhere near where it was. Oh, my goodness.
Ooh. You've decided to, cut back.
No, I didn't even decide. It was like kind of a just happened thing.
Did you get sick of it?
Yeah, I realized I'm not getting a good drunky feeling from this. Well, it's just kind of a...
Well, that's why you got to start drinking the harder stuff.
Well, maybe that's what I got to do is start on the whiskey.
Look at me encouraging you.
I guess there is a crossroad people take. It's either well, this ain't really doing anything, so... fuck it, or this ain't really doing anything, so I'll just drink whiskey.
Oh, my God.
I don't know.
Hard liquor is brutal.
It's,
when you get older, hard liquor is brutal.
It's always odd watching some old guy downing fucking...
Like it's nothing.
Scotch and...
Scotch is brutal. I don't understand the Scotch drinkers.
What did he have to do in bar fight? Did he have to tie? What did he have to tie?
Oh, he tied
a tie or something to his wrist, around his neck.
Yeah, and then he'd hold the shot glass and then use his neck like a pulley and pull the glass up to his lips. Hey, to all my friends!
A drink!
It was bad.
It was naughty.
I felt hungover after watching that movie. It's just, how that is. But, a fucking Super Bowl party, that could be trouble. But, I don't know. Maybe I could cut off a little earlier, start drinking some of the water.
Yeah, right.
Load up on food.
Uh-huh.
No, it won't be it'll be 2 o'clock and everyone will be drinking and singing karaoke, and I'll be like, I gotta go to work soon.
No, because they have to go to work. Everybody has to work.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, everyone's going to be in bad shape Monday.
That is true.
What is that?
Banged up, as they say. Oh, no.
What is this?
I don't know. It was just on the computer, but it's a picture of Fez and his toenails.
I see that. God damn it.
Please save this. I understand why.
Oh, we do.
You understand why?
I do. Why get rid of a good toenail?
They're the thick ones that are yellowing.
Yeah. You can make a nice batch of cinder bricks.
What are those?
Those are like they're chocolate-coated lima beans with a toenail stuck in the side.
Oh, in the side.
It's almost like a little fucking toothpick in a cocktail frame.
Right, yeah. Oh, convenient.
He's got like fungus. He has a fungus problem with his toenails, too.
Well, you just put them in your mouth and you suck them out and then you stick the toenails back in.
Stop it. This is terrible.
Just to freshen the breath a little bit.
Do you know what they're doing?
What?
A Super Bowl bet.
Yeah.
Where the loser has to swish the toenails around in his mouth.
I was just kidding when I said that, really?
I know, yeah, that's what they're
fucking
doing.
Disgusting.
Who's betting?
Gino Visconti.
Who's he?
Gino's a comedian.
Oh,
He's
Gino's
funny,
with the monkey?
Yeah, psychotic Gino. He's a funny.
Where we had to
fucking
drive
weirdo.
all over Cleveland finding a stupid monkey. Not that guy?
Yes, with his fucking his curly Jeff Ross hairdo really bugs me. But he's a funny guy.
He travels with a monkey, like a little like stuffed monkey.
Yeah.
And he lost it, and we all were jumping in cabs trying to find a stupid monkey in Cleveland. That was when we were off the air, I believe, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I was like, oh my God, I must have been gone that day.
That's when I was just wandering around. I would
wander the earth.
I would call Jimmy every once in a while. Where are you? All right, I'm going.
That was a fun Cleveland trip. Actually.
Yeah, I went to Cleveland and Dallas,
or San Francisco. We literally
San Francisco, but that's when I was sort of living in L.A. And Jimmy, I go, where are you? He goes, San Francisco. I'm like, all right. And I jumped in a car and went up that Pacific Coast Highway for the first time.
Yeah.
Oh,
nice.
That ruled.
Crazy.
And first time I was in San Francisco, I loved it.
Ooh.
It's a great city.
It's an amazing city.
It's so weird it gets the gay rap because it's a great city, and you know, I thought, okay, it's just going to be
just gays all over.
And no, it's like any other city.
Well then fuck that.
Yeah, we tried shit on our room. They looked at us. We were like, we thought this was a good city for us.
I don't know. That's a weird reputation for a city like that because it's fucking just.
Yeah.
It's really
nice.
Yeah, it's really nice, and there's a lot of cool things to do, and all you hear is San Francisco gay. San Francisco gay. That's all you hear growing up.
I'm sure there are areas.
There's sections like any other city.
Yeah.
But you assumed, you know, it was just every street.
Think you fucking just all kinds of shenanigans happening on the little cable cars.
The food's fucking amazing.
Have you ever been there?
Great, dude.
Never.
It's awesome.
Never been to old Frisco.
Alcatraz.
Yeah.
Down by the wharf is cool with the fucking sea lions.
Good seafood and all that shit,
Yeah. And then you could go up into wine country. You could walk across the Golden Gate Bridge, which is awesome.
I was so sick that weekend. I was shitting. I was the first time there. I was doing the Punchline. It's a smaller club. I probably shit 9 times. I was really sick. I hadn't slept in 3 days. I was having panic attacks. I did that show on Alice. It was I forget her.
Oh yeah, we did that
I
show.
love her. She's really nice.
I forgot her name.
Early to bed. Early to rise.
Oh my God, and I know her too. I always think of her as Alice. That was the name of the station.
Well, there was No Name was part of that show, right?
Dude. Yeah, he's a
at
big
the
kisser.
time. And the girl, she was really cool.
Sarah,
of course, yeah.
And I was so sick and shitting. Oh, it was a terrible weekend.
Wow.
Yeah, I couldn't sleep. Panic attacks.
Aw.
Sandy Franny.
Poor guy.
Yeah. Little nervous fella.
Like a chihuahua.
I did.
Shitting himself.
We had no radio show. I didn't think people were going to come see me. My little leg was kicking out. Duties were flying everywhere.
So Super Bowl is 2 days away.
Yeah.
So you're not going to make it in Monday.
No, I'll be in Monday.
I could have bought tickets last night. I just got declined.
Yeah.
No interest.
It really is kind of a wash, this whole thing.
I don't know. It feels like it.
Yeah.
The locals just don't give a fuck.
Locals don't care. I guess they were talking to some guys in Times Square, some of the business owners.
Right.
And they're like, yeah, this isn't translating into anything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're saying they're right there. I guess some of the stores, they look out and there's their Super Bowl Boulevard. And they said there's been no change in the business whatsoever. So all these millions and millions that they're saying this was going to bring in to the city, it's not happening. And with the cost of extra security and maintenance and building all this stuff, I wouldn't be surprised they lose money on this.
It doesn't seem like there's a lot more people out there. We're a block away from Super Bowl Boulevard.
Fucking freezing.
Or Broadway.
Broadway.
Call
it Broadway.
I don't know what the fuck
Super Bowl Boulevard.
Yeah.
We're live on Super Bowl Boulevard.
That's right.
Are you?
Oh.
We sent Sal down there.
And Manny?
You made him flirt with dudes?
We made him. I can make him stop. That's what he said.
Yeah. Sucking dick is flirting, I guess.
Exactly. He was shooting a new Doritos commercial. Put orange stuff on their penis. We got it, Jim. First time you said it.
Yeah, Sal didn't. I mean, he's not the biggest football fan in the world, so he didn't have an angle. So I was just, just go out there and do your thing. And so he wanted to, just get a little flirty. And,
Should we try this?
That's nice.
Yeah, I set him up to go to the biggest, burliest, bearded men that I could find.
Oh, great.
He talks to a big burly biker named Jack.
Yeah, Jack was like, he's like an old school, like, biker dude. Like, he had a leather vest on that said, like, don't fuck with me on the side of it.
Well,
and a big white beard.
Why didn't you heed the warning?
I guess I didn't see it.
We're hanging out in Super Bowl Boulevard, and we're here with Jack. How you doing, Jack? Where are you from, buddy?
Seaford.
Who do you want to win the Super Bowl this year?
Denver.
Now, out of the two teams, who has like a prettier jersey?
Prettier jersey? I don't know. I guess I'm a little partial to orange, so I would say I like the orange jerseys,
Now, if the NFL put into an effect that they started wearing like a little bit more tight pants, how'd you feel about that?
Is this fucking guy serious? Tells me about tight pants. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I think the pants are tight enough,
You don't want them any tighter?
No, fuck no.
Throw them off the balcony. Sorry, smoking a pipe. It's quite strong.
Yeah, he started smoking a pipe. And
tell me how delicious Peyton Manning is.
How delicious Peyton Manning is. I couldn't tell you that. I really know. I have no idea.
And who are you wearing today?
Who am I wearing? Carhartt.
I don't own anything from Carhartt.
You probably wouldn't. You look a little gay.
Wow.
Yeah, that worked.
Let me show you a picture of this guy.
That worked.
And Sal hung in there, too. He didn't back out.
Sal did not pussy out.
Holy shit.
Jesus Christ.
That's a guy with a big leather glove who was gonna walk away with little teeth in the fucking knuckles.
Right.
And see, like halfway through, that's the pipe he's holding. It's on O&A show on Twitter right now, the photo of Sal in Times Square. He takes a swig of the pipe and just blows the smoke right in Sal's face and says, go ahead, next question.
Of course.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, wow, that was fucking funny. It's all about just grabbing people and interviewing them down there. That's like kind of what all the shows are doing.
Yeah.
And there's not many real people to grab.
I have no regret about not being there.
I don't care.
Oh, I wish we were there in the middle of Super Bowl Boulevard, the heart and
great.
center of all the action.
No fucking way.
We were there,
it's fun.
We were there mid-afternoon.
Yeah.
And it's like there are people there, of course.
It's Times Square.
It's Broadway. There's always people.
Yeah.
But we were walking through. Like, it's not like it was, how are we going to get through?
No,
like,
no.
And that's usually the case when they had these Super Bowls somewhere else.
Festivals.
Every interview. Look at the interview. Every interview, we were able to find a nice space where we weren't in anybody's way.
Oh, my God. There's plenty of room around Sal and
Right.
and the biker dude.
So what...
Let's continue. We got another one here.
Oh, we got another one?
Yeah,
Great.
Sal talks to Wally.
How you doing, Wally?
All right.
So, the big game Sunday, and who do you want to win the game?
I think Denver's going to win.
You think Denver's going to win?
Yep.
Now, out of the two teams, which has a prettier jersey?
No comment.
All right. Moving on. How delicious is Peyton Manning?
Delicious? Wow, these are tough questions. I don't know about delicious. The guy's good.
Okay. And how gay do you have to be to fully appreciate the Super Bowl?
I think I'm done now, thanks.
What did he say? How what?
How gay do you have to be to enjoy the Super Bowl?
I'm done now, thanks.
People really don't like gays.
People get really nervous with the gay stuff.
That guy was like an older guy, and he had a mullet, and he was just sitting there. He was trying to look at the Lombardi Trophy.
Oh, well.
And Sal was just like, hey, we're doing some interviews about the Super Bowl.
Sure.
Very good.
Holy shit.
Good job,
Sal.
man.
Good job, Sal. Were you nervous doing this?
That was the scariest one. The guy.
The first one?
Yeah, the first one. I was
Jack.
I also kept trying. A lot of the black guys didn't want to do the interviews at all, but I kept like anytime like 7-foot black guys would walk up, I'd be like, "That Sal, you got to get that guy."
No.
Just hoping that somebody would hit him.
They wouldn't. I'm amazed anyone really thought he was gay. You know, with that fucking meticulously groomed beard.
But it was a lot of fun.
Well, I don't
Got
doubt
to meet
it.
a lot of friends.
Yeah.
A lot of new people.
Sal really is glowing this morning. He is an aptly cheeked sweetie.
This is the first thing he's done.
He's inching
that actually
out of the
works.
Yes. If by inching you mean fucking battering ram.
Sal talks to Rocky, the Colorado Leprechaun.
Yeah,
What's this about?
I'll tweet a photo
Probably
of
the
him.
fight he just had.
Jesus.
So we were walking around and we see this guy, and I didn't know he was anybody, but we see him dressed up as like a little orange leprechaun.
Oh!
Is he a midget? No, he was just a short dude, but he was not a midget. And apparently he's one of those like cheerleaders, not a cheerleader, but like the fireman Ed or whatever from the Jets. And so he's a Denver Bronco leprechaun. But he also had like what appeared to be a fairly obvious cold sore on his lip.
Did you ask him about it?
No.
Sal.
I know I should have, but
my favorite part is if you listen to this.
Yeah.
Sal, he is trying to get him out of character. He won't drop the Leprechaun character.
Oh no!
Until the very end, Sal gets him out of Leprechaun.
Oh, okay.
Let's listen to this.
All right, I'm Sal. I'm here with Rocky, the Colorado Leprechaun. How you doing today?
Oh, it's wonderful. It's wonderful here in Times Square, and I tell you what, it's a beautiful, beautiful day. Lots of people out having fun.
Now, this might be a silly question, but who do you want to win the Super Bowl?
Well, you know, silly is my business. And the Leprechaun, that's what we do.
Waited for applause.
So that question's not too bad, you know.
Now, they're wearing orange on the bottoms, correct?
No,
I don't know
the reason he's paused there is because when he says that, normally he has to duck a punch.
Silly is my business.
Duck, put hands up defensively.
Silly is his business.
Oh, look out.
That would only be fun if he worked as a mortician. To cheer people up.
Oh, God.
Silly.
my business. Toe tag.
Right.
Bottoms, correct?
Well, I don't know what they're wearing underneath those costumes, those uniforms, but if they're wearing orange bottoms, that's okay with me.
Now, how delicious is Peyton Manning?
Oh.
I've never nibbled on him, but he seems to be a sweet man.
A sweet man if you tasted him.
Well, I don't know. I'm not that kind of fairy.
Oh,
Okay. How gay do you have to be to watch the Super Bowl?
I don't know anything about that.
I don't know anything about that. Scram, fag.
He was
Everyone's.
but he no longer was a leprechaun. That's the point there.
No, I ain't silly as me business. Fun, fun, fun. Gay, go fuck yourself. Not even a little.
Man.
There's a photo of him on O&A show on Twitter right now.
No, that's how
There
he
it is.
dresses.
That's him. He's walking around.
Silly is his business, huh?
Unless you're talking about gay stuff.
Right.
I don't know anything about that.
Then he becomes deadly serious.
Right. One more. Sal talks to Peter.
This Peter was one of my favorites.
Is that the euphemism that you're using now? Sal's talking to Peter. Very closely.
Yes.
A microphone.
Peter was probably 7 feet tall.
7 feet tall.
Had a big giant beard on him, and didn't seem to have a sense of humor. Just like he wasn't smiling walking around.
Wow.
So we figure that's perfect for an interview with Sal.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, we're here at Super Bowl Boulevard. I'm here with
Peter,
How you doing today, Peter?
I'm all right. How are you?
Good. I'm doing excellent. So Super Bowl is this weekend, on Sunday, of course. Who do you want to win?
I have really no root and interest in the game, but I think the Broncos are going to
Out of the two teams, who has a prettier jersey?
win. The Broncos' orange jersey's better.
Why is that?
It just looks nicer to me.
Now, if they started having to wear like tighter pants, how'd you feel about that?
I think it's one of those jokes. No, it's fine. The pants are all right.
Now, who has the prettiest hair in the NFL?
I'm not sure about that. All right. Thank you.
Everyone gets so nervous with the gay.
Oh, that's
They
great.
get very nervous.
Doing this interview is just going to make me gay by association?
Right.
That guy was terrifying. He was really, really tall. And he was like big fucking
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And he kept
Sexy.
we kept seeing him as we were walking around the boulevard, and kind of looking because he was the one guy that we weren't sure he was going to find us and punch us all in the face for making
right,
him do that.
for making him look like he'll leave, think about it a little, and go, I should have kicked someone's ass over that.
But to be fair, for a straight guy, he was wearing pretty tight sweatpants. So
was he?
We'll see.
Well, that's a very good job, Sal.
All right,
That's a good one, Sal.
Ballsy.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, balls out there, huh?
Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
It's not easy to do. I've done a lot of man on the street interviews, man. It's like you start to think like, wow, this is funny, but I do have a fucking jaw to be broken.
Yeah, I thought for sure that the biker dude, this guy, was going to hit him.
Yeah, the first guy.
Especially because if you listen to the tape that we just played, Sal kind of kept going with it. And I was like, holy shit, Sal. I'm not jumping in with that guy. Like,
Yeah, fuck
you're on your
that.
own, buddy.
You wouldn't jump in with anybody. If Dakota Fanning hit him, you'd sit there and watch it.
That's true.
Yeah, that guy looks like the kind of guy that would fucking just belt you fast.
Problem. He has a history, too.
Oh.
If you look at that guy, he looks like he's got a history.
He's had some issues in the past.
Yeah, he's spent some time in lockup. He's fucking hurt some people very badly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's probably like totally straight, but he has a thick beer can dick that he has sunk into other men. Only,
teach them a lesson.
And also, yeah, only because he was doing 4 years or something. That guy is a fucking animal.
You can see the patches on his jacket right now. You can't really make it out, but you can definitely see that word says hate.
Right.
Of course.
And this says fuck you on top of it. Right?
Oh, my God.
Oh my God.
And he blew the pipe right in your face.
Yeah,
right?
I didn't like that.
Blew the pipe.
Did he do it on purpose?
Of course.
Sal reciprocated.
Now, if you had been asking him normal questions, do you think he would have done that, or he would have been nicer to you?
No, he'd have been a lot nicer, I think. Yeah, people got that sense, like, immediately that I was trying to do something, I suppose, and then this guy just was not having it, you know?
Well, you were trying to make them look like fools.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, right.
Yeah, tighter pants.
And instead, this guy just said, yeah, you look a little gay.
You look a little gay.
Yeah, it sounds like I've had that conversation in the mirror.
I love how they all tapped out.
Yeah.
Oh, they got nervous.
All right, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
that's it
you.
then.
Yeah, goodbye. All right, whatever. We don't know.
I was informed this would be a football interview. Goodbye.
The weather's finally changing just in time for the Super Bowl. It's going to be, what, 40 today?
Yeah.
Nice.
Bob Kelly got me so good last night, and I know, Bob, you're fucking with me, you piece of... I'm walking out of the cellar, and I see Bobby, and he goes, we're talking about going to UFC. He goes, yeah, dude, there's supposed to be a big storm. They're thinking of moving the Super Bowl to Saturday. I'm like, really? I hadn't heard that. He goes, yeah, Dana already said if they do that, they're doing UFC on Sunday. I'm like, oh, I'll check the weather. And then as I'm in my car, I'm like, that lying cocksucker. He got me for like 10 minutes. As I'm driving home, I'm like, that's ludicrous. I checked my fucking weather app, but he did get me.
But how would they be able to change everything like
Great
that?
question. They wouldn't is the
It would
answer.
be impossible.
You're right.
That's logistically impossible.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
A big storm coming. Fuck. Got me good.
Well, yeah, it's supposed to be like, I guess, in the
90s?
30s.
Yeah.
30s during game time.
Yeah, it's fine. That's easy.
Yeah, no problem.
They do playoff games in that weather like it's nothing.
Yeah.
At the end of the season, actually, a lot of games are played in that, so it'll be fine. Did you see the governor of Georgia with the snow and ice down there?
Well, they giving him shit?
Well, yeah, fuck yeah. He's taking full responsibility.
I love that one. Nothing happens.
This will never happen again.
I take full responsibility.
But they're saying he fucked up.
Yeah?
Yeah, he just didn't understand, the severity of what could possibly happen down there.
Indeed.
Are people back home finally? They get their cars back?
I heard that. They're getting their cars back. The roads are back open, and I guess their schools have to be closed another day. But
why?
They still got to clear some shit off the roads.
Jesus
Some of the cars and
amazing
stuff. Yeah, it really did shut the fuck down.
And the governor, I mean, he's not going to do anything differently.
No. What are the odds?
You can't waste money every year for snow removal in a place that doesn't really get storms like that.
Nah, you roll them bones. You roll the dice. Right.
Roll the fucking dice and hope it doesn't happen for another few years. Period.
Yeah. And I guess...
What's this clip? Is it good? Here's the governor right here.
We got a clip.
Go ahead. What were you going to say?
No, I was going to talk about de Blasio, but we'll do that after.
Oh, sure. Of course we will.
It's Wolf Blitzer. It's got to be good.
Yes, yeah, it's true.
Apologize today forthrightly at your news conference earlier today. Some people are criticizing you, though, saying, what took so long?
For the apology?
Yes.
I actually apologized the first day.
Waddle doodle.
And, apologies are something that don't change the circumstances.
Apologies are very
What
good.
we intend to do is to change the circumstances. So in the event such a similar event occurs in the future, that we will react earlier and that we will have the resources to be able to make an effective dent in that problem.
Are you going to fire anyone?
I think it's way too early to be talking about firing anybody. I don't look for scapegoats, as I said earlier today. I think it's important that we identify what the problems are. We've already had a meeting with our major agency heads, and we've asked the question of them, what would you do differently? What do we need to do better? And how do we go about making sure that we fill all of the holes for future endeavors?
But we need someone to be fired so he can report on it and go to his house, talk to his wife, and
what a babyish question that was. Why did the apology take so long? Really? That's where you've come from standing on the fucking roof in Baghdad as bombs were dropping? Why didn't you say you were sorry faster?
Sooner. You didn't say it sooner.
Who the fuck needs an apology anyway?
So stupid.
Maybe in your personal life, someone that's really close to you, but...
Someone be fired?
I don't give a fuck if a governor apologizes to me.
No.
Go fuck yourself.
It means nothing.
And then there's another clip where the governor, someone from CNN was trying to ask him a question after a press conference, and he started getting mad at the CNN guy and basically saying that they fucked up the weather forecast, and that's one of the reasons why all this shit went down. I don't know if you can find that clip, but he refused to talk to CNN because he was very mad at their forecast. He was trying to blame the weather people.
Blame the weather guy. Hey, your forecast sucks.
Yeah, if you can find it, great. If not, whatever. So we probably should break. Joe Rogan's going to be here any minute, and we got food in front of us, so perfect time to break. Joe Rogan joining the show in a few minutes here. Ricky Gervais later. Bruce Buffer a little later. And
star-studded.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'll be doing impressions. My new impressions.
Really?
Whichever one I do everyone. And I've never done on the show because I'm embarrassed by how good I am, and then all of a sudden that's all people are going to want to hear.
Well, you can do one now?
Who'd you like?
Marcel Marceau.
Need proof?
Get over here. How you doing? Joe Rogan. How you doing, man? Yeah, we just came back from, of course, the mics. You know, I don't have the board in front of me.
There you go, Sam.
There we go.
Joe is walking in.
There it is.
Hey, Opie!
There it is. Joe's got to come over. Say hi.
What's up, brother?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was just listening to your podcast yesterday. I brought in Tom Segura with me, too. Hilarious.
Hey, Tom, what's up, buddy?
Los Angeles.
Of course.
How you doing, man?
Cincinnati.
So move him up to the table.
Get over here, you fuck.
What the fuck? I was just watching a clip of Adam Carolla on your podcast talking about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and we had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in here I think twice now, right?
Oh yeah.
Or at least once.
Once in here, and once I just came to meet him when he was in the lobby.
And I could totally relate to some of the stuff Adam Carolla was saying because he's a weird fucking dude, man.
I think you fuck more than 10,000 women.
Yeah, that was like the big story, right?
Blows.
Wait, that was Will Chamberlain, I thought.
Was it Will?
Didn't Kareem Abdul-Jabbar fuck 10,000?
I think
Will did. Kareem was probably more religious, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
he probably got blown a few times, but yes, Will Chamberlain.
But
and Magic.
Kareem set of airplane.
To me, it's all those tall black dudes. They're all getting some older, tall black dude category.
Just fucking everything that moves.
But our story with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, you're talking about one of the greatest athletes of our time. Whether you like basketball or not, he's right the fuck up there. And we watched him get yelled at by his publicist because he wasn't promoting his dumb children's book on our show.
Yeah, he was talking about basketball. Go figure.
We were having
and the publicist got all fucking pissed off.
And he looked at us like, "Can you believe what I have to deal with?" And she's a real cunt, actually. I think she's not even allowed in the building anymore.
Yeah,
but Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has her as his publicist.
Well, she had a bad reputation. The first time I was here, I came in to meet him, and she was. They said that, she's really difficult to deal with, and like you can't ask her for anything. And I happened to see Kareem walk out, and he recognized me from my one episode of Bored to Death. That was the only reason he took the picture with me. And then they shamed him into signing a ball.
Right.
I was like, I was like a fucking 5-year-old handing a ball to the big man. It's like the Mean Joe Green commercial.
But the big man. But we felt so bad for the guy. We had a really good interview with him, and you're doing this now too, obviously, and you're gonna promote eventually whatever the fuck they need to promote, which we did properly. eventually.
That's the way to do it, though, right? Not to
you have
stuff it down.
Right. No one cares at that point.
You get it in eventually, but then right after the interview, she's just yelling and screaming and pointing at him. I'm like, that's fucking Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You can't do that to him.
I suspect that's why he likes her, though. That was my opinion. There's something about, without a doubt. There's something.
You're thinking maybe some subservient.
He's wearing a diaper, roped up.
I'm telling you.
Hogtied.
Yeah, there's something about that it just struck me as a very odd couple. They flew together. I flew on with Kareem too.
Oh, you did?
And I felt bad for him because he was like 3 seats behind me. And then when you look at him like trying to sleep, he has to sit straight up and he puts a blanket like over his head like fucking E.T. in the basket because he can't get comfortable. There's no way he can put his chair back and get comfortable when you're 7'1".
When they walk through this door, it looks like the fucking thing from Close Encounters.
Amazing.
When it comes out of the ship, it's just lanky, tall, arthritic knees.
We've had some tall fuckers in this room.
Yeah.
Remember the guy from the Harlem Globetrotters?
Yeah.
His head was basically touching the ceiling.
Isn't it freaky seeing those dudes when they get older too? Because their bodies all fall apart.
Yeah.
Well, that's
those
what
joints can't fucking handle it.
But that's what I was getting at. The clip that I saw with Adam Carolla, he basically talked to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, asking him why there's no 70-year-old tall guys walking around.
Jeez,
they're all dead.
They're all dead.
Yeah.
But Adam had an uncomfortable moment because he brought it up with Kareem, and Kareem's like, "Geez, man, I never thought of that before."
It's basic fluid dynamics, and pumps and altitude.
That's why fighter pilots. Fighter pilots are shorter guys,
right?
Yeah,
because of the pressure.
You don't see old. You don't see old fat guys, and you don't see old tall guys.
Plus, in a fighter pilot, who wants that some fucking big lanky zilch with his face pushed up against the top of the window? You don't want a 6'9" guy in that little shitty space.
Top of the window,
whatever the fuck it's called. He hits the automatic ejector. His
canopy, top of the window.
Dumb ostrich head gets stuck in the window, and he's decapitated.
Weird posture. Yeah, when you're flying in those jets, like I flew in an FA-18 once with the Blue Angels. Those guys, they're all like these shorter, stockier guys. Like they have to be under 6 feet tall.
Really?
They're all like real bulked up because part of the flying thing is the forcing the blood into your brain by hooking. And you don't want to have a lot of space to do that. If you have a lot of space to do that, it just the blood doesn't.
Wait,
make
that's
it.
how you don't pass out?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's like so insane.
Keeping the blood in the upper part of your body and in your head.
I would forget to do that.
Oh, so would I.
I did forget. I made it, and then I forgot at the end. At the end, I forgot, and I blacked out for a second. Yeah, but the G-force, we went 7.5 Gs was the hardest we went, but I blacked out like at less than 7.5 Gs because I forgot to hook.
Wow.
And we went to like 5.
I've never forgotten that.
It's pretty intense. It's pretty crazy.
Wait, do you have to do that the whole time?
No. Only when you get into like really heavy G-force.
Oh, and they
like
tell
when
you.
You're banking, when you're making a hard turn. It's madness when you realize like the amount of pressure on your body. They usually have G suits, but these guys, the Blue Angels, don't wear them.
Right.
They just go raw.
That's
dog.
amazing, man. Yeah. That's like fuck that. We don't need that.
Crazy.
Fuck. They're all animals.
Fuck the shit out of this
savages.
fucking thing. Yeah.
Right.
Just fucking lifting weights, put the weight down, get in a fighter jet,
get in a fucking machine that's we'll just go like twice the speed of sound.
Thick-necked Americans.
But do they have to do that the whole time too, or do you eventually get to a point where you don't have to?
No, you always have.
Oh, you do.
I heard the guy in front of me doing it. It was really scary because he was flying, and when we were hitting 7.5 Gs, it's like an elevator door. Like you feel your consciousness.
Tunnel vision.
You literally
and then
see
done.
It close in because the pressure's insane, and I hear him going. Hoot, hoot. I'm going, oh shit, he's fucking blacking out too. And we're not that high off the ground. We're 1,000 feet off the ground or something like that. I mean, how long does it take to get down there with a plane?
No time.
If it loses control. I mean, we were flying fast and hard, and we were going through a mountain range. It was going like 200 feet
all
above
the
the
features
ground.
of death.
Yeah.
They give you cooking lessons before you go?
Yeah. The dude, they show you a lot of things before you do it. Like they show you like how to eject, how to fall.
Right.
If you're parachuting, it's pretty intense.
But damn. And they just assume that hooking thing's going to work.
It works.
And that guy's got to just make sure he does.
It's the same principle in a lot of ways that you would use in jiu-jitsu to keep from getting choked unconscious. But it wouldn't work in jiu-jitsu because the guy could just close it off.
Right.
Pinch it like a garden hose.
You're using your muscles to keep the blood up in your head.
Yeah.
Like you're giving yourself a head rush.
Yeah.
Just straining. Like when you're straining, taking a dump.
Like that's the best way they figured out. They must have. A lot of people must have blacked out before they figured that out.
Oh my God! The one guy out of 7 that came back. What'd you do? I don't know. I just kept going. Like, that's the way we do it.
Joe, were you scared?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
It's scary. It's crazy. The speed of those things. It's just there's speed, and then there's like fighter jet speed when you're, a couple hundred feet above this mountain range. We were going sideways and back and forth and banking through this mountain range. He took me on a wild ride.
Jesus. Did you get sick?
I did at the end too. Yeah, I was fine to the end, man. A fucking pussy. I turned into a pussy. Man, I blacked out at the end for a second, and I threw up. I threw up after I blacked out.
I would do that as I was getting into the fucking plane.
I bet people have.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's scary because you first of all you take off straight up in the air, like you launch straight up, and just that alone you have to hook when you're doing that because that alone hits like 3 Gs or maybe a little bit more.
Fuck that.
Yeah, that's pretty
amazing. And then
amazing.
you're instantly like in space. It seems like
you're going
like,
so
fast. Why do passenger planes take so long to get up here?
Well, the other thing is
they're up there in no time.
It's small. It's a cockpit is like tiny little thing, and like you feel so, the ground's right there.
Yeah,
it's like there's no space like a big plane. There's the middle row and then the far left row. No, there's none of that.
No,
it's like
everything's
the
right
window's
there
here and the window's there. Like,
you're just in a little tube.
Did you get a little high before?
No way.
No,
that would have freaked you out.
I want to be right there with that one.
Yeah.
I don't want to be up flying around thinking about how do I know the color blue.
That's enough of a high. Holy shit.
Imagine doing that on a fucking passenger plane. The captain has put on the hook light, and the whole fucking plane.
Well, you have to grab your thing too, like the stick in front of you. You're not just hooking; you're holding on to something, or you can grab like the seatbelt that's holding you in place.
Right.
You want to like. You want to force the whole body.
I would just stop doing that. I know I would.
Well, if you did, you'd
understand.
Boom. The elevator door closes.
And then you all of a sudden come back, you're like, where is it? Oh, that's right, I'm in a fighter plane.
Oh, I'm flying.
Oh, I'm flying.
How long did you black out for?
It was only a second. Oh, wow. I had to realize that because I blacked out on a turn.
Oh, wow. Did you have a GoPro on you or something?
No, it was a long time ago. It was 99.
Because I love those. You see the person, they just go, hum, hum, hum. Their face just goes, It's got like Bell's palsy and he's fucking drunk.
Yeah. I think they had that of Tiger Woods, like falling asleep and puking.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Like he was like they're like posing with them, and then he gets in and he's and then he throws up. Yeah.
Gee, you gotta find that video.
Yes, and that was an Escalade as he hit a fucking oak tree.
Going 5 miles an hour
across his face.
Right.
Did he? Tiger Woods? Did he just puke on himself, or they give you something to vomit into?
They give you a bag.
Oh.
Yeah, you have a little vomit bag.
I'm sure they're so used to cleaning puke out of the back of those fucking planes.
Probably hate it.
It was only like a. It wasn't like a like open the floodgates. Stand by me, Stephen King. Vomit. It wasn't one of those.
Baby bird.
Baby bird.
Oh, that's the best. Why did I say stand by me? That was fake. We were there for the greatest puking of all time. Yeah. There was no better. For folks who haven't seen that, this is the greatest moment in the history of anything I've ever been involved in.
It's fantastic.
We've never come close to that day.
Well, you can't now. That's the grossest thing about corporatizing something like the Opie and Anthony show is that you can never get away with this.
No.
What was it, like 2002 or something like that?
No, it was when we first got back. Like
2006?
4 or 5.
No. That was in fucking K-Rock, which we didn't start until 2007. No.
Oh, no, it was last week.
Oh, you're right. It's tomorrow morning.
Just keep going.
Whatever it was.
No, it was K-Rock, which was 07.
There was garbage pails or garbage buckets and plastic all over the ground. And just launching puke into someone's mouth while there was, how many people in the room? Like 15, 20 guys laughing their dicks off. It was one of the finest moments of my life.
You never see things like that.
No, you can never get away with it. You'd get sued. A diabetic is drinking 75 shots of eggnog. Yeah,
exactly.
So no liability there.
Collecting his fucking fingers and toes like an Escape from Alcatraz.
What a crazy fuck he is. Is he still around?
Yeah, Pat from Menaki.
And Pat Duffy.
And Pat Duffy's a fucking animal. Yeah, that kid.
We just saw him last week for the first time in a while. Yeah, that was an amazing day.
Yeah, Pat Duffy leaned his head off of the end of this garbage bucket, and Pat from Unaki threw up in his mouth this cartoon blast of puke that you couldn't imagine coming out of a person's body.
Yeah. It wouldn't end.
If you didn't see it. If you didn't see it, you couldn't imagine the amount of volume.
It was a fire hose of puke. It really was, over and over again.
You think ILM did it. It was like that fucking like cool looking.
Yeah, I gotta find a better video of that. There's a video online.
There's a few videos online that are amazing.
It exists,
but
though.
we
I
had
think Bob has it actually even.
Well, we had a really good copy of it, and then YouTube took it off. But they allowed the other versions up there for some reason.
It's the
probably because they're not in HD.
Who named it the baby bird too?
I thought you
might have, Joe.
No,
it
might have been you. No, it definitely wasn't me naming the baby bird. It was my idea to get him to lean his head over the bucket and then had Pat throw up in his mouth.
Feed him like
I just never thought anybody would say yes to that. I was just being an asshole. I was in Fear Factor mode.
Yeah.
But so I think it was Burr. I think Bill Burr
was he in it?
Yeah, Bill Burr was there.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Eric is saying Bill Burr.
Oh, it's Burr. Okay.
He was there too.
Yeah, Burr was there. It was one of those fucking days, man. Holy
it was glorious.
Shit, it was glorious.
I've watched that so many times with so many people, girls. Like I was trying to fuck. I'm like, you got it. It's the greatest thing you'll ever see. I stood corrected. It was not the greatest thing I ever saw.
I saw a fucking disgusting video yesterday that someone sent. They always do this. Hey, check this out. And I had to turn it off because I was starting to feel faint.
Oh,
it was
some happy interracial couple.
It's a new Cheerios commercial. Yeah. It was sick. I think it was down in Brazil. Some guy had robbed some pregnant girl at gunpoint, and he ended up getting shot. So he's laying in the street with it looked like a bullet wound to the heart and one to the side. And he's laying there kind of writhing around. I guess they got the cameras on right away. Blood all over the place. And he's trying to get up, and he's coughing up blood at one point. He starts coughing up more and more to when there's just black blood flying out of his mouth. He's choking on his own blood. He winds up dying right there in the street.
Was he slipping in his own? I almost think I saw that video. If he's like laying in front of a store or a bodega or whatever.
Yeah, and a bunch of people around him just taping, and they're going like, every time he coughs up blood, you hear the crowd go like, whoa! Oh. And it's like, this is the sickest thing I've ever seen. And I'm watching, I wasn't thinking about it or anything, and I'm like, I could puke. If I watched this any longer.
Was he a criminal?
It was that disturbing. Yeah, and that's how everybody rationalizes watching it. It's like, fuck him. Good, he deserved it.
I don't watch this.
It's like, wow, that's fucking brutal. And you could tell he knows what's fucking going on, and he's trying to get up, and giant amounts of blood are pumping out of his mouth.
No help from the crowd. Those are the scary ones.
They
the whole
just
crowd.
videoed it, and they're cheering like, whoa, every time, like fireworks are going off.
Fuck that.
It was bad.
I don't watch those videos.
Live leak. It was on live
leak. You watch those videos, Joe?
I don't anymore. I've seen enough.
Yeah.
I don't need
I've seen enough.
Yeah, I've seen enough. I've seen enough decapitations. And
I can't watch those at all.
The last one I watched was a guy doing it to, supposedly it was his girlfriend who had done something, but it was a cartel one, and he did it with a small knife.
Holy shit.
And I was like, oh, God, why am I watching that?
Why? You gotta go, like, why am I doing this to myself?
I guess you watch it because you want to know what people are capable of. Because most people, like, you run into would never consider doing that. No. But you need to know that there's people out there that they're not playing by the rules.
Don't you know, though, that it happens by the end result? You don't have to see the whole formula there, you know?
I didn't necessarily know what I was watching.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, this is fucked up. This guy does some really fucked up shit to this woman. Okay, click.
Yeah, sometimes you fall in. Like that one last night I was watching because it sounded like, and all the guy puts is, check this out, it's fucked up. It's like, all right, now I gotta kind of check it out.
You could check it out for a few seconds and realize, okay,
well, that's what I did. The second the amazing amounts of blood started coming out of his mouth, I'm like, all right, I gotta punch out of this. I can't.
I'm a pussy. I just don't go there.
It's because you can't unwatch that shit.
Yes.
Like, that is with you now forever and ever.
I got caught watching a video where in the Middle East they set a dog on fire, like one of those, the cutest dog you could imagine, and it was kids. And they set the dog on fire, and the thing's running around on fire, and they're just laughing. They think it's the funniest fucking thing ever. It made me sick to my fucking stomach. And I decided that right there, I ain't watching these type of videos anymore. Fuck that.
I found they made me more, in really an odd way, empathetic towards these things. Like, 'cause you hear about decapitations or beatings or deaths,
right?
And then when you see it happening, you're like, it's not just these bunch of words put together. Like, there's a real process to it, and it's agonizing. And
but when you realize,
sickening.
It's sickening to realize when you realize what humans are capable of.
Yeah.
I don't like to know that they could go that fucking far. But in the Middle East, they don't respect dogs like we do. So to them, it's. I don't know. I guess it's like if we did it to a squirrel or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but you would feel gross if you did that to anything.
Of course, of course.
Right? Yeah.
Of course.
You'd be fucked.
Yeah,
they were laughing.
Torture. That's fucked up. Then you got to like go to LOL Cats and go. Oh look, it's swatting something. And it's all cute.
It's I saw one in the Middle East where there was like, I guess they were religious crimes. There was 3 guys kneeling there, and they fucking just covered them with like gas, and they just kicked these 3 tied up guys into a fucking hole that they dug and just threw a match in. Just 3 guys piled on top. Imagine burning to death with 2 guys piled on you. How unpleasant that would be.
That would be unpleasant.
Yes, for a religious crime.
Oh my goodness! They just. There's some shit going on that what I don't think was supposed to get out of their little area.
Right.
And then with the internet and everything, it's like now, hey, any 10-year-old can just watch this, which I think is so much worse than porn.
And it's more like, here's something I did 7 years ago. I can finally show the world.
Yeah.
You know, it might have been a tape in a box somewhere.
And years ago, like with porn, years ago it was just, all right, I got a magazine, I could spank one out or something like that. There wasn't like, oh, can you get me a magazine of people chopping people's heads off? Like, that never existed. This watching people get murdered just didn't exist. Until the internet.
Death.
Yeah.
That was so fake,
That was the first time, though.
So much of that was fake.
No, Dr. Francis B. Gross was a real doctor. I was so heartbroken when I realized as an adult the camera angles were all wrong. Like, oh, yeah, there's no way they'd be under the monkey with a camera. That monkey brains thing was fake.
The monkey brains thing fake.
Well, doesn't that drive you crazy about some reality shows?
Yes.
Like, you know what drives you crazy? I was watching Moonshiners, and they got a fucking camera in the car. They get pulled over by the cop. The cop is looking at the camera and doesn't once say, hey, what's the fucking camera for?
What is this?
What are you guys doing? What was this, a TV show?
Hey, do I have to sign a release?
He's looking right at the camera through the door.
Yeah.
Nothing, not a word.
Assisted reality.
Yeah.
It's not even reality shows anymore. It's too bad.
And then the camera guy stays with the cop.
Right.
And then you see the car drive off. From the cop's perspective,
right?
What am I watching?
So the camera guy's standing there with the cop.
Yeah,
it really is.
You guys have multiple cameras here, and this cop's not even talking about it.
Well, we're watching this one show that Sam turned us on to, 90 Day Fiancé, is it called?
Yeah, 90 Day Fiancé. It's pretty good.
It's the best show on TV.
It's like 90 Day Fiancé?
They get these mail-order brides, these guys.
They're K-1 visas. So basically, a broad comes to America, and now she could stay for 90 days, but if you marry her, she stays for good.
So she just fucks you like a wild animal for 90 days.
Oh, you'd think that would be good.
They got 4 couples they're following that are on these 90-day visas.
These guys are all saps. They're all fucking like, she's a great girl, and these girls are like, well, we need to get married. And she's fucking gone the second.
The one sap from Cleveland refinanced his whole house to bring her to America. He's going to lose everything. It's so obvious.
They're all leaving.
And then there's an obvious gay guy, but I guess they're not going to say he's gay, or maybe he's denying it or something.
The hottest girl.
She's like a sex doll. She's a Colombian sex doll, basically. And all she wants to do is have sex all the time. And he's
steal
like,
your kidneys.
Yes, leave you in the tub with a note. Go to the hospital.
Hey, I knew someone that happened to.
Oh, of course you did. Everyone does.
And he's avoiding sex. And
he's avoiding it because he wants to be pure?
And he's trying to save money. He's got this amazing girl from Colombia that he moves into his parents' house with him. The show rules, Joe. I think
it's pretty funny.
And then the last one, there's one couple they don't even focus on because it's relatively normal. Yeah. But then there's a Brazilian broad that literally could be a supermodel.
She's gorgeous,
and she doesn't know how gorgeous she is because she's from a small town.
Wow.
And she's in L.A.
And she went to this hair salon, and the people there are just gushing over her, and they're like, oh, let's put some makeup on you. You're beautiful. She's like, and they were telling me I was beautiful, and she didn't even know. And this guy is like this dumpy guy with some male pattern baldness, and he's like, don't talk to them.
He's so nervous. He's trying to hold on. He knows it's a matter of time.
She could literally be with any NFL superstar tomorrow, and she's with this guy who's just trying to shield her from everything.
And she will be with them. She'll
so
come home
sad.
and be like, "Why does your pussy smell like cocoa butter?" It's a long story.
Cocoa butter. It's so bad because like. We were talking about that yesterday, how we've all been in a situation where we've, gotten a girl that was out of our league, and you just try to keep her away from everybody, and it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
I think this show's going to be terrific. So far, so good.
Yeah, that's pretty funny, man.
I want to ask Joe about Anderson Silva. We all saw the fucking leg break.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
How did you keep your composure when you were still announcing that?
I've seen too much.
That didn't bother
I've seen
you.
too many people get the fuck beat out of them. I was trying to think about this the other day because my wife cut her head. She had, there's a hatchback to her car, and she picked up something and didn't realize that the corner was like right there, and bonked her head. It was a tiny cut, but it was trickling down her face. It didn't bother me at all. Like seeing blood running down her face. I'm so used to blood.
Walk it off.
I was like, it was nothing. It was a little tiny. It's like not even a half an inch of a cut. I was like explaining, like, it's like one stitch. Like to me, it's that's nothing.
Right.
Like,
You've seen too much.
And I thought about it. I'm like, how many people have seen as many people get the fuck beat out of them as me? Like I've seen at least 1,000 people get the fuck beat out of them. Like feet from me, several feet from me,
shit,
by
the
greatest martial artists in the history of the world. Right. I've seen them all, like from a few feet away. I'm so used to physical violence, like one-on-one violence, completely used to it. Like, I've seen fights break out in nightclubs where, when I was younger, I would kind of get freaked out a little bit, but my heart doesn't even skip a beat.
Wow.
It's really weird.
Yeah. You're like the fucking guy
but that leg
in the nom
was
seen too much. I understood that it was
a girl who's had like 1,000 cocks.
Exactly. You're not going to impress her.
Not at all, but you should go down on her.
It's like I knew that it was a bad injury, and I knew his leg was broken, but, there's a weird detachment to injury that you get when you've seen so many of them.
Wow.
I've seen 2 of those where guys snap their legs from getting a kick checked. Both of them, it's the same thing. A guy lifts his leg up, you catch it right below the knee. The shin is very hard, like the part of your bone right above the knee. When it comes in contact with the lower part of the leg, boy, there's a losing proposition for that lower part of the leg.
Oh shit!
Lower part of the leg just does not hang in there. Just snaps off. There's a lot of videos of that online. Right. So it's almost always the exact same break. The lower mid part of the leg, upper part of the shin. They check the kick, crack. It just wank. It just rubbers, just like a rubber foot.
What happens to the other bone behind the
tibia and the fibula both break.
Yeah.
Both of them break.
Both break. Yeah, because it gets all rubbery like that.
It's gone.
Like,
They're both gone.
They're both gone.
Most likely with Anderson, the thought is that he broke one of them, either the tibia or the fibula, cracked them with the first check kick, because apparently it really hurt bad.
Oh, right. Okay.
They all hurt. But you just walk it off. You pretend you don't think about it. You just deal with the pain. But when a guy checks a kick, it's really painful. It's painful for both of you. It's painful for the guy checking the kick and painful for the guy who throws the kick. So a lot of times you don't realize how much pain you're in. You just keep, like a lot of times you break your hand, you don't even know your hand's broken because it's like it's in pain. You're like, I don't know what's going on there. Let's just keep moving and see if this feels better in a few minutes, or and you sit back in your corner and you're like my hand's numb. This thing's broken. Happens like all the time.
Wow.
So you think he had a broken tibia at first?
One of them.
And then he's just on it. And then he
threw it
kicks,
again, same kick, crack, and it just snapped like a twig.
Yeah, I was listening to you closely. I'm like, man, Joe's not even phased.
It's weird. You get so used to it.
Right.
You get so used to injuries and concussions and KOs and cuts and blood. It's very strange.
It was odd though to see, like, because we were me and Kenny he was brought right by us, and to see a guy who's that great of a fighter and that built for that life, all of a sudden stripped of all of that, like when you're that injured and you're just yelling, like where you're just fucking hurt, and there was no amount of training that could make you not hurt in that moment. That was what was really upsetting to see, was a guy reacting in that moment like I would react, just screaming because he was fucking.
Where is he at this point?
Well, he's not walking around without crutches yet, but it's probably pretty close. I mean, they can do amazing things with medicine.
Right.
They have a titanium rod that's inside of his bone that's going to be there for life. It's there forever. Sometimes people have sometimes they put plates in their arms and things, on the outside, and then people go in and they have another operation to get them removed because the plate causes them pain, especially in cold weather, things along those lines, because it's not organic. Something gets cold in your body that you have
Wolverine.
Yeah, it's very weird.
I think Dana said very recently that he's going to fight by the end of the year.
Maybe. You know, Dana's a promoter. Yeah. He wants him to fight by the end of the year. And Anderson wants to fight too, but there's a real danger of that thing breaking again. You got to make sure that it's completely healed up before you check it again. Fuck. You know, if someone throws they're going to do the exact same thing. Anybody who fights Anderson's going to practice checking kicks like a motherfucker. They're just going to be,
how frightening.
And
would
how
that be?
how does he continue to kick?
For the first time, you got to be like,
you got to try it out for the first time.
Guys have come back in other sports, but those other sports are very different. Right. They don't involve purposely trying to break your bones.
Right. It was kind of a fluke that it got hit in that place in the first place. But with that, you're hitting it on the wound.
Now Weidman's
on purpose.
Weidman's had 2 weird fights with Silva.
Yeah.
What do you think of Weidman as a fighter?
He's a fucking savage.
He is.
Yeah, he's a real savage. I knew that guy was something special a long time ago.
Okay.
There's something about you watch dudes that can do things to guys. It doesn't make sense. Like there's people, and I've met them, and I've trained with guys where they look like everybody else. They look the same, but when you roll with them, you're like, what the fuck is going on here? They have like this freak chimpanzee strength, or they're just they don't get tired. There's a weird guy like Cain Velasquez is famous for that. Fucking guy doesn't get tired.
Really?
He's got this weird natural cardio on top of this insane work ethic. He's also a biological freak. Like his VO2 max is through the fucking roof.
What does that mean, VO2
His VO2 max is his ability to process oxygen. It's insane. It's like elite endurance athlete level. And he's 240 pounds with a giant fire hydrant head. You know, he's a terrifying guy in that fact that he's just not going to get tired. He's going to beat the fucking piss out of you, and he's going to put a pace on you that you're not going to be able to keep up with.
Did you mention about Kane recently in a fight about Gonzaga, and you said that's what differentiates this guy from championship level, is the fact that a guy like Kane just does not get tired.
Yeah, Gonzaga's an awesome fighter. He's a big, giant guy, but he gets tired real quick. And one of the reasons being is Gonzaga doesn't train with elite guys. He trains in Ludlow, Massachusetts with his team, and you know, he's got a great school, and he's a great jiu-jitsu teacher, and he's got a really tight-knit group of people that really love him and support him, but you got to get the fuck pounded out of you on a daily basis in order to compete at the elite level. And like Cain Velasquez has Daniel Cormier, and he has Todd Duffy was there for a while, and there's a bunch of guys at AKA that are like elite heavyweights. So he's like getting like really like strenuous, hard, high-level sparring on a regular basis. If you don't get that, if you're always the best guy in the room, it's actually bad for you.
Wow.
It's bad for your fighting style. Like everybody wants to be the guy who kicks everybody's ass, but in order to be the guy who kicks everybody's ass, you got to get your ass kicked. There's no shortcuts to fighting.
That's fucking because that's something you don't want to have happen.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
You don't want to get hit very hard about the face.
One of the drills they do is they take 5 guys, 5 fresh guys, and you go in there and you'll spar 5 minutes with one guy, and then you're exhausted. That guy goes out, boom, new fresh guy goes in while you're exhausted, and they'll just keep rotating guys. And it's to get you comfortable with being exhausted, because a lot of what being exhausted is about is mental fatigue and panic. You know, people panic because the guy's kicking your ass. You got to get used to being in there and relaxing, you know, when you're exhausted, so you don't hyperventilate, you don't seize up.
That's just that's a different brain set. I can't imagine.
But like I was saying, there's guys like Weidman. You watch him throw guys around. You watch him beat the shit out of guys. Like, that guy's different. There's a guy that's different. There's one. There's every now and then you see a freak, and you go, okay, there we go. We got one right here. You know, whether it's a grappling freak or it's a striking freak. You know, there's guys that are just different. They're built different. They move different. They're stronger in their mind. And a lot of them, it's interesting, come from a background where they were getting their ass kicked by their brother all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a lot of them. A lot of, like, Weidman, that's his story. His brothers beat the fuck out of him growing up. Dropped a fucking metal plate on his head, like a Olympic weight on his head when he was a kid. Like, a lot of that kind of shit. And you grow up just a different kind of tolerance to pain and a different, like, ability to absorb bullshit.
Wait, does he have a relationship with his brother now? They're both the same age, or is his brother like 10 years older?
They're older. I think he has older brothers.
Do they fight, those guys?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so. I don't know, though.
I imagine the dynamics have changed over the years.
A little bit.
No kidding.
A little bit. A little bit.
A little bit.
A lot of them grow up like Matt Hughes is famous for having a twin brother who's also an MMA fighter, and you know, throughout all high school they just beat the fuck out of each other.
Yeah,
like they're so used to like fighting another fucking savage in the house on a regular basis. That regular fights with other people, like no big deal. Like here we go.
You have to have that, I guess.
Yeah.
That you were kind of raised in that. Because it would be odd to just, like, all of a sudden, I want to be a fighter, and you're not used to getting hit.
Yeah.
Fuck, hitting. You're just not used to getting hit. That would be a little much.
Well, it's sort of like what we're talking about like watching disgusting, evil videos and like, God, what people are capable of. People are really flexible, like in a lot of ways. Like they're flexible mentally, they're flexible physically. There's there's a range of how people can develop and behave.
Yeah,
and you see that with comedians, you see that with musicians, you see that with fighters, you see that with almost everything. Like, how did this happen? How do you get a guy like that? How do I get a Tom Segura? You gotta have a lot of fucking shit goes wrong to get a guy like this.
You in LA, Tom?
Yeah. Oh, cool. Yep.
What is Tom's story?
It's fucking hilarious. He's awesome. It's one of my
Moved
buddies.
a lot. That's my story.
Yeah.
That's my equivalent of a lot of big brothers beating the shit out of me.
Moving a lot,
new schools every few years.
Father in the military?
Trauma. Finance. Yeah.
Why'd you move?
Wait, he moved around a lot in finance.
No, just like, it was promotions within his company.
See, mine was different. It was like demotions that my father had, getting fired and then having to move because, he's got to bamboozle the next fucking place that we're renting and lead them to believe he's going to pay the rent.
Do you remember the houses getting shittier and shittier, or?
No, they were all pretty much the same type of deal, but it was like every couple, sometimes it was like every year. But every year and a half, 2 years, pack it up.
Isn't
We're
it
getting out of
interesting
town.
how that adversity makes a different type of person? I mean, it just makes a type of person that grows up with, like, really loving, supporting family, with great neighborhoods and really good friends, like, almost never is funny.
I don't know why. You never have to fucking, like, camouflage yourself.
What was the article that came out about you comedians?
I didn't read about comedians psychologically damaged, but I mean, I could have told you that in fucking 1990 after my first set. Yeah,
but they share traits. Share like a lot of traits with psychotic.
Yeah. You know what the problem with that article is, though? It was in the UK, and they said they picked 500 comedians. You tell me there's 500 funny guys in the UK? Get the fuck out of here.
Probably
Get the fuck out of here.
Talk to 500 cheeky fellows.
I don't buy a lot of those UK stories.
I think those stats apply probably a lot to open micers, though.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you're like an open mic, you're like, you're fucking insane.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
You know,
People think they can do it.
But like, if you're around like headliners, you're not like
you would have to
as crazy.
You'd have to test all the comedians to get 500,
right?
Because like we were trying to figure out how many comics there are. I was talking about this like after we were in Vegas the other day. I was like, it's so fun to like meet up with friends that are comics like in another place and get to hang out together. There's like this extra sense of giddiness, like because we understand each other in a weird way. Right. We have a weird camaraderie. And I was explaining, like, there's not many of us. There's, like, 1,000 professional comedians. If there's 300 million Americans, 1,000 are professional comedians. Out of that 1,000, 250 of them are funny. Maybe.
Wow. Maybe.
Yeah. And that's one of them, you know. And I'm like, I ran into one of them. Like, yay, we're in Vegas.
And you speak your own. You speak your own language too.
Yeah, pervert. The language of pervert.
Like the first thing I said to Joe when I saw him is, "Where do you get your ideas?" Joe, you don't want to come to my job because there's a lot.
Watch out!
Yuck.
Watch what you tell him. He'll put it in his act.
Run out of things to talk about?
Yes.
What do you? How do you prepare?
I don't go to comedy shows, and I hadn't seen Joe on stage in a long time because we both are working our gigs, and I went with Kenny and Annie Letterman and my buddy Rob Cullum, and fucking Joe is a really funny actor.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew that, but I just hadn't seen him in fucking 5 years.
I haven't seen you in a while. I love Rogan.
I have been thinking about fucking. There's a couple of jokes he did that I have obsessed over. I'm not going to say what they are, but one is about fucking a woman who doesn't want to fuck you, and one's about a guy jerking off in your face. And they were just fucking like, I wish I thought of that. Really funny, man. Really fucking funny. Me and Kenny talked about you the entire rest of the week.
You just blew up my spot because I was about to say how smart Joe is on the stage.
But it was smart.
Those two jokes.
It's in context.
Yeah.
Right, context of the material.
But it was honest. It was dirty, but it was smart, and it was honest stuff. And it's like, fuck, to be able to, it was something that you say that like, and I hate to go like, I thought of that, but I never said it, like, but as a person, that's what makes a comedian good.
Right. absolutely.
They focus things and say things that you kind of
you want everybody to go, oh, why didn't I think of that?
Right.
That's fucking funny, and it seems so obvious when he says it.
That made me laugh.
Well, I always attribute you to, I shortened my sets after I watched you, because I used to do like an hour and a half, and I would do a Q&A sometimes, and my sets would go like 2.5 hours sometimes. They're so long, so stupid. I went through a period where I was doing that for a long time, and then I saw you in Austin, and you did like 50 minutes, and I laughed my fucking dick off for 50 minutes. I remember two things. One, like, I like that better, like a shorter, more concise, quick, you know, it's like, it's the right amount of time. Like, I was wearing people out. It's too, and then the other thing was, I used to think that I had too many dick jokes. And I was like, I think I have too many dick jokes. And then I saw Norton, I'm fucking dying laughing for an hour. It's all dick jokes. And I was like, it's going to be okay.
I think we're all right. Yeah, I never worry about that. Is it too dirty? Is it not? You know what I mean? It's like, as long as you come from an original place, that's all that matters.
Well, it was fun. It was it's sometimes you need to that perspective of being outside, being an audience member, and getting to see somebody else do. Like, we all influence each other in a way, but that's one of the best ways we influence each other. You're like, you go, oh, okay, I see like how this is fun. This is enjoyable as an audience member, you know, because you can get caught up in just only being a comic and only looking at your own act and kind of forgetting what it's like to be an audience member.
Yeah.
I don't like being an audience member. I mean, I find myself like
you rarely see anybody else.
Never.
I love comedy, man. That's why I always bring guys like Tom on the road with me. I bring really funny guys with me always.
Yeah.
I enjoy comedy. I would rather have a guy go on in front of me and crush than a guy go on in front of me and bomb.
Really?
Yeah, like I was at a club the other night, and there was a bunch of comedians on in front of me, and they were so bad I had to listen to music. I was watching the comedy, and I was listening to Gary Clark Jr. in my headset. I was doing, I was just like, I had to tune out. The comedy was so dumb because when you're listening to a comic, you're listening to that guy's thoughts. Like, you're allowing them to think for you. You're like going on a ride through their thoughts, and the thinking was so terrible. It's like, why are you turning there? Like, what are you doing? You're backing up. Oh, you fucking idiot! You left all this shit behind. Like every premise was like this fucking stumbling, stupid, stub your toe, bonk your fucking head. It was awful. It was just impossible to watch.
Man. Terrible. Yeah, you're sitting there just like, I'm in for a night of this shit. Just awful comedy.
I used to do that with radio. I used to love listening to other radio shows, and then it just got bad all of a sudden. Because of the corporations, I guess.
Oh, yeah, that's a big
impact. It just watered down
impact.
everything, and I remember that I just stopped listening. And it was my hobby. I couldn't wait to listen to another radio show to see what was going on.
This industry, I think, has been crushed more by censorship than any other.
Yeah. But the podcast is bringing it back, thank God.
The podcasts are definitely bringing back long-form conversations. Uncensored, long-form conversations.
Because you will not find any of this shit on regular radio, and there's some great podcasts out there.
Yeah, but it's just because they didn't fuck with it. It's really so simple. Like, the ideas are always there. And you know what I really love about podcasts? There's so many people I've never even heard of that have really good podcasts. Like, someone will tell me, hey, go check out these guys. And, you know, I'll go,
they never would have gotten
pretty goddamn good. Just a bunch of guys sitting around with they're funny guys. There's a microphone and a Zoom recorder, and then they upload it to iTunes. Boom. That's it.
Look how popular podcasting is. And
it's
these
incredible.
Dopey radio companies can't figure it out still.
Well, they're trying.
They step on their own dicks all the time with these lawyers.
Yeah.
The fucking lawyers and the conversations we've had with these guys over the years, mind-boggling.
Everything's a liability, you know.
Yeah.
They see everything.
Everything good.
It's always everything good.
Yeah, like Baby Bird.
How are you liking podcasting? You're still loving it?
Yeah,
huh?
it's awesome. It's like this. I learned how to podcast from doing your show, for sure. I attribute this show to the reason why I enjoy podcasting, because your show's just a hang.
Right.
Every other show is so controlled, and there's fucking music, and like, let's go to break, and we have this gag coming up, and this, and that, 5 minutes to the hour, and we always do that. But you guys, it's always like, you go in, it's just a bunch of funny guys hanging around.
Just hanging out.
Yeah.
That's the secret, but it's a scary place to be. To turn on, not anymore for us, I guess, but you have to step out there and go, wow, we're really not prepared to do anything.
But it doesn't matter. You have pages of shit that's going on in the news.
Right. There's always talk about something.
Yeah, if we have 3 people, if any two of us set microphones down and start talking, there's so much shit going on in the world on a regular basis. You're never going to run out. As long as you're paying attention, you're never going to run out of things to talk about.
Right. Well, I want to start a podcast called Just Joshin', where a bunch of guys just kind of with the little apostrophe after the end, where everybody just kind of riffs. We pick a topic of the day out of a hat, and you have to riff for 45 minutes alone.
45 minutes alone?
No profanity.
That seems to defeat the purpose of having other people in the room.
Well, you know, I don't know. Everyone just kind of laughs and supports you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just joking.
I like that.
Have you ever talked to Deepak Chopra?
No, only on Twitter.
Okay, because I'm listening to your latest podcast. I'm only about 20 minutes in, and
with Cara Santa Maria.
Wow, is she fucking brilliant?
Yeah,
Jesus.
she's very smart. She's very smart and pretty. She's brutal.
This girl is smart.
What does she do?
Yeah. She's a scientist.
Okay.
She was a neuroscientist, and she was the science editor for the Huffington Post. And now she's on a television show. I forget the name of the show, but she's going to do a podcast soon. That's one of the things we were talking about when she was on the show.
Yeah.
We were talking about.
Oh, she can hold her own big time.
She fucking just go forever. She just, some people just. And again, it's like there's so many things to talk about. There's just so many interests. There's so many fascinating subjects, and she's brilliant, so she can just talk.
Yeah.
Oh, she's not ditzy science. She's like
smart as fuck.
Yeah.
She calls Deepak Chopra a woo peddler.
Yeah.
That's my favorite expression, woo peddler.
Is that great?
Because he's always peddling woo. Like woo bullshit. He's peddling bullshit.
I think he knows he's peddling bullshit at this point.
Yeah.
We had fun with him on the show with his son.
I thought that was fascinating. I listened to that.
Yeah. You see the Marvin Gaye fucking relationship with the father? There's definitely some brooding resentment.
Yeah, the son's not buying into the father's bullshit.
Well, the son's right, though. I mean, he has evidence. He caught his father sleeping when he said he was meditating. I'm going to go to the temple and meditate. The guy's lying there with his Gucci sunglasses on, fucking sleeping up a storm.
Yes.
The designer sunglasses are... I would like to see him. I would like to be a fly on the wall while he's trying to pull pussy. I bet it's fascinating.
Right? Yeah.
The consciousness that I envelop and develop... There's an application or something, maybe it's a website, that generates Deepak Chopra quotes based on words that he likes to use.
Oh,
They're
really?
just complete bullshit quotes that you would totally see him saying, like, the elevation of the consciousness is a universal singularity. It's not saying anything. Saying nonsense.
Yeah.
But you gotta give him credit for allowing that documentary to be made. Where his son is basically calling him out the whole time.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. He's got a sense of humor about himself.
Absolutely does. Well, he loves being, famous.
Yeah.
He loves it.
I don't think he's totally full of shit. I think that those type of thoughts often lead to just full of shit statements and full of shit conversations. I think he's probably, a guy who's genuinely seeking, like, enlightenment, but it's unattainable for almost everyone, especially with no drugs.
And I think
if you're not going to try to do it on the natch, good luck.
If you put out your opinions of things or your feelings, and they're based on your very deep thinking, it doesn't mean it's true or right or good or anything. And I think that's what he's doing. It's like, why is he so enlightened?
Yeah.
I think it's just him and what he's thinking.
The subject matter is so slippery, too.
Yeah, it's like this is such a gray area there. You can make anything out of it.
Yeah.
It makes people feel smart. Sometimes if you make other people feel smart when they like you, then they're like, wow, I like this guy because agreeing with him makes me feel like I'm a smart and enlightened person. He's a great salesman. But I don't think he's totally full of shit either. I just think he's a really... No, I just have zero desire for what he is offering.
I see more horse shit than reality.
Yeah, there's just too much horse shit. There's too much quantum. There's too much word salad.
Word salad.
One of the most important things to me about you relaying, whether it's you relaying your childhood or you relaying anything you relay, you need to be able to say it in terms that I can relate to and understand, no matter who I am or who you are. And he doesn't do that.
No.
It's almost like he's purposely trying to confuse you with all these extra words.
Right.
Like weird words that are not necessary.
And did you guys go at it on Twitter?
No, it was just a joke.
Oh, okay.
He said something like, I think his quote was, I used to be an atheist, #atheist, and before I realized I was God, #God, and I said, son, don't make me smack you. and then I wrote #woo pedal much, and then I tagged Cara Santa Maria because that's her thing that she likes to say.
I can't wait to listen to the rest of that thing. I just started at the gym yesterday.
She married?
No. She used to date Bill Maher, though.
Really?
I hear he has a big cock.
But I bet it's huge.
I've heard that Bill does.
Fucking rope.
Really?
What cocky Polish guy he has with a giant dick. Good for Bill.
What I loved about her story so far, she gave up on religion at 14.
She was raised Mormon, by a very strict religious family.
And her father, just proving I listen to your podcast, I guess, but the father basically said, but, you know, until you're 18, you know, you got to do this if you want to live in my house. And she's like, well, I guess I'm not living here anymore.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine that.
At 14, that's crazy to just really know where you want to be.
Yeah, she's very brave. That's hardcore. Your dad's that much of a fucking dummy. You're like, all right, I gotta figure this out.
Because that could go either way.
Well, I remember being 7. I was in 1st grade at in this Catholic school in New Jersey, and this fucking nun, I'll never forget this bitch, Sister Mary Josephine, was such a cunt.
Hot name.
Such an unbelievable, if you saw her though, she was built like a bag of Jello.
I don't doubt it.
With fucking pointy bones sticking out in various areas. And she was just such an evil cunt that I remember thinking, okay, well, this is all bullshit. I remember thinking this at 7.
Just
this is 100%
because she
bullshit.
was a fucking piece of shit.
Well, I was really religious for a while when I was a little boy because my parents had split up and I was super scared and insecure, and I was always talking about God, and I was always talking about like religion, and until I went to Catholic school, and then one year in Catholic school fucking cured me.
Wow.
Right away I was like, this is all bullshit.
You would think it would be the other way around.
Yeah, like my mom got tired of me talking about, I remember them like getting upset at me talking about God, like God doesn't want that, God wants us to do this. Like I was just an insecure little kid who was trying to figure out why my parents weren't together anymore.
Right.
And then all of a sudden I'm in Catholic school and I was like, oh, well, this is bullshit. These people are not connected to God. Like whatever God is, it has nothing to do with these fucking assholes. It's just, you realize, you know, like what you think God is going to be. Like God's going to save me from all this, you know, evil human behavior and these bad thinking and bad, you know. And then all of a sudden you're in front of this person who's supposed to be a representative of God, and you see nothing but just the worst aspects of humanity, just bullying and nastiness and threats and hitting kids, and just like, oh, fuck.
Basically, one shitty cashier ruined McDonald's for you forever. That's exactly what she is.
And don't forget about the priests. You're just talking about the nuns.
Yeah, I didn't have any bad situations with priests. I didn't have any molestations or anything like that. But obviously, it could have happened. You know, it happens to so many people. It's insane.
My in-laws, all the priests they know are in the papers.
Yeah, it's incredible.
They know priests that were touching kids down there.
It's a real sickening thing when you see a priest anymore. You don't think like, wow, this guy. You're like, ugh.
Yeah. The look, it's a father. How you doing, father? No, you just think, oh, he must have.
Oh yeah, what a creep.
Every time you see an old priest, especially,
old
like,
priest.
oh, he had to know something.
How many times has he been batted around to different parishes?
Or he just knew.
Well,
or he just knew.
Before this new pope, the last pope, the evil one that looked like he was from Star Wars.
The Emperor.
Yeah, whatever his name is.
Oh, Benedict.
I didn't want to say his fucking name. But that guy is like, he's responsible for fucking crimes against humanity. I mean, that guy like found people who were molesters, shielded them, and then moved them actively. Did it himself. You know.
What was his position when he did that? He was in charge,
Cardinal or some
he was
shit.
the head cardinal for that.
But he was the one that would like take you, like the complaints would come into his office, and he was the one that would be like, well, we'll move you to Des Moines.
Jesus.
Yeah, and then you'd start fucking other kids. He was responsible for a guy was raping. I think he raped over 100 deaf children.
Right.
And this guy, he took them and moved them to a new place, and he raped a bunch of other kids.
I think
that's the Pope. That's the top guy.
I think that's why he stepped down.
Oh, for sure. Well, there was a lot of scandals involved. There was also the bathhouse, the gay bathhouse, that was in the same place that the Vatican owned the building where the gay bathhouse was in. Yeah, it's within the real estate holdings of the Vatican. There's like this fucking gay bathhouse.
No shit.
They're a bunch of old homos, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's like what's wrong is all the protecting of child molesters and all of the child molesting that go. It's all from suppression. It's all from from that, and just suppressing your sexuality like that. We're saying you can't have sex at all. You're bottlenecking this natural desire, and you're turning it into something perverted and twisted.
I think the people that would go into something where you're forbidden from having sex. there's a problem right there.
Yeah.
Like, what people is that attracting?
Well, you know what's interesting? It didn't used to be that way. It used to be that people that were in the priesthood were allowed to have families and children, but these guys were slinging dicks so hard because they were the rock stars. I mean, they were the guys who had a direct relationship to God, especially in the days before they translated the Bible into a phonetic language. Like when the Bible was in Latin, like before Martin Luther, nobody knew how to read the fucking Bible. Martin Luther in the 1500s was the first guy to take it and make it so that the average person could understand and read the Bible for themselves. Before that, you had to listen to what the priest told you God said.
Yeah.
So they were like uber rock stars, and they were rich. They had armies. I mean, the Vatican had an army back then.
Yeah.
You know, like when the Mongols were attacking China and they were dominating the world, one of the big issues was that the Roman Catholic Church didn't want to get involved. They didn't want to send their army to go after the Mongol army.
Wow.
They were rich. They were slinging dick. They had armies. I mean, it was a very different world than what it is now. These people that have celibacy, and they shifted the rules because these guys slang too much dick.
But what changed where they weren't allowed to have families anymore?
I don't know. I think it was just a power issue. I think
we
these
talked
guys...
about it on our show once. I can't remember. I think it was a financial
I bet it was a
thing.
bunch of the priests just going, guys, we got to stop this.
Yeah, they were just fucking too many people. You can imagine the amount of power. I mean, in the day when, you know, people were being killed on a regular basis for not agreeing with religion. I mean, if you went against the church back then, like one of the things about Martin Luther was that he was so connected. It was one of the things that kept him alive in his disputes with the church, because he was taking his grievances and posting them on church doors for all to read. Yeah. Like, these are the problems with the church. These are the things we need to fix. And before that, anybody else who did that was killed. Like you were fucking dead. They would burn you. They would drown you. Like you were done.
Wow.
And this is like that was what was normal. So you think of the amount of power a priest had back then. They were not just religious leaders. They were also these enforcers that enforced the word of God with like death.
You know how many women probably fucked them to save their own husbands or their own brothers?
God, of course.
Jesus, of course.
Well, they also would give away, they had this weird thing, they would give you like free passes out of purgatory if you donated money, and like there was all this weird shit.
Who could guarantee that?
Right. Yeah, there was so many different fucking weird fucking loopholes that they had engineered into the system so they could sling loads.
Crazy. And they're still, they're still there as far as the money thing goes. You know, you go to church, you got to give money, and then you're a better person, and people think you're gonna.
And where does all that money go? Really,
goes to keep that bathhouse open.
There you go.
The bathhouse.
What about the new Pope? A lot of people love the new Pope.
Seems great.
He's on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine.
He seems ideal.
But my question, you think he obviously knew all this shit was going on too?
Well, I don't think he could not know. Right. You know, it's like, how do you not know? I mean, it's all like, if I know about it, how does he not know about it? Of course he knows.
Yeah, he probably.
I guess what I'm saying is, I wonder how close he actually was to all that shit.
Yeah.
And I wonder if he'll ever say anything about it.
I mean, you got to think that there's politicians who come along who really aren't corrupt, who really do want to fix the system. That's what their life's goal is. They really do want to help. Just like there's cops who really want to do right. They're not corrupt. They really do want to protect people and enforce the law and make the streets safer and make an impact. And it's when you find one of those, you go, oh, wow, you're real. You're a real good guy, and who also happens to be a cop. This is a real good guy who also happens to be the Pope. You know, it's like, it's rare.
I think that's pretty rare.
It's like, the system's so convoluted and distorted that by the time you get to any position, like by the time you get to be the president, you're so fucking compromised by special interest groups and corporations and blah, 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 and, whoever the fuck is, held whatever the fuck over your head to get you to agree to whatever the fuck you're agreeing to. That by the time you're a shell of what your ideals really were when you first started out.
As far as cops go, I don't think I've ever known one that was in it for like this noble reason. It's always, hey, it's a good job, a good living, I get a pension. Like, it's never like, I'm gonna make a difference. I've known a lot of cops, never met one that did it for the goodness.
Well, I knew a captain who enjoyed veal. Who was in this.
How's the Italian food here?
Go ahead.
Stand him up. Well, I told you, guinea bastards.
Yeah. And the fact that he tucks his fucking napkin in.
Yes.
Fuck, like he's a real gentleman.
Well, that had to sop up his throat blood.
It certainly did.
Boy, did he. We should take a break. Joe Rogan is here. What are we promoting, Joe?
Nothing. I'm just here.
Just hanging, right?
Just give me a hang with you guys.
You gotta have a gig.
Where?
Yeah,
I'm sure it's sold out, but where are you?
Yeah, it's at the
Manhattan Center
Grand
Ballroom tonight.
Oh,
It's
you're in
been
the
sold
city?
out for months, yeah.
Oh, cool, man.
Nice.
And of course, UFC Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday.
All right.
I'm going, and Bruce Buffer is
Yeah, I'm
coming
here
in
to promote
shortly.
that. To promote that.
Do you know
UFC.
Bruce Buffer? Have you guys met?
He's the guy that talks for a living. Yeah. Guy's awesome.
Bruce
I love
Buffer's
Bruce
coming
Buffer.
in today.
Good, awesome. I love that guy.
And then Ricky Gervais a little later. So stay tuned.
That guy, not so much. I'm just kidding. Hey.
Bruce Buffer's going to be here in a few minutes. We've never talked to Bruce Buffer.
No, he's a really great guy.
You were telling me he has an interesting story.
His book is very, very good. I haven't finished it yet because my reading habits are just dog shit. I'm ashamed of my reading habits.
No, you read a lot. You read a lot more than anyone else in the room.
But he lives in Manhattan, and you have to keep up appearances.
Did you read the Mike Tyson book?
No, I haven't read
Holy fuck.
It's amazing.
It could be the best autobiography I've ever read,
Yeah,
I'm sure.
in my life. It's 600 and something pages, and it never gets dull.
I'm sure.
Every page is like, this guy did more cocaine than almost anyone alive.
Well, he did coke and then fought.
Right.
I can't imagine.
I just didn't know how deep he was into the drug abuse.
Yeah.
No idea. He pretty much hid that from the public in general. We all knew he was nuts and stuff, but we didn't realize that he was pretty much doing cocaine every fucking day of his life.
Yeah, he was a total drug addict. I had no idea the brutal honesty of this book. It makes me, first of all, definitely believe he did not rape Desiree Washington. Like, all this stuff that just, I really love this guy.
Well, you know, that woman she falsely accused someone of rape a year before that.
Right. I heard that, yeah. I'd heard that.
Not a good sign.
Yeah, I don't believe he did it either. He would walk around with bricks of cocaine. Man, if he got caught with that shit, not just an 8-ball, he walked around with dealer amounts.
Oh. That's incredible.
Shit, that's
crazy. And the best part of the book is, you fast forward, how many years ago was he down to absolutely no money?
6 years ago?
I think it was about
7 years ago?
6, 7 years ago. He's with this girl. I don't think it's the one he's now married to. And they were in a supermarket.
No, it was. This Kiki. I believe
it was Kiki?
I believe so,
Who he's still with, who's, I guess, pretty much changed his life around. But they were in a supermarket, and they were counting items because they didn't have enough fucking money to pay for it. This is Mike Tyson.
Wow.
Who used to, I think there's a legendary story. He walked into a dealership and bought 5 or 6 Rolls Royces.
7.
Was it 7?
It was one for each day of the week. It was when he got out of, I think it was when he got out.
Was that the time? He used to buy them for his friends, too.
Bought them for his friends, but he said he wanted to have one for every day of the week.
And then, fast forward, he's in a supermarket embarrassed because he doesn't know if they have enough money to pay for the groceries.
Wow.
Mike fucking Tyson.
Wow, that's what happens when you spend all your money.
Yeah.
He went through 300 million, I think.
300. How do you go through 300 million?
You let Don King have power of attorney. That's really not a bright move. I don't think that guy's honest.
What was he charging Tyson for the towels?
$4 grand a week or something like that?
$4 grand a week just for towels in his house.
And I mean, I've gone through, I've fucking jizzed on a few. Like, I can almost understand 1,000 a week, knowing my habits. But $4 grand a week is just fucking out of control, especially in the 90s.
If there's a book that you should... are you a reader in that way? Or
Yeah, I read books. I brought my little nook.
No, I know you read books, but I mean like autobiographies and pop culture.
I don't normally read autobiographies. Right. I'm reading Going Clear right now, the book on Scientology.
Oh, wow.
Lawrence Wright. Fascinating. It's fascinating. Yeah. Just the history of Scientology, how it got started, and what's involved in the process, the auditing process, and all the different things. I just started it, but it's very interesting.
See, I want to read that because we interviewed Miscavige, David Miscavige's, I think it's how you say his name, his niece or his daughter, the one, she wrote a book about Scientology. She's out now. But there was something about the book. It was good. And they got into detail, but not enough detail. Like, there was something about it was almost like she doesn't seem like she's really...
She's still...
out.
She's still a little scared.
Maybe that's what it is. But it was almost like when Morton wrote the book about Scientology and Tom Cruise's unauthorized autobiography, and we interviewed him, and his conclusion was that Cruise is not gay. And that may be true.
Look at Joe.
But I mean, I've had my doubts, but his conclusion in this unauthorized biography, it was that Cruise was not gay. And I'm thinking to myself, that's probably why they didn't sue him. Because even if it truly was an unauthorized biography, the fact that he came to that conclusion is a good thing. Even if Cruise isn't gay and he's just sick of people asking him, it makes that look,
Yeah, I don't know. With a smoke. It's usually a book of matches.
Yeah, a lot of times there is, sure.
And a guy stuck in cock by candlelight.
Yeah, and look, I look at my own smoldering campfire. I mean,
Jesus.
You know, I certainly understand.
Yeah, I don't know.
Did you ever get approached to go into Scientology?
Yeah, I bought a Dianetics book one night from late night TV because, you know, I was a psych major in college, and, you know, because of all my years in martial arts, I realized that, like, a big part of success is the way you think. It was a big part of it is managing your mind, managing your emotions. So I read a lot of self-help books, and one night I was alone in my apartment in L.A. right after I moved. It was before the internet, and there was a late-night commercial for Dianetics. The lava, the explosion.
Are they trying to... That was exactly who they were gunning for, too.
Sure.
Because I remember that same thing, and I'm like, maybe I should get that.
Yeah.
I never
so I
made
got
the
it.
jump.
I never read it, but I did get it. Cause I would buy a lot of books and read half of them, and they would just like sit like if you go to my office, there's a lot of books, but half of them have never been cracked. I'm just a fucking child. So I looked at it a little bit, and I was like, this seems like very childish. Like there's something about the way they were, but. These motherfuckers never stopped sending me shit. Invites.
Oh, wow.
Like, come to this thing, come to that thing, get a free this, get a free that. It was relentless for like a decade. They continued to send me shit. Just one book that I ordered. I got on that mailing list, and these motherfuckers clamped on and never let me go.
Yeah.
Fascinating shit.
They need new people. That's what it is. They've kind of fallen from grace.
The internet.
Of late. The internet did that. Information's always the thing that kind of fucks. Yeah.
They can't just fuck with people anymore because now people have a voice on YouTube and all that where you can fight back, and it's like it's a lot different than when they could target you in fucking 1986.
Yeah, you had no voice, and they had all the lawyers and everything, and they'd shut everybody down.
Well, that's the rumor for the rumor of the Richard Gere gerbil story. The Richard Gere gerbil story is that he was trying to leave Scientology, and they were like, "Oh, for real? How
look
about
what
this?
we did."
Pow! Well, that's the greatest fucking. Before the internet, I grew up in Boston. My friend grew up in L.A. We're the same age. We both heard about it.
How did that happen back then?
It's incredible.
Amazing.
Mikey, the Pop Rocks kid, is a Scientologist, and there was a rumor that he was talking about leaving. And
but Pop Rocks and Pepsi, that Mikey exploded. Like that shit. It was pre-internet. You got to realize,
that Richard Gere one is the greatest rumor.
It's the greatest rumor ever fucking put out there.
It's the best one ever.
The motherfucker of all rumors.
Better than the Rod Stewart sperm being pumped from his fucking
I didn't even believe that one when I was 12.
Some things are like,
how much sperm? I was thinking of how much I came and how many guys would have to come to
I
make
think it was a gallon or something.
Sucked off his band.
And now that we know, we've seen Pat from Munaki drink how many fucking gallons of eggnog. Like, you could drink a lot of jizz and be fine. You wouldn't need your stomach pumped.
But the way that Richard Gere one, like, people believed it. It stuck.
When you love
still out
it's the Mike Tyson of rumors.
But wouldn't you love to talk to Richard Gere about that? You probably fucking hate it.
Has he ever addressed it?
Hell no.
I mean, you'd think it'd be like, look.
No.
Do you remember Richard? This is my defining moment of Richard Gere. When Richard Gere went on stage at some fucking charity event after 9/11, was telling everyone to, instead of be angry, to focus with love and all that. And they're like, fuck you! Shut up, you fucking
peacenik. Gerbil boy.
You goofy, sheltered hippie.
Fuck you, we want to blow something up.
Yeah, that was the wrong thing to say in America after September 11th.
I'll tell you what I remember Richard Gere is in American Gigolo, when he was fucking banging that girl. I saw that giant birthmark on his back, and it's all I think of when I think of Richard Gere.
Really?
Is that giant brown birthmark. You just like stop with that. Get rid of it. No.
Yeah, you can get rid of that shit nowadays.
It annoys me.
He's pumped out some real shit rom-coms.
You think anyone has put a gerbil in their ass?
Fuck yeah, I know they have.
Definitely.
100%. My friend Steve is a ophthalmologist and did his residency in Miami in the 80s. And he saw everything. He saw a guy with a light bulb up his ass. He said they've had like almost everything you can imagine. People have stuffed up their asses.
Why not a ferret?
100% people have had gerbils up their ass.
Declaw it? I mean, how does it
fucking duct tape?
If you're a rookie, I mean, you know.
You're a rookie. If you have a tender inside, if it's not calloused.
Exactly. If you want training wheels.
A working man's His anus.
Yeah. Duct tape is the training wheels of the fucking gerbil in the asshole.
Training wheels.
Yeah, people get all fucking coked up or whatever, man, and you want to feel something in your ass. I don't know. It's never been my gig, but
there's a million other things laying around you could do before a fucking gerbil.
Yeah, but if there's anything you could think of sexually,
you go to the gerbil.
It's been done.
You know? You just got to keep going.
What happens is you're jerking off and you have a carrot in your asshole and nothing's happening, and then you hear and you hear that little fella on the wheel, and you're like, someone's going on a trip. That's how it happens. That's how it should happen.
I mean, there's so many internet photos of X-rays of things with, scissors, like, handle first.
Anything you could think of.
So.
What was the one we had?
Nothing you could think of sexually that someone hasn't tried at some point somewhere in the world.
What was the one that was sent to us when we were doing radio in Boston? Was it a
trophy?
It was a trophy, right?
It was a basketball trophy.
Was it a basketball
trophy?
The guy
was like slam dunking the prostate.
Right.
It was,
and the X-ray was classic. That's right. It was a basketball trophy.
Was it real?
He put it in.
Absolutely.
He couldn't get it out. Like it had gone on somewhere on his hip bone. There was something in there where it snapped in.
No, we had the actual X-ray,
and he couldn't get the fucker out.
Oh god.
Basketball is the dumbest because it's really stretched out. There's a long arm on top.
Yeah.
You got to go for a short trophy.
I guess we're gonna have to clean it up a little bit.
Yeah, like
Bruce Buffer's here.
Bruce Buffer's here.
Let's get him in.
You don't have to clean it up for Bruce.
Oh, good.
Bruce is great.
We just got to add another mic. No one's moving today. No one's going to the fucking couch.
Yeah, put the mic up or just get a chair.
In our tiny studio. Joe remembers the good days with that nice big
big studio.
Well, the other thing that's concerning about this place is the windows. Like, people walk by.
I know.
The good thing is, remember we snagged Marion Barry?
Yeah.
Oh, you were here for that, too?
Joe snagged him.
Highlight of my life.
Marion
I went out
Barry.
and grabbed him.
God, you've been here for a lot of the moments.
Oh, yeah,
Perfect.
I remember that.
There he is.
Sorry, brother. How you doing, baby?
What's up, Bruce?
Hello, sir.
How you doing?
How are you? Opie, Anthony, Jimmy.
Bruce.
You know the
Pleasure.
rest.
Thank you very much, sir.
I feel like I know you just from your...
I know, right?
Well, I listen to you guys, so I think...
Do you really?
Uh-oh.
He listens. We love hearing that.
Take a seat.
What number's that, Sam? 6?
Hey.
What's up, buddy?
Morning, Tom. Everything good?
Hey, Bruce, go sit.
Sure.
Powerful Bruce Buffer.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Dead air.
That's all right.
That's all right.
We like...
Whenever anybody's kind of... Yeah, we're
We have
on.
no problem letting that sit there for a second.
I love a little
Let
bit
everyone
there.
breathe.
Marion Barry would not admit that he smoked crack, but he said, no one knows what's in that pipe.
Right. He says,
Motherfucker, don't you know?
That was right. Yeah.
That's the
That's
most
right.
interesting way of describing.
he had an answer.
Yeah, it was fun.
Does Bruce have headphones or you're getting them? Okay, yeah, so we can hear what's going on.
Exactly.
Welcome to the show. So you can hear me.
No, I'm excited when I heard it was going to be on. We were talking about it before, Jim.
There you go. Got headphones. Look at us. We're a fucking clusterfuck over here today.
Perfect.
Yes, this is
There
a
it
typical Opie and Anthony show.
Yeah.
A bunch of
What are you
men,
gonna
nothing
do?
with a vagina within 400 yards.
That is a problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
God damn it.
They took that away, too.
Did they take that away?
I mean,
You can't get topless or anything here, right?
God.
You can't really do anything with them anymore.
Bruce, there used to be girls on our show, in the studio. It was crazy.
We made cell phones ring in their vaginas, and
So
one
you-
girl smoked a cigarette. It was amazing.
So you
Just
waited
amazing.
this long to have me on until after?
Yeah.
Yeah. So after that happens, is
Remember when Ari Shafir had his balls out with Stalker Patty? We had Stalker Patty
who could
convinced.
forget?
Convinced that she was fucked up. I gave her a breast strip and told her it was a pot breast strip, but it was really just Listerine.
Yeah.
She was fucking convinced.
She was.
I think
Man,
we
that
threw that
mind
on-
over matter really clicked in with her.
We threw that on our podcast recently.
Yeah.
We have a little podcast that
And
we
Ari
throw out
had
there.
his balls out right in front of her, and we were like, what are you talking about?
Right.
You don't see that?
Ari has giant balls.
He does
his
have large
fucking
balls.
awful long bag really annoys me.
Just remember, it's only going to get longer.
Right. That gravity's a bitch.
It doesn't shrink as age goes on.
Women have had their labia adjusted. Have dudes ever had their ball sack trimmed?
I would imagine they have. You got to think. It can't be that complicated, right?
Yeah, I would
I'm
imagine.
sure.
If they're doing pussy lips,
Something
they
like
could do
that.
a ball bag.
Those fucking labia reduction doctors, I want to go after them like abortion doctors. I fucking hate them.
Jimmy is a big fan of
Like the big lips?
Oh, my God.
I'm a fan of the doctors. Get rid of that roast beef whenever you
Right,
Oh, you like it trimmed down?
Jesus.
You like it trimmed down?
I saw Pamela Anderson's video with Tommy Lee.
Yeah.
She had the prettiest muffin I've ever seen. in my
Oh,
life.
man.
It looked like a grapefruit with a little slit.
That's it. Perfect.
That's
like
great
it at
if you
all.
like fucking children. I like that. a big, thick, grippy pussy. I'm with Jim.
Absolutely. Well, I don't know why those things don't have to be mutually exclusive, Joe.
Yeah. I don't know.
But no, I see, Bruce. That's the Pam Anderson pussy is not my style at all. It looks too.
No, that's nice.
Anthony likes that. I hate it like
nice.
that.
I like one that looks like a clam that you know would be really hard to shuck.
No, I want
not one of those where it's hanging out.
I want it to look like a fucking bus in Tel Aviv.
Jesus Christ.
Like the exit wound on a moose.
Yeah, exactly.
Boom.
Jim's vaginas are very suspicious. He's shown us a few online. We're like, dude,
they make me nuts.
That's a micro penis,
they make me nuts. Big fucking. But that's what
he has shown us micro penises basically hanging off
bodybuilders
vaginas.
So what you're saying is, Jim, you like women with experience? Is that
yes, I like it with experience. A big beat up vag.
I don't think it's experience. I think some girls just have bigger pussy lips. I mean, it's not a. The myth is that they're stretched out from fucking.
Right, that is the myth that it's friction.
Wait, do you remember Houston?
I think that's kind of the
500.
Yeah,
but she had that done, and she sold her lips on eBay, and a fan bought them for $15,000.
$15,000 to buy her.
Wow, like 2 little worms in a plexiglass jar.
Oh my God! I would make wax lips out of them and just make funny sounds with them. Make fart noises and
queef with your mouth.
Do Christopher Walken impressions. Oh, I'm cunt lips. Boo! Terrible.
She fucking sold them. And someone bought them.
Yeah, that's a pretty sick one.
That is pretty bad.
That's disgusting.
Not good.
Bruce, you wrote a book, huh?
Yeah.
Did you actually write it?
Yeah, but I had.
Most of these people don't write their own books anymore.
Well, I mean, when I say I wrote it, it's we're traveling all around the place. I don't have the time to sit down and put pen to paper like that. Right. But I had an amazing husband and wife team that have written bestsellers, and basically they called me up, and I wrote it over 40 hours on the phone with them with my words, and then they took my words, put it on the manuscript, and I was amazed. You know, so
it's great. I haven't finished it, but what I've read is my reading habits are humiliatingly bad, but it's unbelievably good. You talk about. First of all, I didn't know you were a fighter as well. I should have known that by looking at you.
I'm not a professional fighter. I grew up in the world of fighting. My grandfather, as you read, was champion, and my dad had me since I was 5 throwing punches. But I just always enjoyed it. You know, I was always good for an enjoyable row as a kid, and been in martial arts, and like all of us, had our little fun here and there, but never a professional level. Had a dream of doing one pro fight, but I never fulfilled it.
Oh, really? Wait, was it set up or?
No. I was training so hard at one point that I just wanted to have one. I don't care if the guy was ranked 8,007. You
just wanted to have
that one. To say that I had one
fight. Yeah.
Joe's laughing at that.
You should just announce yourself. That'd be so great.
Right.
Me.
If I could announce myself at the final table of the World Series of Poker, that would be the place I want to announce myself.
That would be pretty nice. Poker player, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. Have you ever played in the World Series?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
How'd you do?
Very well.
You did?
Yeah. One time I was, 2010, I was in the main event. It was like 8,000 entries. Day 5, we were down to 478 people. I worked 30,000 chips up to $500,000, 530,000.
Wow.
Last hand before the first break, I peeled back pocket aces on the button.
Oh.
If you play poker, you'll know this. So, was it 16,000 blinds? The guy put out 60,000 chips.
What's that?
I raised him up to 130. He went in the tank for like 3 minutes. He called. Flop comes 8, 10, 8. He snap checks.
Oh, no.
I put out 150,000 to see where he was at. He went in the tank for literally 3-4 minutes.
I don't know what the fuck you're saying.
Dude, I'm listening like it's a foreign language.
Wow. Well, he thought. He sat there thinking about his hand.
Pocket
what he was going to do. So you're sitting there wondering what's going on.
It's like physics.
Long story cut short, king on the turn. He didn't have kings. He didn't have ace-king. He shoved me all in. There's a million chips in the pot. I'm in the top 10% of players. I would be in the top 10.
What do you have, a set of eights?
On my way to $8 million in winnings. He flopped quad 8s on me.
Quad 8? Oh, fuck.
Is that 4
son
eights?
of a bitch.
You ever have all the blood, semen, snot, and everything come out of your body? And
I thought you were going to say wind up in my underpants. Yes.
My dad taught me, win like you're used to it, lose like it doesn't bother you. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that'll bother you.
Holy shit.
Oh, man. Pocket aces will fuck you so many times.
What are pocket aces?
It's ace right off the bat. They deal it out. You look, you go, oh! Try not to do that. Don't go, oh! When you look at your cards. And then, depending on what happens when the flop comes out, you'd be like, yeah, great, shit.
What was cool about that was that I won money. And then 2 weeks later, I won the Grand Slam at Hustler. I got first out of 1,500, won a good amount of money, but it wasn't the same as winning the World Series.
No, that is the one you want. Our buddy does that. What's his name? Fuck. He's going to kill us. He listens every day. We did his little documentary.
What?
Kevin Pollak?
Jerry
Yeah,
Sandusky?
Kevin Pollak.
He's a
The
poker
actor?
I played with Kevin Pollak. He's played in my cash game.
He's a poker guy?
He's a huge poker guy.
He
did very well also.
He got deep 2 years ago or last year.
Yeah, I think it was last year, 2 years ago.
You ever have a full boat, though, and you flip the 8, and all of a sudden it's not like a pocket 7, and you're like, oh, no, here she comes Rosie. The fuck? That's exactly what I just heard. I have no idea what I'm saying or what you're saying.
Actually, I thought you were going to play poker there for a split second.
I don't gamble.
She comes Rosie.
Yeah, that's a language you couldn't fake, right? You'd really have to understand poker.
No. Yeah, but it's not that.
I followed a little bit. There was a couple
pocket aces. I assumed were good, but they weren't.
Yeah. No, well, they're good.
They start out good.
Yeah. If you flop another ace.
You know the secret of pocket aces? Push everybody out of the hand on the flop or by the turn, which is the fourth card on the table. Because if you're against more than one person, you will lose with pocket aces 66% of the time. You gotta have the math down to play this game.
Yeah, it's all about the percentages and the numbers. It's so fucking annoying though. You're like, you do have to push, and you're thinking, I got aces. I want people in this hand. I want them to pay. You get greedy. You don't slow play them. Get people the fuck out and
be happy
play your aces. Right. Yeah. Oh man. All right. He's a poker player.
Do you also, when you're not doing well, let me just curiosity if this, all gamblers, did you ever scream into a pillow that a police officer handed you because you were afraid of being taken out of the...
All right, look, it was a big hand.
He has a guy with a hand him a pillow.
He's a lunatic.
He fucking screams into this pillow.
It was blackjack. I was playing blackjack.
No, I've never been to jail. I've never been to jail, Jim. I've never
screaming in the pillow that the officer gave you.
That's not a euphemism. He really... Anthony was yelling to a fucking pillow.
I had to go, fuck! When you split, boom, great hands.
But tell me how much money on the line.
I think there was probably $30,000 on the table. And of course, and the dealer, I'm like, this is great because the dealer's showing a fucking 5. Hey, 6. Oh, there it is. Boom, 21. Fuck you.
All I can tell you is the best money in the world is money won. It's the most fun money to spend of any money you could possibly have.
I just can't handle the pressure of it. I get too stressed out. I can't. I just can't do it. I mean, I'm too addictive, and I would fucking lose everything.
We're going to invite you to every game when you're in L.A.
I won't. You know what? There's all that money. I'll just be thinking of what I could be doing on Eros.com with all this fucking cash. You know what I mean? That's the way I gamble. Caution to the wind, condom schmondom.
I find it so fascinating that casinos are actually allowed to not let you play if you're good.
Yeah, they're allowed to do that.
They're allowed to say we're losing money to you, so you can't play anymore.
That happened to me.
You did? Really?
It happened to me when I was 26 years old. The Riviera Hotel where they filmed Casino used to be one of the hotels in Vegas. My dad was what they call a boss gambler or whatever, and I was playing blackjack since I was 18.
Saw dice there.
Yes, we did see dice there.
Since I was 18, I've been playing, and then I had one weekend where I had an amazing win. I won not a lot by any standards, but a lot of money by any standards. I won $36,000.
Yeah, nice.
And on the last day, it was Sunday, and as I got up to leave, the pit boss came up to me and he said, "Congratulations on your win, but we can never let you play blackjack at the Riviera Hotel again." I've been coming here for 8 years.
What the
My dad was going there for 20.
Because you won?
Right? Yeah, so... Lo and behold, they let me play the shoe, which is where they put 6 or 8 decks in. And I did well on that, but the poetic justice of the situation is the guy that did that to me, they found him in a suite in the hotel with cocaine and hookers. And he lost his job, right? He wound up dealing blackjack at what they call the Landmark back then, which I think is a stratosphere now. So that was, to me, the best poetic justice could have happened to the guy. Don't ban me from the hotel.
You motherfucker.
Yeah, it is kind of shit that they can do that.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous because you should be allowed to. You're supposed to win, and they don't build those hotels on winners.
Why don't we take those chips in the back? We'll get some champagne.
Well, it's also weird you're not allowed to count cards. How crazy is that? You can't use a strategy.
Yeah. Well, we talked to what's his name. They actually want you to count cards because they know everyone's going to do it badly. We learned that from
what's at it, though. If you're a math genius,
if you're good at it, they tell you to leave.
But it's so incredible that they can actually ask you to leave.
What do they call it? The innkeeper's rule or something like that, where as the innkeeper, you're allowed to ask people to leave your establishment. I think that's what they go by, or I not know what I'm talking about again.
Is there anyone that's so good?
Anybody you want.
Yeah. Is there anyone that's so good that consistently win in Vegas? Like they could, if they didn't have any restrictions, they could just make a living off of Vegas.
There are a few individuals, and usually in blackjack world, it's mathematical brains. One of them was actually a professional poker player who was on that team they made the movie about.
Bring it down the house.
Kevin Spacey.
Yeah,
Bring it down the house.
You got to be a mathematical genius, and it just kind of tilts your odds in your favor a little more, puts you right over that 50% mark, so you're winning a little more than the house. But it's not this thing where all of a sudden you're, 10 minutes later you got this huge stack in front
of you.
And
it's work. I mean,
it's
hard
work.
I made my living for 6 months playing blackjack to pay my bills in between companies.
And it worked?
Oh, well, for me, it worked at that time. I just needed like, $4 or $5 grand to pay my bills back then. And I would stop in and do it. But quite frankly, I wouldn't tell anybody to live like that. Poker, you can control the outcome in your money financial situation much easier.
Oh, yeah.
Poker's considered a game of skill. That's why it's legal in the state of California. But they don't allow blackjack, as you see in Vegas, in those unless you're on an Indian
game
casino.
of chance, yeah.
Yeah, game of chance.
I noticed with blackjack over the years, though, you got to plant your ass there for a long fucking time to make money. You can't just think you're going to sit there and dump out, big bets and walk away.
But
it takes a while.
Yeah, but if you want to win, you got to get the Velcro off your ass.
Yes.
And you got to know when to get up.
You got to know when to leave.
Yeah.
When things start turning, you could feel a fucking bad shoe, a couple of bad shoes, a dealer.
Paul McCartney couldn't.
Jim.
But there is, you kind of use the force and you're like, yeah, this is not, it's time to leave.
What would you bet in blackjack to get to 4 or 5 grand, though? Like what kind of hands?
I would always start off with 2 hands at $50 a hand.
50?
Yeah, and then build from there.
Yeah.
And then you just got to know when you make your mark. I was there to pay my bills. So when I made my mark, I didn't want to go up for the 20,000.
But you can make more. Why would
but
you
I was
leave?
there on a mission. It was called earning a living, which in poker terms we call people like that grinders. And I don't like being a grinder. It doesn't interest me. I have no interest. That's why I don't want to play poker every day of my life. I will lose my total want to even play.
Yeah.
Poker players are fucking maniacs. Like the real professionals that'll gamble on raindrops coming down a window.
Yeah, they are.
They do those prop bets all day long.
Yep, all
crazy.
Day.
Like I remember Daniel Negreanu. I remember hearing him betting some insane amount of money on a game of golf. Like
there's golf.
Wasn't he on the show with you?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was the one who got a little upset
we were in
at your
LA.
line of questioning.
Well, he just misinterpreted what I think
Right.
He thought I was talking about him.
He's got a very large ego, Joe.
That was just a great broadcast.
Yeah.
I forgot Joe and him went at it a little bit.
Well, it wasn't that. He talked shit about me after the fact.
Right.
And then I wrote a blog entry calling him a whiny bitch. And then I posted up the actual audio. I was like, this is what I said.
Yeah.
And then he actually apologized because he said he was emotionally invested in it. And so he thought what I was saying was something different than what I was saying.
He had broken up, or his chick broke up with him at the time.
I was saying what I worry about.
Right.
If when I break up with a girl, the first thing I think is her getting gorilla fucked by some savage.
That's what you
He's
said.
just gonna find some new dude. He's
didn't
gonna
like that at all.
stuff
He hated
yards
that.
of cock into her.
Yeah.
He was listening to this. He didn't want to hear it. He was bothered.
He was saying that I was talking about him, like this is happening to your girlfriend. I wasn't saying that at all.
Every guy.
What I was saying is that's what I fear every time. If I was in a relationship, if the girl broke up, I was like, oh, she's getting fucked right now. God damn.
That's what I jerk off to.
That's one way to get over the relationship.
Exactly. Oh, she's catching something.
She's a bug catcher.
I'll tell you one thing about that Daniel Negreanu, though. For the last 6 years, that guy's won probably an average of $2 million or more just in tournament winnings. He's with Poker Stars. God knows what he gets.
He is amazing as far as being able to call someone's hand.
He can read players
he could read
better than anyone.
Yeah.
What is that? Do you think that there's a psychic ability? Do you think
Not
it's just pattern recognition? Is it
intuition?
Intuition?
It's intuition.
What
It's
is that?
gut. It is the pattern thing you said. Absolutely, you got to watch.
Right.
Absolutely, watch the pattern.
If you see what the person's betting, if you see what's on the table, how many chips he has in the first place, like all this comes into play to try to figure out what he's got.
But also, you got to watch the way they put out their chips. Some guys they'll shove it out, and then all of a sudden you see them going like this, and you got to read these and remember the hands, and the pattern is formed, and that's when I can go after somebody with the worst cards, put them in for all their chips, and they'll back off.
Yeah,
there was a book written recently about pattern recognition, and about when you're involved in thousands and thousands of hours of things, you start seeing things that other folks can't see, which is one of the reasons why some police interrogators are so good at spotting guilty people, why fighters are so good at reading people's movements. Just you've seen so much over and over again. You have such a wide database of information that you can
make sense. Yeah.
Well, you know what? It's like you get they call them tells, obviously, in poker.
Yeah.
And I was pretty at it, and then someone said whenever I had a good hand, they knew it because I would pop lock. That's
quite a tell you got there, Jimmy.
You know that weird thing when you know someone is about to do material on the radio? You know that thing like a shitty comic is about to do a joke?
Yes.
And that's like a gross feeling in your stomach, the pattern recognition. The average person is not going to have any idea that's coming, right?
Right.
Absolutely. There's something about their eagerness or their... You're right, but you don't know what... But you know it's a bit they're doing and not off the cuff, and you want to just fucking throw boiling water on them. Fucking asshole. What am I, a fucking college student driving near the gig? Sucker. I know what you're doing.
Oh, it's so gross.
Yeah. Have you had guys do that on the podcast?
Oh, yeah. We used to hate having comics on because of that very thing.
Well, you were told to do that at some point. Like when I did the Bob and Tom show, the producer, Bob and Tom didn't make me do this, but the producer actually said, "What bits are you going to talk about? Like, what bits are you going to do? What do you want them to lead you into?"
Right.
And I was like, ew.
How about a conversation?
Ew. Yeah, nothing. How about none?
Yeah.
When we were in Boston, they would drag the comics in, and the same shit. They were just doing material, and we're like, let's just talk.
That was the old school way of doing it. It was you had a limited amount of time to be on the radio. You knew you wanted people to come to your gig, so you would just do a bunch of shit that you knew for sure was funny.
And then we moved to New York, and the comics were so different down here, and there were so many. We were forced to take them again. And it worked out, thank God.
What was the difference between when the Boston comics and New York comics?
I don't know. I guess maybe we got better. Maybe we were...
That couldn't have happened.
the way they parked the car.
But maybe
that was it.
Maybe we forced them out of their comfort zone.
I think...
remember Pauly Shore one day was that the guy you were talking about the other day on the podcast?
Oh, no, maybe. I don't remember. Forget what I said.
Well, I'll ask you off air. But remember, Pauly Shore was bombing so bad, and this goes back. This doesn't
even make sense.
But this goes back to this goes back to L.A. when we first started doing radio together. We didn't even know each other that well, but we had some weird chemistry. We go out to L.A. and Pauly Shore, we were bombing. We sucked, and he was just a dick about it, like a real fucking cunt. So I remember I put that in the back of my head. And fast forward, we're now fucking really doing well, and he comes to NEW and he's bombing horribly, and he actually asked us to help him out live on the air. And I just folded my arms like, continue, buddy. This is your time.
Bombing, go figure.
Yeah, it's just...
Remember that, though?
It must have been a rare occasion.
Remember we got him back, though?
Oh, hell yeah.
We got him back good.
I once said something like, revenge is best served cold.
Did you say that?
I did say that, and somebody took it and made a bumper sticker.
I saw that bumper sticker. It was right next to Free Tibet Now.
Yeah, that's a really cool sentiment.
Yeah, I'll say it. I don't fucking like that guy at all. I've never liked Pauly Shore.
Oh, he's an acquired taste.
I've never liked Pauly Shore. Fuck him. We're at the end of our run. Who gives a fuck? Fuck Pauly Shore.
Let's start burning every bridge.
We're at the end of our run? Are you guys at the end of your run?
Nah, I don't know.
What are you saying?
We're good. We're good.
Where are you going to go?
Who knows?
Come on.
I want to go back to regular radio. I hate all this freedom. It's terrible. I like using euphemisms.
We'd have been fired.
Oh, of course we would have.
So many
times.
Oh, wait, we were.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you find, do you guys do regular media sometimes and you forget that you can't swear?
It's, boy, you really got to be conscious of it. Like, we'll tie into Brother Weezer's show, and you're conscious of it. Yeah. You're constantly thinking, don't say fuck.
I do Kevin and Bean in L.A. sometimes, and I every now and then a fuck will come out. Like,
it's just so natural.
Yeah, totally.
Do they have a delay, though?
Yeah, luckily.
Yeah, that's...
Otherwise, I think you get some massive fine.
It was what was it, 30,000 to fine, and then that fucking jizzbag Michael Kops or Michael Powell put it up to 300,000.
Which made
it tenfold.
That just strangled. That strangled everybody.
Strangled everybody.
Because now the lawyer's like, fuck, we can't afford to pay that. Back in the old days, they kind kind of encouraged the bad behavior because they knew it led to ratings, and they would pay off the FCC every once in a while with a silly fucking number. But it got to a point they couldn't, because it was each instance on every station, too. Remember? They told us that.
So 300. If you say 2 dirty things on 10 stations, that's like 20 times 300,000 or whatever. It was unreasonable.
They completely strangled the broadcaster by making that law.
It can break you, and that's
the problem was. And now they don't allow anything.
And for what? I mean, what is the language? The idea behind it is so ridiculous.
It is.
Especially today, now that we've been exposed to so much freedom because of the internet. And I mean, how much has society really changed? Well, what's changed is we have more access to information. We understand human nature better. We understand what people actually like and don't like. 60% of the world's traffic is fucking porn. Right. I mean, you find out what people are really into, and basically they're the same. You interact with people the same way.
Yeah. And someone says fuck, and it's the top story on these news stations. They know how stupid it is, but
so stupid.
Why don't they take that angle? How ridiculous this is.
That's why network TV is just going down the shitter, and all these other stations and other options that everybody has are doing so well. You know,
and
you get more
news
realism.
options as well. I mean, even like Young Turks and things along those lines, where people have like editorial capabilities, and you can talk about stories like, what the fuck is this guy saying? Like they can say things like that, and you're like, it's a regular guy's talking. Like a real human is speaking an opinion. It's not some corporate fucking sock puppet.
It's amazing how all this media, evolvement or evolution of media has lowered the ratings or changed. Back when the Beatles were on Ed Sullivan, I think 73 million people watched that night. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Can you imagine having 73 million people tune into your TV show today?
I'm happy to have fucking. I'm happy to have a TV show. But yeah, it's fucking.
Was it 73 million?
That's the quote I saw. I just saw it yesterday. It was quoted on the TV.
And the number one show, what does it do now? Not even 10 , right?
No,
I think more than that.
More than that,
yeah.
I think like Big Bang and those kind of shows, they get like 18 on a good episode.
Horrendous.
I don't
but
I don't get it.
I don't get it. They're laughing all the way to the bank.
Typical jockeys that have been fucking mellowed out by antidepressants and fucking tuned right into that.
Is that it? Funny.
I think the best TV show on TV right now is True Detective with Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson.
Everybody's telling me to watch that.
Unbelievable. McConaughey will blow you away.
I never saw that.
It's pretty good. You can't fuck with Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones is fucking great. Yeah.
You can't fuck with Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
That's one of those shows, though, that they'll pull off for fucking 2 years, and you got to sit there and wait.
Yeah. And they're like,
they're making movies. They're making a movie every week.
Are they?
Are they really?
I mean, that's what it is. It's an hour movie every week.
Epic fucking movie every week.
Epic show. It's the greatest show of all time.
Is that King fucking... The King Joffrey is the greatest, most huggable TV character ever. I fucking love that little cocksucker.
That little fuck who's the actor is brilliant.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's really good.
Oh,
He's just such a good cunt and an evil cunt.
Fucking hate him.
Everyone's good on that show.
Yeah, there really is some amazing acting. And the girl, Emily, what's her name? The one who plays the blonde, Khaleesi?
Khaleesi? Oh, she's hot.
Man.
Delightful girl.
Everyone concurs.
Yeah.
She is indeed hot.
I really fucking went on a limb there. A good Game of Thrones discussion, and fucking Jersey idiot pipes in with, "Hey, that girl's really pretty." No shit, dummy. That's something that you say like the first time you watch the show, and it's in season 1. But I'm acting like that's the big storyline. Fucking putz. Absolute putz.
Yes, you are.
So what's in this book, Bruce Buffer? We want to sell you. We want to sell a few books for you today.
Oh, I appreciate that. I was pretty honored when Random House came and brought me into their family with the book. But it's basically a story of life, love, the pursuit of happiness. It's a mother-son story, a father-son story, and it's a story of my life. But I've owned my own companies and been an entrepreneur endeavor since I was 19. And it evolved into where my experience and everything I've done with the UFC, which is going on 18 years now.
Wow. Jesus.
And a big part of the story, too, is we all know who my brother is, the legendary Michael Buffer. Let's get ready to rumble.
Get out of here.
Announcer. Yeah, get out of here. That's
Come
news.
on. What?
But what a lot of people don't know is that we did not grow up together. Like I said earlier, my grandfather's named Johnny Buff. He's in the history books. He was the bantamweight flyweight champion of the world in 1921. And Bert Sugar, who passed away a couple years ago, called him the greatest fighter in 1921. So,
do you have pictures of him like this?
Yeah,
where they have that?
Oh, he used to be. He did bare knuckle fighting.
Old school. Put your dukes up. Yeah.
Right. Put up your dukes.
He did that kind of fighting with the unlimited rounds. When you go 20, 30 rounds, that kind of thing.
Pummeling each other. Yeah.
But with that being said, I was watching boxing out of the womb. My dad had me I mean, here it is, son. You know, I got a baby bottle in one hand and boxing on the TV in the other. So when the UFC came on the scene, I put Michael in it. But the thing is that 25 years ago I was watching boxing, and out came this debonair pretty boy, and looking with the James Bond style, saying, "Let's get ready to rumble," and they said "buffer" on the bottom of the screen. And I owned telemarketing companies in my 20s, and like a lot of us, you look in the phone book to see your last name. I never saw my last name anywhere. So I got this weird feeling in my stomach, and long story cut short, over a year and a half, I finally got tired of people coming up to me and saying, "Who is this guy? Is that your brother?"
Wow.
And I'm like, "No, my brother is Brian, the man I grew up with." So I'm driving up north with my dad, and I tell him what's going on, and he's driving, and I'm 29 years old, and he turns around, he says, "I think that's your brother."
Holy shit.
And I go, if I was driving the car, I would have gone off the side of the road.
Yeah. That is fucking fascinating that you did not know he was your brother.
I had no idea.
Until 29?
Yeah, 29.
And why is he saying, "I think that's your brother"?
Because they had not seen each other since he was 2.5. My dad admitted to me, my dad was married, he passed away 5 years ago, but he was married for 57 years to my mom.
Wow.
And I never knew he was married before, and during World War II, when he was serving in the Pacific, he married at the age of 20, went overseas. When he came back 9 months later, his son was born. And then Michael was raised by foster parents under a different name, and he was never formally adopted. And when he went in the Army, they said, "You're not this, you're Buffer." Right? So had that not happened, I probably wouldn't be sitting here, because finally when we met each other, I owned 2 companies, I was doing quite well, but I had no passion for what I was doing, and I'm a very passionate guy in everything I do. And I just had an epiphany. I went to the Riddick Bowe Holyfield fight, November 13th, 1992. I'll never forget it. Thomas and Mack Center. I watched everybody from Hulk Hogan to Jack Nicholson losing it when my brother would, with his great voice, and then go into the Rumble, and I thought, there's something here, and he doesn't quite get it yet. Right? Nobody had trademarked the phrase. Nobody made a hat or a T-shirt, you know, the usual stuff. And at the time, you remember when Pat Riley and the Lakers won 3-peat?
Yeah.
Right. 3-peat. Well, the big deal was how he trademarked 3-peat. And they quoted how he made like $1.5 million. And so my brain starts thinking, okay, well, we need to trademark this. And Michael did get a trademark, but not properly. So I did all my research, everything. I trademarked it, and we went on to, I said, look, I'm going to sell these 2 companies. I want to become your manager, but I want to become your partner. When I create things like video games or toys, which I wrote 3 pages of notes that night of that fight, I went back to my hotel room, and I just had that epiphany go off in my head, and I kept writing and writing. I want to do this, put them on the football field, the basketball court, movies, TV, blah, 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 blah. And I said, listen, I'll make you richer, more famous you ever dreamed, hopefully myself in the process, and I would like to be an announcer. Because I'd done motivational speaking. I'm used to being on stage and stuff like that. And he said, well, we agreed that boxing was not the place to announce. There's no money in it. He's the only one making any money. I said, great, something will come along.
You gotta wait.
I just started working. I've been managing his career for 20 years now.
Let me ask you, if you had to guess at how much money that one phrase has made in all markets, how much would you think that phrase has made overall?
We have sold almost $425 million in products in retail sales with Let's Get Ready to Rumble on.
Holy shit.
That's not in my pocket, guys.
That's not in my pocket. That's fucking mind-boggling.
That's amazing.
Money for one phrase, basically.
Yes.
But that's the pumped up number. What's the actual number of income?
That I don't discuss.
How dare you? How dare you throw out the giant number?
Well, because that's the only number. I'll tell you what, Joe. Tell me how much you made last year. I'll tell you how much I made.
Well, I bet it's not $400 million.
No, I said it's not. It's not.
No, but I mean, what I've made. I'm saying. I mean, why would I? You know,
no, these are
crazy numbers.
Because it's a crazy number that's documented from the sales of the different thing. We've had a video game that sold quite well. We were part of remember the Dreamcast module that came out, the Dreamcast console. We were one of 10 games. I went to Midway and created this game with them called Ready to Rumble Boxing. And my whole idea was arcade-style characters, and they would have a life of their own. That came out on the Dreamcast, and in 24 hours, the Dreamcast and the 10 games sold like $97.5 million in retail sales, which is not part of that quote that I'm using. And Hollywood Reporter Variety said that it set the entertainment record for the most sales of an entertainment product in 24 hours, which is honorable to say that we were part of that because we were one of the 10 games that came out with the machine.
Right.
I need a good phrase. I've been trying.
Let me tell you something about trademark.
Phrases.
But here's the thing about trademark. People don't get this.
Let's get ready to stumble.
Yes.
We've already used that.
Yes.
And we actually want to get somebody legal for Let's Get Ready to Stumble and cease and desist them. Paraphrasing, you can only do so much. But the thing is, people think you can trademark anything. You got to show usage. And Michael had years of usage, which allowed us to lock down. I can't even think about how much money I've spent on attorneys and trademarks over the years, but you have to show usage or you can't get it. And then the other thing is if somebody violates it and takes it from you, you have to protect it, or the government can take it back and say, you know, you're not
using it properly.
There's a story in the book too about how Imus, who we love, but was using that phrase, and there was a huge. Oh yeah, he's on TV now.
Why?
On Fox Business.
I know, but why?
I don't know.
Oh, see Don Imus?
Yeah.
That's one of the guys we had a big hassle with. Don Imus, actually.
That's what Timmy was saying.
Don Imus, at one point, I write about it in the book.
Yes.
And Don Imus would play his voice. So I sent a letter to him, you know, explaining we have this trademarked. Love your show, congratulations, but please don't use it. Call me anytime. Be happy to license it to you. So I go in the cleaners. I come back from a UFC. And I'm in the cleaners, and they say, well, you know, you're on the radio. You're mentioned on Don Imus' show. I go, what are you talking about? He read my letter on the air.
Oh,
he didn't read the nice part. He just read it. He goes, I got a letter from some jerk named Bruce Buffer. and then he does it, and then he plays my brother's voice. I guess we're not supposed to, but, you know, who cares? And he played it, right? So then I sent him a lawsuit. You know, I sent him a copy of the lawsuit to my attorney. I said, look, Don, I'm going to file this if you do this again. Please don't.
What's that? Like, that's an intent. When they write up the possible suit, what's that called? It's them. You're not filing it yet, but it's
no, it's an intent. It's you're sending him a draft of what could happen. Yeah, it's kind of like the guy knocking on your door, saying, "Don't pay the bills, or we're going to break your legs." You know.
We would have done the exact same thing, by the way.
So what happened?
We would have read the letter and played it again. How many times have we done that?
I can't go into detail about this, but here's one of the scariest parts: is that Michael called me from New York about 6 in the morning California time, and he basically said, "Did you know we're being sued?" I said, what are you talking about? He goes, Infinity Broadcasting and Don Imus are suing to free up the trademark for public domain, which would have killed our business if that happened to a certain extent. I don't have the kind of money to fight them, but I sent my attorneys in and countersued them, and we settled in our favor within 3 days. And, you know, you got to stand up for what's right. It's the David and Goliath routine.
It's amazing that they backed off too, or I'm assuming they did, but that's really good because you can't. It's hard to litigate with these big companies because they can litigate forever with motions and all this shit.
Yeah, they can kill you because they've got the money, but the bottom line is, if it's yours, you have to fight for what's yours.
I need a phrase.
I just got word Ricky's 10 minutes out, so we should maybe take a break, set it up.
All right. Well, Bruce's book is, and I'm not being polite, it's really good. It's a really good book. It's called It's Time. And Bruce handed me a copy backstage last time at UFC, and that was why I started reading. I didn't even know you had a book out.
What a crazy story, man.
It's fucking unbelievable.
You always wonder if you have another fucking sibling out there.
Well, I was in Oklahoma recently, and this guy came up to me that worked in the hotel, and he had a name tag that said Buffer. He said, oh, I've been waiting to meet you. And I go, whoa.
Yeah, okay, not another one.
I don't really. With all respect, have a great life. I hope you enjoy yourself, but please. No.
I could use a few bucks.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I hope I have a brother out there somewhere and he's not some fucking creep.
It's interesting, Bruce, that you're so much different than your brother, too, in your style. Your style is so perfect for the UFC.
Oh, yeah.
It's like such a different, explosive, energetic, really aggressive style. You know, there's nobody like you, man.
It sets that mood,
I've said it many times on the air, but when you're, like, announcing, like, a big fight, like, I get goosebumps. Like, when, you know, it's Anderson Silva, Chris Weidman or something like that. I get goosebumps.
Yeah, yeah.
You make the whole beginning of the fight so much more. There's so much more drama.
You get everyone pumped up.
Thank you, Joe. You know, that's coming from a guy like Joe, who I respect tremendously, and we've known each other for years. That's a huge compliment. I'm not all about the money. Yeah, I'll be the first one to cash the paycheck at the bank, but just a pat on the back and hearing from Joe, who, again, I respect so tremendously, that just means the world to me. Now,
you talk shit about me and give me a check, and I'm fine.
Well, I guarantee you that come Saturday night, with Henan Barrow and Uriah Faber, Overeem and Frank Mir, and of course Jose Aldo, who to me is like Anderson Silva, you know, at a lower weight. I mean,
and Ricardo Lamas.
And Ricardo Lamas. There's so many good fights Saturday night. But these three, I'm going to be going off. I'm going to go train today. I'm going to get a lot of sleep, and I just want to go off in the octagon and honor these great warriors. It's an amazing experience. I just can't tell you. I kiss the ground every time I wake up, every day that I have this chance to walk in that octagon.
Nice. It really is the best fucking. I've said this about Joe too. You're the best announcer, and Joe is the best fucking. Joe's the best. I don't want to say play-by-play, but whatever it is that you.
I think I'm a color
calling
guy.
the fight, color guy, and Bruce is the best.
Absolutely.
That's a huge part of what makes the UFC successful.
I could not imagine the UFC without Joe Rogan. I mean, when you think about Joe, Joe's basically a mixed martial artist himself. The man has a tremendous background in fighting sports. You know, accomplished martial artist. There's not. And
no, stay, Joe.
I've watched all these other shows, and I'll watch the announcers. Something nobody commentates like him. He sets everything up so much for the people that don't understand what's happening, and for those that do.
Yeah, he's got a genuine understanding of what's going on in there.
God,
I like. I liked also the fact that you will predict what the hell is going to happen in the ring, which is odd. Like all of a sudden, it's like, oh yeah, he does this and that, and then you'll see it.
So I think it has a pattern recognition thing that we were
just talking about.
Yeah, we've seen so many fights and situations.
Or he doesn't seem to be watching his right side or something, and then boom! It's like, well, see, I told you, you asshole.
So Bruce's book, I want to plug it properly.
It's time. When you're in Brazil, by the way, the entire audience does that. When he does it's time. Like in America, they haven't caught on. But Brazilian fans, there is no fans like Brazilian fans. There's no fans in the world that are more aggressive, more passionate, more enthusiastic. But when he does it, like the whole crowd, like 18,000 people, it's time! They all join in and fucking cheer and scream.
Crazy.
I'll tell you something funny. The first time that happened, when we first went to Brazil under the Zuffa regime, there was literally about 20,000, and I got out of the octagon, because when I'm in the octagon, my eyes are looking into the eye of the tiger. I block out the audience. I'm only looking at the fighters. I'm so in my moment, you know, wanting to enhance them and hopefully perform and enhance the crowd and the fans, because the show's not about me. I'm just there to do what I do. And then Stitch, the famous cut man, he goes, "Did you hear that?" I go, "Hear what?" He goes, "The whole audience said it with you." I go, "No," but I got home and watched it on the video, and oh my God, I was blown away.
That's pretty crazy. They do it every time now.
How much money have you made off its time?
Don't say it! Don't tell them!
Don't say it!
You're not going to sue us, are you?
No, I'm not going to sue you, but I've already done my taxes for last year. I don't need any more questions.
Okay. Ricky's on his way up, so we're going to take a quick break.
Thank you very much, and see you tomorrow night,
Bruce Buffer.
All right, thank you, gentlemen.
The best. He's the best, people.
Ricky Gervais joins the program. All right, let's do this.
That's cool.
We got Joe Rogan hanging for the whole show, which is awesome.
Thanks, Bruce. Later,
man. And the great Bruce Buffer is out. And again, his book is called It's Time.
It's Time! And, don't sue me. Please don't sue me.
A genuinely great book. And he's a great, he said he's a great personality. And Bruce, I'm going to see Bruce. Bruce is doing... announcing UFC on, of course, Saturday night, where Joe will be, because they were going to be at the Borgata February 15th for my late show, which is still on sale, but neither one can make it. Smooth!
I'm going to be there.
That was pretty smooth. Smooth.
Have so you don't know Ricky? He's in the restroom.
No, I don't know Ricky.
You've never met him?
No, never met him.
Ricky Gervais.
He loves doing this show, which it still amazes me.
Why is that amazing? It's a fun show to do.
I don't know.
We have low self-esteem, Joe. We have very low
self-esteem. I don't know.
Every celebrity we think is like the hot chick that shouldn't be fucking us, but is.
And then we think we hit it off with other guys, and they just...
And they never come back.
I'm glad I got in under the wire.
Yes, you did, Joe. Yes, you did.
Ricky's great. He's complete, like,
isn't Bruce a character?
Atheist.
Yes, he really is.
I've known that guy for shit. He was working when I first started in '97. My first UFC. He was already there.
He was already there.
He was already the interviewer.
He said 18 years for
announcer.
Him. 18 years for him. Oh, all right, so 96 for him.
Yeah. You know, it's fucked up. The people in America might not yell along with it and stuff, but I've had the pay-per-views over my house a lot of times during parties and stuff, and everyone in the house just walks around going, "Fighting!
Yeah.
It's time!" You got to do the impression.
Have you ever seen the Buffer 360?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
That's fucking genius.
Wait, so really fast, before Ricky, how much you think his brother's made off
that? A lot. I want to get him to say it, but it's a lot of money. It's millions and millions of dollars.
Probably is. Ricky Gervais.
Hi, Ricky, how are you?
Take a seat, sir.
Joe Rogan.
Nice to meet you, brother.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan.
Yeah, it's millions and millions of dollars for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. What's up, Rick? We decided.
I made it.
You did.
When you're still on air.
And we're still, and we're still here.
I can't believe that's years that confusion. I just thought, I just kept thinking they're rude. Whenever I turn up, they leave.
We would leave.
We actually adjusted the time of our show, I think, so we could finally interview you proper.
Just for Ricky Gervais, we go to 10:30 now.
We go to 10:30 now.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we've had problems with other guys that wanted to come here, and we're like, man, we like you and anyone else, you just want to go home after a while.
Jimmy and Sam would interview Ricky because Ricky could only come in after 10, and then we'd leave. And Ricky's told by everybody else that he's on the Opie and Anthony show. And he'd come in and be like, well, where the fuck are they? You know? and we were long gone. I'm listening to the show.
Camper.
Yeah, I'm listening to the show on my drive home going like, oh, shit. And then I had to call in one day and go, look, you're coming after the show. I go, Jay Leno doesn't stay late for guests. This is the time of the show.
Now I understand.
Now we're all square.
Now I'm even earlier than I need to be.
I know, you really are a little earlier than need be, but that's good. We like seeing you.
I think I'm gonna. I got to curse you out because you're in a Muppets movie. That means I'm gonna have to hear you for at least 100 times.
I know. Yeah.
I got 2 young kids. These movies drive you insane after a while.
Oh, you got to play them over and over.
You know,
just play them over and over again.
Over and over. And I loved the first Muppets movie. I absolutely did. But I think eventually, I'm going to end up hating you.
Oh, this is good though.
Is it good?
I saw it. A screening Sunday, and I was blown away. It's really good. And also because I'm not usually an actor for hire, I sort of do my own thing, and so when you've done it, but you're not in charge. It's a whole different set of neuroses and fears. You know,
you're usually in charge of your own stuff.
Yeah.
If you see Ricky on TV, Ricky produced the whole thing.
My first fear was that I wouldn't be in it. We
had to cut you
out. You didn't make it. Nothing you did.
Yeah. You know what though? In the DVD extras, you're going to be a big hit in the extras.
You're a tweet.
Yeah.
All your best stuff is now a tweet. No, but it's great. It's really funny.
I'm going to love it the first 10 times I see it. After that, because these kids, they just fucking have to see these movies over and over and over again.
I went with my ex-girlfriend years ago out to Colorado to hang out with her sister and brother-in-law, and they had kids, and they would pop in Monsters, Inc. all the time. And this is right when, like, the second Gulf War was really heating up, and I'm on CNN and Fox News the whole time, and I remember they were like, a Scud missile alert is being, and they just pop in a video of Monsters, Inc. again. And I'm like, there's a war.
Do you understand there's a war?
I want to see what's happening with the war.
Yeah, but then wars get pretty samey as well.
Samey. Yes, they do. You make a valid point there.
Yeah.
The wars get a little samey.
And we got it late, just like we get everything late, because it was good for American time.
It was our good war and
like
stuff.
Tyson
You
fight,
guys
it's 3 a.m.
Yeah.
We had to watch the Gulf War like in the middle of the night. So
yeah, samey. I was watching a clip the other day. You posted on Twitter. It's that clip where you're trying to be all smooth with the soda in the bottle.
Yeah.
With the girl.
In Extras.
In Extras. It was from Extras. Oh, God damn, it was fucking funny.
Thank you very much.
Are we just ignoring the fact there's 2 people in here taking pictures?
Yeah.
This is very odd.
We're
not weird.
We're at that level
we
of
just
fame.
got kind of used to
we're
it.
At that level. We don't even notice.
Showed up with cameras.
I know. Everyone's
saying hi to anybody.
I didn't see it coming.
Everything's got to be online. You
We're
can't
used
do
to
anything.
her.
No, it's all got to be online.
We're used to her. Who are you?
What? Yes.
Why are you whispering, dude?
What are you just saying?
Leave him alone.
Oh, get it.
I assume it's something official as opposed to he just wandered in.
That was like an
but no one's questioning these
That could have happened too.
Yeah,
it has happened before.
The bigger the camera, the bigger the SLR there, the more important the photographer is.
The more you could sneak in.
You can. You're like, oh, this guy's got to be somebody.
That is true.
Badge.
He asked me to sign Catcher in the Rye outside. So, it's the depressing part is he's snapping all these great Getty photos, and I know that I'm being blocked by Anthony, so I'm not going to be in any of the great Getty photos.
Oh no, we're never in them.
Back of my head. I don't care.
There'll be a picture.
And put it this way, Jimmy, they're not taking your picture.
Are you taking photos at the Borgata on February 15th?
I will be at the Late Show, yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I know they're not going to take them with me, but I'd like to be in one accidentally. Like there's Ricky Gervais. Who's that with him? Oh, this young up and comer.
I missed you on what you did Leno again, didn't you? How did that go?
It was good. It was just a segment. I say just segment, but it wasn't like my own segment. It was like me and a couple of other guys. It was.
Don't play it down, Jimmy.
No, but I am. It wasn't like my own panel segment.
Jimmy.
And that was my last one with Jay. I think he's done now.
So what's going on? Jimmy Fallon's taking over? Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
He'll do well. Jimmy's perfect for that, you know. And him and Kimmel are not going to fire that out.
He's
I
good.
like Jimmy Fallon. He's good. It's nice to do. He's always up. It's a nice, atmosphere. And he hasn't handed in his sort of comedy card just because he's he still does comedy bits.
Yeah. I think he'll do great.
He will do great. He's great with the internet.
Likeable.
I think so. Yeah. I think he loves it. I mean, he's like a big kid. You see, I think he really
does
loves
seem sincere that he does.
10
like
years later, he'll be jaded.
Oh,
you won't be allowed to look him in the eye.
You're gonna hear those stories.
Yeah.
He doesn't even talk to any of the guests. What a prick.
Fucking 2,000 of these things. I hate everyone. Yeah.
I want the audio that somebody got on their phone of Jimmy Fallon. And if that motherfucker comes over to me one more fucking losing it, completely blows his image.
He used to be such a nice guy. Now he walks by and he throws a cup of his own urine on his writers. We don't know what happened.
Drink it. Drink some Fallon love. Be like me.
Yeah, he is still enjoying it, and he's got the right vibe for it. So
I find a fascinating thing, the Jay Leno, the forcing him out thing. It's happened so many times.
It really is.
This is like the second version.
What is it
that.
about him?
Total disrespect. I don't know. It just seems
because he's not going away.
But doesn't he keep delivering the ratings?
That's why it's a great point.
Has he got the wrong demographic or something? We don't want this. You've got all the wrong people watching.
There's just millions of them, but none of them that we like.
Well, you laugh about that, but that is a thing. That some people do worry about a demographic because of their advertisers. So some people will say, no, we want people to buy cars and watches. These people are buying pizzas and beer.
We don't want the largest Amish audience would be a problem.
Right.
Well, I remember when they did the remake of The Office, as we call it in England. You call it the English Office. And it wasn't doing very well. But then they found out their demographic was great. They found out that they had the highest, something like people earning over $100,000 a year.
So then they're like, oh, okay.
Let's keep it because even though it was small, it was perfect,
right?
And then that grew. So they do care. They even care about who's watching it. Like they go, we're getting 10 million, but they're the wrong 10 million.
It used to just be sheer numbers.
Exactly.
Now
but it's all to do with advertising.
Yeah.
Unless it's subscription.
Totally. Yeah.
And then they don't care because they've been paid anyway. But.
I think the audience they're seeking might not watch that format of TV anymore, though, because 18 to 35 or 18 to 40 is the I guess the ideal male, whatever. But I think a lot of those guys are not, because Jay had even said he was winning in those demos with the younger. He was winning the younger demos.
18 to 49 is the big
Kimmel.
one.
He was beating Letterman in the younger demo.
Wow.
So I think that this massive influx of young people that they expect, it's hard to get because they're all online and they're not really watching late night TV.
Yeah, well, that's it, isn't it? Everything goes online now as well.
Yeah, everything.
You can see shit before you have to watch it on television at this point.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. It can literally be on YouTube before it went out.
Before it goes out on TV.
Yeah, because they want. But then I don't get that. If it's out there, and saying, "Watch this, look, it's here." Now, good, I can watch it on telly tonight. But I've just watched it.
Yeah, why would I bother?
The whole programs are on. YouTube before,
before they leak out or something.
The broadcasting stuff with Netflix.
And a lot of people just going to the internet for their shows. You were on Seinfeld's show recently with the comedians in cars.
Yeah,
oh god,
which is doing really well. That's not on regular TV.
Yeah, well, I think he's had a cumulative like 25 million.
Wow,
which is of those 10 minutes things that's like a huge TV show.
Yeah.
And it's global.
Were you really that scared in the car?
Yeah, I'm not a good traveller.
Right.
I'm not good. But I've got to listen. Right, here's the thing. Okay, I can be in a modern car and it can be going 75 miles an hour, and you think you're Putining along. In a car like that from the 60s, no suspension, no airbags. It's like being dragged along in a tin bucket. Every little bump, you feel like you're about an inch off the road. It's honestly, and he's obviously found out that he's scaring someone, so he's laughing like a maniac.
Oh, he was having a great time. You were petrified.
I never expected that from Seinfeld, but he really enjoys with some of his friends.
No, I found his real evil,
sadistic streak. He's evil.
That's the appeal of those old cars, the tactile feeling you get from steering.
You feel the road.
And you literally feel the gears moving in the gear shift handle.
They look lovely. They're like works of art. You know, even I'm not big on cars, but I see it. You know, it's aesthetically beautiful, but to drive it's not good.
No.
Like,
it seems good on paper, and then when you drive them, you realize how shitty.
Where's my Escalade?
I
want to. I need some fancy accoutrement.
exactly, yeah.
Modern muscle cars. It's one of the coolest things about like the modern Mustangs, and modern cars. Like you get a lot of what is fun about those old cars: the low end grunt and the loud noise and the ridiculous horsepower. Yeah. But they actually have brakes. And they actually can turn. They don't fucking slide off the road like a rhino on roller skates.
Yeah. Although I did put mine into a guardrail.
Did you? Recently?
Yeah.
No, this is a couple of years ago.
Modern muscle car combined with extreme alcoholism. You know, winds up the same way every time.
Well, didn't you took a Shelby GT500 and you jacked it up to like 800 horsepower or something ridiculous?
I had a Kenny Bell kit put on it, and it was cold. The road was a little sandy, and it was a curve. It was perfect. And then I decided that was the time to maybe give it a little fucking boost. The thing just went spun, and I'm like, it's amazing how long you're in that spin until you hit something, because you literally go through like, I think I'm all right. I could spin out of this. I could just be facing the other way. Uh-oh, I'm going that way now. Oh, shit, there's the guardrail. Oh, I wonder what this is going to feel like. Because I'm going to hit it.
I think, what's this going to feel like?
What's this going to feel? Is it going to be little, or is it going to like, bam, really be? Oh, fuck, that was hard. Okay. Yeah.
I want to be dead immediately. I want to be dead immediately. Dead immediately. I don't want to wake up with like loads of tubes around that, and they go, I can't feel my legs. No, you're just ahead. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm in a bucket. I'm just ahead in a bucket. Jesus Christ.
It's frightening because you don't know what it's going to be. And then, wham, hit the side. I was like,
the thought of pain is the scariest thing, isn't it?
I just don't, I didn't want to like, oh, this is bad.
You total it?
No, I fucked up the front end.
You did a pretty good job on it.
And the whole side kind of, it hit like this and then went down the guardrail, ripped up the side.
No frame damage?
No frame damage. It was the front end was fucked, though.
And so immediately you went from fearing for your life to, oh, fucking hell.
Look at my fucking, don't kill me, look at my fucking car. It's wrecked, asshole. Yeah. But, I got that all taken care of, so. But it was definitely my fault. Those tires and the power isn't made for cold. It was cold and sandy.
It's a silly car.
It is a silly car. On a track or on a straight run, it's fucking amazing. It's amazing. I took it to Pocono that time and took it around the track a couple of times at Pocono Raceway. Fuck. You just see the boost go up. The turbocharge, it sounds like a jet engine. And then you're kind of like, this is so cool. Oh, my God, I could die so easily right now. I could die. It wouldn't take anything.
I hate when he tells stories like that because I fucking see my mortgage going down the toilet. I'm like, will you fucking drive under 80 miles an hour? Every time he comes in, like I had up to 120 last night. I just see the show going away. Tragedy, stuck in Long Island. And then they show my face moving out of my apartment.
How do you feel? I'm devastated.
Yeah, I'm devastated.
I'm absolutely devastated for reasons I don't want to go into, but I am devastated. Just use the soundbite. I'm absolutely devastated, and that will cover anything you want me to say. It'll cover all.
I have to find a new place.
I'm devastated.
What's his name?
Oh my God.
That's funny.
Yeah, and also your tweets, of course, are fucking people love them. You are one of the most unapologetic people on Twitter, which is great.
I'm sorry on the inside.
But it seems like at some points, and this is what I love, when you read the first few lines, it's like, is Ricky apologizing for something? Or is Ricky like showing some sympathy for these holy rollers or whoever it would be? And then at the end, you just fuck them in the ass with a little twist.
I think you mean the one when I said, if anyone's ever been offended by it, I'd like to say I'm so sorry for you being a humorless cunt.
It's like, oh no, see, he's not.
Yeah, they look at it like it's a nice little journey, and then there's cunt waiting at the end. And like,
I should just say, as I'm in America, that there's no misogyny in that word from a UK.
No, not at
people
all.
often think
it's very different for you.
It's not at all. In fact, it's the opposite. We very rarely use it to describe it because it's just too much.
It's for guys.
It's for guys, and it's often a term of endearment. That's difficult to explain. On Twitter to an American that it's honestly once I was in I told this I was in Scotland and this Scottish copper came said, hey Mr. Gervais, he said, you're a funny cunt,
and you said
thank you very much.
Exactly.
How
can a word have two
I think Australians use it as a
meanings like that?
You cunt.
Yeah.
That's the atom bomb in America, as we've discussed.
But also if you're just guys hanging out, the closer you are as friends, and the longer you know each other, the worse you could talk about each other.
Yeah.
It's always the way. If you just meet someone for the first time, you're not going to go, hey, you're a fucking asshole. But your buddy, how many times do you call your buddy an asshole?
You don't ever use that word if you really mean it, or you don't really mean it.
Or you don't mean it, right. So it depends on the relationship.
My friend Joey Diaz, if he loves you, he calls you a cocksucker.
There you go.
Cocksucker, cocksucker.
And
he loves you.
And in prison, they really do love you. If they
when they love you, they call you the same thing.
Yes. That was my nickname, is I cleaned the cell and washed the socks. But that's the kind of stuff, that's the intuition and weird things in language. Like, we just understand, there's no way to explain that on paper. Like, when you say to somebody, hey, cocksucker, we just understand what it means by where it's coming from.
Well, that's why it's so gross when people take things out of context and print them out as a written word and then
it's like, of
write
course
a blog
that looks
about
bad.
it.
But it's all about intent.
It's
Words about
intent.
intent. That's all it is. Otherwise, they're squiggles on paper, they're lines, they're
but
nothing.
People have
Without
taken
intent,
that away.
Of course, and it's all context. And people get in the way, and they've got their own little worries and foibles, and they can't see the wood for the trees. They can't see the
you're persecuted
the
now
target.
for something that meant
know
nothing.
That, though. They're pretending.
They pretend that
there's no subtlety in language.
People want a bit of controversy.
The fake outrage.
Ridiculous. And Twitter's make it even worse. Because
I love some good fake outrage. It's great.
Well, at least MSNBC stands tall. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they just apologize.
They just can't stop saying they're sorry.
What's the story for the people out there?
As well, the BBC apologised. They got shareholders in there, and the papers are at them, and they're accountable.
What did they apologise for?
Everything. Oh. Everything. I've been told that I put stuff in. They go, "We're worried about that," and I go, "What are you worried about?" And they go, "Well, it could be taken the wrong way." I say, "Well, I'll stand up and I'll write the letter for you," because sometimes they just don't want to have to write the letter. Sometimes it's admin. I was told once.
How lazy!
That's unbelievable.
Did this thing, and it was a thing about a guy who was pretending to be deaf. Okay, and they set off a fire alarm and see if he'd, run away. Right, it was totally justified. I won't go. It's totally justified. And they said to me, "Oh, we said the deaf are very active. Can you ever go at the blind?" Like, purely because that'll give us some, not whether the merit of the joke is justified.
Right.
Just we get letters. We get more letters from the deaf than the
blind.
blind.
They hate getting letters.
Really?
That means you're doing well.
Plus, if the blind write a letter, it's like half on the paper and it just goes off.
You can't really read it very well.
But that is literally what will spark out the networks to react, is what they think the blowback will be.
Yeah.
Like Duck Dynasty proved the fraudulence of it because they went out and they said we're yanking Phil Robertson. When the blowback came from people who supported Phil Robertson, it was stronger. They put him back on. There's not an ounce of sincerity in any of the reaction.
No one's ever sorry.
They don't even wait to see what that's going to cause.
No.
That's what's amazing to me.
Well, how could that even be shocking? The entire show is fake and scripted.
Yeah,
why would it be shocking that their response is fake?
They're like suburban fucking college.
And he's supposed to say
guys.
stuff like that, obviously.
Yeah, that's part of the gimmick.
Well, no, that's his thing. I mean, he's done that long before the show.
Yeah, born again Christian and very religious guy, right?
Serious Bible banger.
What's the MSNBC thing for the people, Jimmy?
Well, they've apologized for everything. The groveling on-air apology that woman gave with the woman with the lisp, and then the
what's this? I don't know about this. So
Melissa Harris Perry.
Yeah, there was a picture.
That was the
Mitt Romney.
The Mitt Romney family photo with the black kid.
Yeah, there's a black, adopted child in the Mitt Romney family photo. And MSNBC, they said something.
They made some jokes. They were very lighthearted.
They were doing one
and
of
easy.
these things is not like the other kind of joke. A panel that they had when they showed.
It was pretty harmless.
It was really harmless, but.
She apologized.
She apologized
and cried as she's apologizing.
Yeah, it was awful.
That she should have known better.
Yeah, we don't think that biracial families are funny. Like it was just so unnecessary.
She's from a biracial.
That's what it is. Unnecessary. As you watch these apologies, you're like, this is nothing. This is unnecessary. Completely insincere. Most apologies are after someone's just trying to save their job or what have you.
Yeah. Well, of course.
Yeah.
It's pressure, isn't it?
And then the latest one was. I guess somebody at MSNBC had tweeted out something that said, well, I guess the right the right is going to be angry at Cheerios again because they got another mixed-race commercial that they're putting out. And I guess the Republican
The Republicans are going to get mad about it, while liberals are going to go like, oh, look at the cute interracial family, or something like, or biracial family.
Yeah, they pretty much got it.
The intent wasn't to be hateful. They were just kind of shitting on the conservatives.
And the Republicans sent off a letter that said, we are not doing any interviews on MSNBC. You will not get one of our guys.
And they fired the person who did it and apologized.
They fired the person.
Big apology. It was nothing, really. I mean...
it's just so. Meanwhile, they hardly have conservatives on either.
The truth of the matter is, I don't think the right does like that mixed race Cheerio commercial. I'll say it. I don't think they do like it.
I think it's that now everyone has a platform.
Yes.
For social media, and now even real news reads tweets.
Yeah,
and now people even report other people's reports. So they say, well, so and so didn't like it, which is the most irrelevant piece of information I've ever heard in my life.
Yes.
You know, when it comes down to opinion, I don't care what hearsay of someone's opinion is. I only care what yours is, so we can discuss it. Or, you know, but now everyone's worried. It's everything's. Not just a popularity contest, but it's I suppose buckling under pressure.
It is.
Whoever shouts the loudest will win because people want an easy life.
It's a way to get your message out there. It's a way to show that you're a powerful unit. If you have an organization or something and you're outraged at something, now you have a voice. You used to have to go through a lot of channels to voice your
bothering writing a letter
opinion.
And of course, now you just
tweet it out. We are outraged, and then the news picks it up, and look who's outraged.
Exactly, yeah.
And it becomes like real news.
Right, reporting on what people think, or reporting tweets. Like they'll read tweets on CNN. Like Rick, what was his name? Had a show, and there was like tweets pop.
They base news on tweets, and then they come back and go, "We received erroneous," or some people are reporting erroneously. It's like, no, you did. You reported.
It's also this insatiable desire to hear about what the man in the street has to say. I don't want to. No, there's a reason he's in the street, right? No. Right. But even on news, they have a big story, then they have like 5 vox pops of people just going to work. I saw one the other day, right? They were slowing trains down because there'd been a crash, okay? And they said, well, let's hear what the opinion is on the man on the street. And this one bloke said, well, it's awful. He said, it already takes me an hour and a half to get to work, so, you know, that's going to be another 2 hours in the day, so it's terrible. They go, what do you think? They go, well, it's a good thing because, it's safety and it's annoying for the computers. And it went, this woman, she went, I'd rather arrive at work late than dead.
She actually said that.
Yeah. Well, that'd be good, wouldn't it? Like turning up, you're early, but you're dead. Well, I was hoping for some overtime. No, you can't give overtime. I mean, how is that useful? And they left that in. It's better to arrive late than dead. Yeah. Thanks.
They're just out of news. They've run out of the
24
ability
hours a long
to
time.
broadcast 24 hours of news, so they just
without talking about
shit.
things that they're not really supposed to be talking about.
Yeah.
Real stories.
Yeah, real stories.
Corruption involved in our government.
Man, when you had a half-hour or an hour newscast once a day at 6 p.m. or something, they were like,
let's go over to the latest in the what? It's Monsters Inc. Who put on Monsters Inc?
What happened? This is watching the news. There's a war on.
Can you picture Walter Cronkite, a tweet sent by Kanye West? No.
What? Exactly.
No. The news does say tweet us. Tweet us what you think.
They certainly do.
Remember to friend me on Facebook.
Or you follow us or tweet us what you think. It's like the opinions of the audience should not be pertinent to the news at all. It's irrelevant. You should just be reporting it in an unbiased fashion. By the way, bloggers just got the same protection in a court case that the media has. And I'm really happy about that. Even though bloggers can be annoying, it really knocks down the media's ability to a little bit, because when bloggers now have the same protection.
Everyone's the media now.
Yeah.
Everyone's the media.
Everyone really is.
We are the media.
Everyone's reporting.
We don't know where it came from or where it started or who's in charge, but everyone is the media.
Their own stuff. Everyone's the media, and I've said it before, everyone is the NSA. Everyone's like snapping pictures and posting them and ratting each other out. And I've said it before, we've turned out to be our own big brother. We thought there was going to be some government entity with cameras and watching our every move, and then it just turned out to be all of us ourselves. The second something happens, and then it gets posted. Now you're like, why did you do? Now I'm fucked at my job because I put on some inappropriate Halloween costume or something. It's like, so who was the guy that took the picture and put it online? It wasn't some entity or agency. It's just all of us fucking each other over.
Yeah, Twitter. Where two idiots outnumber a genius. That's it. The vote. We voted you're the idiot. Really? Yeah. Yeah. It's a numbers game. It's a numbers game. No, E equals MC squared. Not according to us two.
No. And we're the guys.
We deserve it. I literally, when the NSA scandal broke, it didn't bother me because it's to me, people are such nosy pigs. It really. When Tiger Woods' personal stuff leaked, not one person stood up and defended his privacy or Gibson's phone calls.
Oh, they love it.
So when now it's happening to all, and I get like the government, they shouldn't do it, but it made me very happy. Like, good, you fucking pigs.
They're listening to our calls. They're reading our emails.
You feel entitled to everyone else's information. So now you see. Now I hope you fucking enjoy
you in the ass.
Scumbags to the whole country.
You've really got to get this sorted out before you become really famous.
Yeah,
because the shit that's waiting to come out on you is going to be devastating.
Honestly, I've said the closet is so full of information. So much has been falling out already.
I know, yeah.
No, so I don't think there'll be a real surprise.
People, things, skeletons buried in your, literally, in your closet and stuff. And when that comes out, you've got to get these super injunctions being, you know.
It won't hurt me because literally
Jimmy rats himself out.
Yes. What are they going to do? True. Interview 400 trannies? Like, how many times can you hear the same story? He pretended he didn't know, but I know he did. You know what I mean? What are they going to get me on?
You're not supposed to say tranny anymore.
Oh, I know that, but I've been such a friend of the community. I'll withstand the criticism.
Gender,
I don't know.
So it's just another scandal I don't know about. You've offended transgender people.
I don't know. I know I put a lot of them through college. So
I don't know what to believe anymore.
$400 at a time. So
no, believe it, Rick.
Being a comic is you're lucky. You can say that. And, it doesn't matter.
What are you gonna do?
Friend of the community.
Yeah.
It'd be tough action if you were a teacher.
What's that?
It'd be tough action if you were a teacher.
Yeah, and I even said it to the audience. Like, I know that the crowd doesn't have the same ability we do as comedians. Like, they can't just upload what they want because their jobs are different and the penalties for them. I know that they can't, but I say, like, just don't be a part of the pylon. Like, somehow you can still write a blog defending someone's right to be inappropriate. Like, you don't have to behave that way as an executive because you can't. But just don't sit there silently while they're fucked. You know what I mean? There's a way to do that. I'm just boring everyone.
There are a lot of
you're right.
Sometimes I just like to stop the flow of the conversation and just really talk for a good, long, uncomfortable time.
He gets so uncomfortable.
I love it.
Yeah, I don't know how to have the floor. My shame just comes up and I back it.
No one could possibly be interested in what I'm saying.
I clear my throat 2 seconds into my aria. All right, go ahead. You go.
I have the right to my opinions, but I just don't deserve to have them.
Now, you're also on I see on Twitter, such a great animal activist and lover.
Well,
oh boy.
You love your little domestic pets, which you have pictures of. They're adorable.
Yeah,
like that.
I'm a bit of a strange old cat lady I've turned into, but that's often something to tweet, really. And,
yeah.
But the animal activism is something different. I mean, it's the only thing that sort of, that and religious intolerance is the only thing that makes my blood boil. The animal cruelty. I've never understood it. I've never understood it. I've never understood the fun in watching an animal tortured, like a bullfight or badger baiting or dog. I don't know what's going on in their minds of someone who would enjoy that, really.
Tradition, I guess. The bullfight's a strange one. It's very strange.
Yeah.
Because it's such a cruel tradition. It's been going on for so
that
long.
thing about it's a tradition, that doesn't hold any water with me. It's a tradition. So was slavery. What are you talking about?
No, it's not.
Exactly.
It doesn't hold water.
No, I know,
it's a strange tradition.
Yeah, exactly. It's a strange thing to do, isn't it?
So Ricky Gervais is saying, bring back slavery? Is that what I just heard?
Tweet it before you can recant. Whether he recants it after he realized the horrendous...
I don't want to make it compulsory.
It's an option.
Exactly.
All right.
Like gay marriage. It's not compulsory, but it should be allowed between two consulting.
He comes at it from a very open-minded point of view.
Consenting adults.
They're going to call them long-term interns.
Jim is often volunteered. He said, I want to be the slave.
Absolutely.
Yes, that's true.
And miss, you strap that right on and teach me a lesson.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Miss Daisy. Miss Daisy, what a huge cock you've got.
Yes. And Piggly Wiggly is a euphemism for what she's...
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you know.
I get a lot of shit these days for posting too many pictures of my cat. I've turned into a
cool
crazy cat.
though. I love that cat.
Yeah,
It's a
solid cat. He's fucking crazy.
How big
Love
is
it.
that goddamn thing?
He's getting bigger. He's definitely. He's only like 7 months old too.
Wow. What is it?
It's a Bengal. It's a Bengal cat.
Yeah.
They look like little leopards.
Have you ever seen the videos of people feeding them chicken bones and seeing them growling and getting crazy? Oh,
I
my
love
God.
this conversation went from like cars and transsexuals
to little kittens
to cute kittens, guys with huge muscles and tats going, that is adorable.
It's the cutest little thing.
People just tuned in. It's the Opie and Andy show. It's great. It's great. Listen to this. And he's got fluffy little...
If anyone saw me around the house, they'd think I'm fucking like a crazy cat.
No, I love animals.
I just you get they're fun, so much fun to like roughhouse play around with and stuff. And then they're just like cool to have around.
It is a lovely cat. I've been over there, and it really is a friendly. You can't not love this cat.
Yeah, not afraid of anything, and just like I have parties over my house, and he's just walking around.
So cool.
He's just used to it. He's seen it all already.
Like looks at everything like he's gonna pounce on your face.
Anthony's cat is like one of the fucking kids in Once Were Warriors.
It's not a very well-behaved cat because I'm very bad at disciplining animals.
I like a feisty cat.
I love.
They used to be lions. Let them be. I love that. I love the fact that they're.
You can't really discipline
them, but they might bite you. That's the risk you
I'll
take.
be walking into the kitchen and out of nowhere this thing will come flying out. Does like this upside down flip grab on your ankle.
Because you're headed towards the refrigerator again. That's the cat's version of going, Daddy, don't drink anymore.
Oh, you see the nose, and I'm like,
of course.
After a few, I'm like, I love you.
Yeah, the cat just can't take having its head stroked too hard. Fox News on, you agreeing out loud. The cat's like, I just want to laugh again. Have fun.
He's fixed, right?
I love this. Just in his pants. Loads of beers.
Shit.
Is your cat fixed? He's fixed, right?
Yeah.
Males have to fix.
Yeah, especially like that. The thing would be fucking pissing all over.
Yeah,
I don't need
disgusting.
that.
And then they own it. I do that. I've acquired a lot of things that I urinated on. Then
You
it's mine.
piss on. It's mine.
Yeah,
cat.
it's mine.
You gotta realize
Four
that.
corners of a garden. So that is land ownership in cat law. I've got thousands of acres that way.
You gotta let these cats know.
Once they start doing that too, it's very hard to shake them off that.
Yeah. He's fucking great though. He like went right for the boxes and stuff like that. Don't have to worry about it. It's a big enough house where he can run around and do things because you can't really with a cat like that. You can't really have a small place because he'd be climbing the walls. But it also fucking just jumped off the balcony once onto the tile floor. I guess it had to learn, but it's a second floor balcony,
right?
Like and just fell right down.
They hit their chin.
Little chin was screwy.
They can like drop 100 feet and they land. And the only thing that often is their chin carries on and they break.
They have a little chin, and it got all mad and hissed at me, and I'm like, I didn't fucking.
The weird thing was at the top of the balcony, the cat started yelling, "I love you, Damien. This is for you."
That's a design flaw, isn't it? To get whacked in the chin. They survive, but what's that? You thought they would work that out. The chin. Can't they just roll? Like
you would think a good
commando roll or
something. Or something.
They figure that out when they get older.
Yeah, I think they do.
Yeah,
but they got that leg thing where they straighten out and they land on all fours, but. There's only so much shock you could absorb there.
Yeah, I saw a cat fall out of a tree in a video, and a really high tree, and the cat like fell like 30 or 40 feet, hit the ground, bounced, and just ran.
Took off.
Yeah, and they're fine.
Like it was nothing.
They're strange animals. Yeah. Their ability to absorb impact.
Yeah.
The
flexibility.
The animal to domesticate themselves. They did it by choice.
Did they?
Yeah.
By choice?
Yeah, they started coming into Yeah, just because I thought this is cool.
Some of that high-speed
their
shit
meows,
is cool.
their meow is for human contact only. They don't do that naturally. They've learned the fact that they can get food by... The meow is something they developed for humans.
Really?
Fucked up.
To talk to us.
I have a cat that just talks to me. She's 17 years old.
Wow.
And when I see her, she goes, meow, meow, meow.
Why?
Like, everybody's like, what the fuck's wrong with your cat? I'm like, that's what she does.
It means food.
She's always done that.
It means every word is food.
It always means food.
Either that or they're mocking us. They're so tired of our fucking babbling. They're just trying to show us how awful we sound. That's what I hear all day while you're on the phone.
This is you, stupid.
Exactly. This is you, stupid. Fucking awful. I didn't know that was a fucking... What about when they're in heat, though?
Yeah, well, they're howling. It's a different...
Yeah, that's not a meow.
Oh, okay.
It's a particular type of meow they've developed that they've found that we...
Are you making this up?
No, it's true.
Where'd you read this?
It's true.
He read it on Twitter.
Yes,
My cat is really old. I have two cats, but one of them is really old, and she doesn't know what's going on at night sometimes.
Oh, man.
So she howls in the middle of the night. She just starts I'll go to bed, and she's like, meow, meow. It's really strange.
How the fuck do you sleep?
And they say it's like I have a sound machine I turn on.
Oh, okay.
But they say it's like an Alzheimer's thing.
Wow.
They get old and they don't know what the fuck's
I don't know what's
going
going on anymore.
She's 17.
Damn.
That's an old fucking cat.
That's really old for
Talking
cats.
to mice she killed years ago.
Yeah. What are you doing here, mouse? She's a real sweet, like fluffy cat. Like it's like half Persian. She's some sort of a mutt.
Oh, wow.
But I always think of her as this really sweet, gentle cat. And then one day I let her loose in the courtyard, and she caught a bird slipping.
Oh yeah,
and just
caught a bird slipping.
Swatted it out of the sky, bit its neck, shook her little head, and just ran into the house with it. I was like, that was like total instinctive.
Yes. Wow.
She never killed anything.
It's
she was
so
like
fucking
12.
cool to see those.
How good is that
instinctive
thing
things.
when they can see a pigeon at through window, they can't get to it,
and
so they sounds crazy. They act out. They salivate. They act out the kill. I love that. I absolutely love that. I can't get enough of it. I go, Ollie, look, there's a pigeon. She goes. She's going, why I would suck you. I would fuck you. I'm going to grab you by the neck and fuck you up.
It's like a person being in one of those 42nd Street booths, looking at the girl.
Cats don't share our love for animals.
No,
they don't share our love for. They're vicious fucking murderers.
I've watched my cat look out the window too and just fixate on something, and I'm just like, I don't see it. I don't see anything. And then there'll be this little thing under a leaf, and you realize, God damn, that cat's got great eyes. I'm not seeing it. Maybe, maybe the beers didn't help.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe I'm seeing a little blurry.
Yeah. And the cat is just fixed on it, on the weird thing in the rearview mirror. It looks like flashing lights. Maybe that's
It's Toonses is driving.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is an odd. I don't like people who hate cats. Like some people just don't dog people, but I had cats grow up. I love cats.
I can't think anyone who's got any strong feelings about hating a pet.
Yeah.
I hate rabbits. Really?
Hate them.
I don't want to go into it, but something happens. I hate rabbits.
My grandmother had a monkey that was a cunt. It was a
That's
fucking
crazy to own a
animal.
monkey.
It was an evil animal.
I don't even think that's legal.
That's a hell of a soundbite, that, isn't it? It sounds like some sort of weird euphemism, but I can't work out.
My grandma.
What do you mean? How did she have a monkey?
She had a monkey. She lived in New Jersey. This
Stop
is like,
petting grandma's monkey.
It sounds like that's where they're
They have
from.
monkeys in New Jersey.
She started to say she's from the Congo.
Found in the wilds of New Jersey.
Wow.
Yeah,
She had a
petting grandma's monkey sounds like a euphemism.
Don't touch grandma's monkey.
He used to chew gum. He used to give it gum. It would unwrap the gum and chew it. My grandmother was the only one who could touch it. It would bite everybody else.
No shit.
It would bite you.
They're mean little
you'd
things.
reach over to touch it. It would grab you, hold on to your hand, and bite you.
But where did she get a monkey from? I know
She bought it from somebody, I guess.
Wow.
I mean, some black market, or maybe the regulations were different in the 70s.
Yeah, maybe.
She had a fucking monkey.
Free-loving monkeys.
Sure.
It's great, yeah.
Fucking creepy monkey, though,
Peace-loving monkeys.
Only loved my grandmother. Didn't like anybody else. Everybody else can go fuck themselves.
Damn.
How big did it get?
It's a little thing.
With a little spider monkey-looking thing? Or
Long tail? Oh, you don't remember?
It had a tail. I was little. I don't really
like that
remember.
Outbreak monkey?
Very similar, I'm
little
sure.
outbreak monkeys.
I don't remember it too much. I just remember Chi-Chi. That was its name. Creepy fucking monkey named Chi-Chi.
There are people that had those, like, chimpanzees that are just fucking... that's like having an insane fighter in your house.
Way worse than that.
Some of them can rip your face off and rip your arm off.
Yeah.
And
it's Chewbacca.
There's no
Chewbacca.
Yeah.
Well, that lady in Connecticut was just... That was a few years ago.
What a great story.
How to alter the laws.
She had to
What's
have
her
a
name?
face
Something
transplant.
Nash.
Shouldn't keep wild animals.
Right.
Although when someone climbs into a polar bear pit at the zoo and they get killed and they go, it's terrible, should the bear be put down? No, it shouldn't be put down. It shouldn't be in there.
Exactly.
And people shouldn't climb in to see a polar bear.
It did absolutely what it was supposed to do.
Exactly, yeah. That's his job. Fucking eating things. That's his job. People who climb in with an alligator and lose their leg. Yeah.
That was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Is there anything funnier than when you see footage that's thrown by a lion cage in the zoo and they've turned around for a photo and the lion gets a hold of that members only jacket and they're just pinned feeling like silly geese as everybody tries to pull them off?
The power behind those things is like, and it's so deceiving because they can look so graceful when they're running and even walking. You see a lion walk, their feet kind of slowly touch the ground. But the power and speed they have when they want to rip your throat out,
and I'm all for it. If you torture a wild animal, there's nothing greater than the justified violence of a bull putting its horn through some fucking twat in a fucking tight trousers and cape. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that one iconic image of the horn coming out of his mouth.
I've tweeted that so many times.
Oh, that one where it goes under his jaw
at the chin and out of his
mouth.
And the other one is up his ass. The one that went up the guy's ass.
Right up his ass. Yeah.
Oh, is that a good one?
Yeah, that's great. It's not great because the bull still dies and was tortured.
Right.
You know what? They even cut the tendons in the neck, so it's in charge mode.
It doesn't have that.
Yeah.
Ability to flip them anymore.
They fucking wind it up. They cut the tendons so it's always in charge. It can't do anything but put its head down. It's torture.
It is torture.
It's a weird fucking
You're watching
torture.
animal torture in a fucking ring.
That's kind of a piggish culture to do that.
Yeah.
Watched it on Bourdain's show, and it was interesting. Like he was trying to, he was
trying to be cool about it.
Yeah, I was trying to be cool about it, and they were trying to explain it that this is a part of their tradition, this rich culture. I'm like, okay, yeah.
I don't think so.
Well, it's not a fair fight either. There's a bunch of other dudes sticking spears in the thing.
Yeah.
Go out there.
Yeah, bare hands. Go ahead. Duke it out with
You
them.
can even wear horns.
Yeah.
I'll even let you wear horns. Little Viking helmet. Little Viking helmet. Yeah.
Yeah, you think it wouldn't be much of a match?
I'm opposed to zoos as well. I mean, I'm a hypocrite because I take my kids to the zoo because I just want them to see these animals. I can't change the fact that it exists, but the idea of this animal prison is really kind of fucked.
Yeah.
It is. It depends. There's a lot of them to do. Do animal husbandry, but when it gets to a tiger walking the same 40 yards in its exact footprints, and he's the experiment. He's the one to keep the species going. I do feel for that guy. I feel for that one guy who didn't choose to be this guinea pig to keep this. I want to go free. I go. A species. I do worry about that individual animal because I do.
And even more so, fucking SeaWorld. SeaWorld's the crazy.
That's disgusting.
You find out how intelligent these goddamn
documentary was amazing.
Horrifying.
Yeah,
that was fantastic.
It's literally
the deception that's going on.
It's like having an alien that you can't understand. So you're like, I don't know what you're saying. Get in the cage. Do you want to eat? Yeah. Well, you know how to flip, so you got to do that.
You know what's so fascinating about that is they tell you in the documentary in Blackfish that those orcas in captivity are the only ones who their dorsal fin leans over. There's no such thing as that happening in the wild. No. So like it's basically giving you this signal. You can actually see them.
It's whale depression.
It's whale depression. It's whale depression. And they also tell you how you can actually see so much cooler shit if you go on instead of going to
when you want to just see them in their natural habitat and realize that the ocean is their home. There's no way you can make a tank big enough that's going to accommodate what these animals are used to and what they need.
But I always think, whatever you're into, there is an ethical alternative. And if there isn't, fuck it. You
then just don't do it.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
No doubt.
You can You can go clay pigeon shooting. You can do, you don't need to see something die in agony for fun. There's, you can shoot targets.
You're not a fan of hunting, then?
Yeah. Well, no. Thing is, it's a matter of degrees. For me,
Right.
there's a difference between someone who goes out
sport
and
hunting
has
or
to catch food for his family, just like animals do.
Right.
And and let's face it, so, an animal that's lived a great life and is a clean kill, and you eat every part of it if you're a meat eater, is better than some of the food industry. Whereas chicken's been literally tortured all its life, so you can buy a chicken for $2. So it is a matter of degrees. But it's the trophy hunting. I don't. Why kill an endangered species? Why the can hunting is disgusting. They've just been bred, and it's so easy. It's not clever. Of course you're going to win. You've got a fucking gun, right? There's no. I know the result. You win. You've got a fucking gun, right? But it's the macho. What turns you on about killing a thing for the sake of it? You're not going to eat
that
it. You're
woman
not,
that shot that lion, and she was there with the lion as the trophy. It's like, nah.
Well, there's not just one of them. I mean, the lion thing is fascinating because they're all in these high fence operations as well, and these people go over there and they pay money, and it's under the. What's weird is here's what gets really strange is like that's where a lot of the conservation
funding comes from people
hunting.
shooting the animals.
A rich twat can buy
like the rhino
for
thing.
$50,000
the
or something.
$350,000 black rhino thing. But
why can't you give the money and not shoot it? If you've got $50,000 to spend on a bullet going through an animal's head, let's give the money and not.
Well, the issue with that rhino
great person.
too is that rhino they needed to take out. That rhino was an aggressive male that was no longer breeding and was killing. Had the potential for killing younger rhinos.
We were talking about that.
Kill
It's
that
like,
rhino
well,
anyway.
so what? That's what he does.
But the other thing is, if something needs to be done, why does it have to make it into a sport and fun? When I had to have my cat put down, if the vet said, "Do you mind if I masturbate?" I'd say, "Yeah, I do." Why get fun out of something that's necessary? Do you know what I mean? Why do you have to get fucking weird? If it has to be done, it has to be done. But you don't have to go around fucking bragging about it and getting off on it.
And make a game out of it.
I mean, why make a game out of it? You might as well do it. You don't do that when they turn the machine off. You know what I mean? So turn the machine off. Is it going to be on or off? Okay, let's bet now. But why make a fucking game out of it?
Well, the idea is that this money that they spent, this $350,000, is going to go towards helping the ones that are going to stay alive, preserving them and allowing them to spend money and allow them to maintain their habitat. But the real quandary is that their habitat is all fenced in. It's a really fucking weird thing because it's kind of like hunting in a zoo.
Right.
Because you're pretending that they're wild animals, but there's a fence around the whole operation. So it's very strange. Like they guarantee these animals are in there. They're not fucking going anywhere.
Yep.
Right.
And they're saying, well, this is all this money goes to the renewable resource and the conservation of these animals, and there's more animals today because of the hunters' efforts. But man, when you see the way they hunt these animals, like these lions are just sitting there. I watched this one show where these lions are sleeping, and this guy sneaks up on them and shoots them with a bow and arrow. I mean, while they're sleeping.
Battering. I don't know where the other thing about it is
you don't even eat lions.
But let's put this in context. Imagine someone saying, there's a guy, he's going to give $1 million to cancer research. All he wants is to shoot one cancer patient. just choose one that's definitely going to die.
One that's an asshole.
He just wants to shoot in the head, and then he's going to give $1 million, and we'll probably cure cancer.
Yeah.
What do you think? I'll talk to Mrs. Brown.
If he gives $2 million, he can shoot a kid, right?
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean?
There you go. Just set him loose.
Yeah,
I think the craziest thing with the hunting is people hunt. I know a guy who showed me he hunts at a feed. And I thought that was the most bizarre thing.
Wow.
That, like, he goes, we have a tree stand.
So that's still...
So, and they know when the feed comes out. And I'm like, so what do you do? He's like, well, you sit here and you just shoot it when it's eating. I'm like,
that's great.
Well, see, that's better than farming? Obesity. Is it better than farming? I mean, the idea of farming is you have all these animals, they're penned in, eventually you're going to kill them and eat them. Well, if you do it ethically and humanely, most people aren't too opposed to that. The idea is factory farm is what we have a real issue with. But if you were going to farm deer like that, just have like a feeder and every now and then just snipe one from a distance. I mean, if that's how you're going to get your meat.
Again, everything being equal, where is the fun in these people that call it sport and a rush?
Yeah, that's not.
It's not. I don't know. Their excitement must literally be that I put the bullet in its head. That must be. That's the only thing you can reduce.
Yeah, there's not even a hunt that's going on where they're stalking or there's some strategy to it. If they're laying down and the guy kills a lion that's laying down sleeping, there's no.
And you don't need to, and you're not eat it, and you know, it's purely, it's reduced to purely for the fun of saying I killed
killing something.
You know, it would be a great thing if a lion is sleeping. If you walk up and you slap it on the balls and then run away, that's something you should feel really good about. Like, if you get away with that,
now I'd allow that as a sport.
Yeah, of course,
because I know the lion would win. 9 times out of 10.
9 times. The 10th time he'd be going, "Did that cocksucker just slap me in the balls?"
Or there'd be one Jim Norton lion who'd go, "Do it again."
No, you realize it was just a lioness with the balls. And you have to give her extra.
Yes, we get it.
Yes.
Made the point.
There's a great video. A video I saw the other day. I guess they were helping out this leopard who was causing some problems in some village, and they decided to relocate it. So they put him in a cage. They drive him out however many miles. And it's a couple of African guys in the cab of this truck, this pickup truck with the cage in the back. And the leopard, they opened the door, it wouldn't get out of the cage. So the guy opens the door of the cab, of the pickup, by the steering wheel. He's hanging onto the steering wheel, and he's kind of poking the cage to get the leopard out. The leopard comes out, turns right the fuck around, and charges at him. He shuts the door, but he left the window open. This fucking leopard jumps in the window and just starts clawing at this guy. It was like when fucking Newman got killed in Jurassic Park. It looked like that. The truck is shaking. He's just screaming. And it's all on video. It's great. And I'm just laughing like, the leopard's getting you.
Didn't you hate that scene in Jurassic Park where he gets in the truck and the thing was lurking in the back like a fucking rapist? It's like a prehistoric animal, but it understands, hanging out in the back seat. Oh, he does this before work. I'll hide under the paper. What happened? Fucking dinosaur.
Yeah, our relationship to animals is a very strange one.
Pretty shitty, actually.
It's very strange. Yeah. It's very strange.
Well, it's because we like animals. We love them as pets, certain ones and stuff. But we also have this thing where we need to eat them.
I think that we think we're not animals. I think that's where it comes from. We think we're not animals, and obviously we are. And we think that it's all for us. We were put here on this earth. It's all for us.
Right.
That's the common attitude. Yeah. Well,
there you go.
Yeah. Isn't it? I mean, isn't the Bible?
I think a lot of it comes from.
It's all been put here for our
take your quiver and your bow. Let
do
all
what
those
we
animals,
want with.
Right. All the game.
There's the big shark cull at the moment in Australia.
Yeah.
Right. They're starting to kill a bunch of sharks.
And they're saying, you know, the people that are for it are saying, but it's dangerous if you go into this particular bit of sea. Don't go into that particular bit of sea. Problem solved.
Yeah, there you go.
When the sharks are getting out and getting you an internet cafe, let's still.
Well, what they need to do is make some sort of fucking bulletproof surf suit.
There you go.
Make some surf suit where you could get bit and it's just a freak out. He fucking bit me and look,
Did you
nothing.
see that? Cool.
Nothing.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Some really super light chainmail.
Yeah. Every time I stick my dick in this meat mincer, it chews it up. Don't do that.
Yes, meat mincer is not actually her name, but.
That's just a nickname.
She's earned it.
We really have not figured out that shark thing. Like, there's really no good defense against a shark if you're in the water with them. They really win. There's just win.
Nothing you can do. And they break apart those shark cages sometimes. A big one would get in there and start hammering it. They're not meant to withstand the impact of those fucking sharks.
They're amazing.
Amazing animals, yeah.
700-million-year-old.
They're the cleanup. They're the cleanup crew. Just like mountain lions are the cleanup crew. Just like lions are the cleanup crew.
Yep.
I mean, nature has a full system.
They have a conveyor belt of teeth. The new ones, they just keep coming.
Yeah,
keep
that tells you right there. All right, you know what his job is.
Yeah.
If he has to replace his own fucking teeth.
With a shark, you can't get any footing either. That's another thing that sucks.
No, you really it's like, you got no leverage to kind of work against the shark.
Yeah, all you can do is swing your arms.
Yeah.
always hear that.
Meanwhile, every action equal and opposite reaction. You go to hit against the nose, your body goes back.
Yeah.
So you really got nothing. So you're getting half of a watery punch. I don't think the shark gives a shit.
Yeah.
No, that people have survived like in a foot of water and been dragged away without their feet.
Yeah.
But out in open water, it's very little.
There's nothing you can do.
The shark bites you and realizes you're not. You basically have to rely on the shark not enjoying your taste.
Right.
Like if he bites you and says this is not what I want and lets you go, that's the only.
At
way
least
to
it's
survive.
fast and there's not a lot of terror and agony during the whole.
Well, they think you're seals. They always think you're seals, don't they? They don't.
Yes.
It's not,
Oh, do they love a seal?
They
don't apologise.
No.
I thought you were a seal.
I thought you were a seal.
Well, I'm in half.
It's pretty amazing that people go into water at all.
Imagine going to a restaurant, they serve you a nice filet mignon, you go to cut into it, and it goes, hey, I'm not a filet mignon.
Exactly.
You're like, oh, I thought, it's not my fault.
I bet you on a shark radio show right now, they're talking about cruelty to people. And, you know, sometimes they just bite one, and they don't need to bite him. They know what he is. They pretend.
I do eat all the human. If it's, I don't do it for fun, like some friends do it for fun. I do eat all the human.
Yeah, well, look at Harry. He's got a surfboard collection.
It is fascinating that our ethical relationship with animals. You know, that we do decide like what's the good way to kill them with the least amount of cruelty,
and which ones we'll leave alone.
Factory farming and all these.
And when did that come about? Was
debates.
it always like in our primitive stage? Did we care how we killed an animal?
I think we probably used. I mean, that was the thing about the Native Americans. They used all of the animal, and then they showed respect to the animal because they had this symbiotic relationship with these animals. They needed the animals to stay alive, and though they hunted them, they had reverence and respect for them, and they would, you know, do buffalo dances and, you know, do all these different things with it.
That was a very spiritual thing more than it was like caring about the animal's feelings.
Well, I think I think it made sense evolutionary speaking, because they knew that it was like not over farming and over hunting. They knew what to do to have a crop next year, whereas then you guys came along and just killed every buffalo, and you couldn't even eat them all.
Technically, it was you guys.
Yes, was it? In those days, it was us, wasn't it?
Let's get that right.
It's the same gene pool. You're still ours. You're still ours.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, us or Dutch.
English, something in there. It is an evolutionary thing. But then we get to the point where you have so many people to feed. You can't be coddling every chicken and making sure he's got a lot of room. It doesn't work out mathematically.
But we've always been. The humans have always been like locusts. They ravage. They don't, you know, they don't worry about it. Even early, sort of what would be called cavemen. 10, 15,000 years ago, they discovered they could run mammoth over the edge of a cliff.
Oh God!
And they killed 25, but they couldn't eat.
It's hard to kill a fucking mammoth.
Yeah.
You gotta figure out what you gotta do. You don't have a gun. You don't have a car. You don't even have heat. What are you gonna do? Run these cunts right off a fucking cliff. Starving. The kids are screaming.
Your eyes are bigger than your belly. You're not gonna eat all that, are you?
Fuck this elephant.
I'll eat it later.
This big hairy elephant thing.
I don't even know what an elephant is yet. It's gonna have a Brazilian. It's gonna be an elephant.
That had to be the first time anyone ever went. You know, the other cave comes over and goes, "You gonna eat that? You're gonna finish that?"
Well, a mammoth deserves to be killed because it looks so pedible. Big long hair. You're like, oh, that's got to be a delight. You walk
giant
over.
yak.
Yeah, giant yak. Fucking big thing with a wig. I love when a circus elephant tramples everybody. Nothing makes me happier.
Oh, it's lovely, isn't it?
The circus elephant killing everyone.
It's been caged and it's being whipped and it just suddenly turns around.
What an archaic
with its
form of
head.
entertainment.
Yeah.
The circus. What a dark ages fucking form of entertainment the circus is.
Yeah, let's make ethical snuff movies where the person dies but deserved it because he was torturing an animal.
Right, there you go.
That's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
When those elephants lose their mind though, and then you realize like, wow, that has been a patient elephant because he could have done that any time, and the rage they can let loose.
The fucking elephant was waiting because just when you think it's okay, fuck it, Bartini gets killed, Carlo gets strangled. The fucking elephant.
It's the end of the Godfather.
Chokes Carlo with his trunk.
I watched that yesterday on the plane again, all 3 hours ago.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
It's the best film ever created.
It really is.
I've watched it 50 times. I know it all off by heart, and
Isn't
it's
it
still
amazing?
a joy to watch. It's amazing, The Godfather. It's incredible, isn't it?
And Brando was a cat lover in the beginning. How great was that?
I love it, yeah.
Yeah. Fluffing with the cat.
Yeah, and meowing. The cat's meowing.
Do you ever see
That is
weird...
not justice.
You ever see footage of Godfather outtakes where they'll show like all of these like cue cards, because Brando was such a fucking wacko, like he didn't know his lines, and like you realize this genius performance where he was looking over James Caan's head reading lines.
I've heard stories, but you know that they're true. But I did hear one when he got a bit bigger that he'd do takes with his trousers down, so they had to use the close up.
Yes, in the De Niro movie with Edward Norton.
Holy shit!
In the score.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yes, I heard that because he was so obese. And James Caan was in here, and he said that Brando would actually at times put his lines on people's heads.
Yeah.
How demeaning!
Oh, yeah.
How demeaning is that? You've got a great... Hey, I've got a part with Brando.
Yeah.
Why? He wants to write on me? He just wants to write on me.
I have a giant forehead.
Yeah, but I wasn't even in it. I was just a keyboard.
Yes. The worst hairline you had, the more Brando loved you. Like, he'll Brando made a career out of it.
How degrading that is, though.
That's amazing, isn't
Burger
it?
King crowns.
He threw him under the bus, James Caan.
Yeah, he really did.
Boy, he threw him under the bus when he was in here.
That was part of Brando's genius.
Who did?
James Caan. He said all that shit, that he had all his lines written all over the set.
He's dead, though.
It's true.
Though.
It's true, though. What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
Was it bad that he's still a brilliant performance?
Still a great performance.
I couldn't tell.
Bad that he read it?
Yeah.
It gives a
It's
shit.
even more impressive that he did that. To make that alive and still looking at it is more impressive than anything.
Well, maybe he did actually know the lines, but he wanted to be really clear and have no thinking whatsoever about what comes next, so have it all spelled out.
How do you write that on the little kid's head, though?
Yeah.
How do you spell that?
Yeah, how do you spell that? Stand still, you little bastard.
He was a strange fuck in his later days, huh?
Oh, he was an odd guy.
Crazy asshole.
Yeah.
Remember when he had the Native American go up to accept his Academy Award?
Academy
She was an
Award.
actress. She wasn't even a real Native
She wasn't
American.
even a real Native American girl.
She was an
Yeah.
actress. They fucking booed her.
An actress.
Great.
And then on the Larry King interviews were great. He was just leaning over, kissing Larry King. And they would just talk about the oddest
But
things.
I think sometimes I see people like that, right? And I think they must think, oh, I'm Marlon Brando. I've had all this, right? Everyone thinks I'm great. I'm surrounded by yes men. I just want to fuck things up a little bit. I want to see what'll happen.
Let me see what I could get away with.
What can I get away with?
Before people go, no, we're not accepting this anymore.
Yeah,
I don't care who you are. You're being an asshole.
Yeah, exactly. Who's going to say it to
Right,
me?
right.
Yeah.
Who's going to be the one?
Go look at On the Waterfront, how fucking beautiful he was, and then look what he ate himself into. I mean, he ate himself into Ralphie May proportions. I mean, he's this fucking enormous human being towards the end of his life.
Yeah.
But when he was young, he was this beautiful, sculpted man with perfect features.
There are people that died early that could have reached that point. That it's like, all right, good. Like I think, what's his name?
Out of everyone,
Jim Morrison would have been a big fat guy.
I think with Twitter now, everyone who died young and is revered would be hated now.
Right.
They do something. They do loads of terrible things.
Tweets.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Jim Morrison would be tweeting about those Negroes. Jim Morrison had to apologize today for
Marilyn Monroe. I killed a panda today just for fun. Fuck it. Fuck the little black and white cunt.
I'm wearing panda skin panties.
Exactly.
Extra large.
Yeah, we revere them now, but they'd have just
But
been
also,
assholes.
it would work the other way around as well, because they're on Twitter that you would get geniuses. If Isaac Newton was around today and he was on Twitter, they'd be saying things like, "I'm glad the apple finally had your faggot. Why weren't you at work?" There's no respect either way.
Einstein having to print you fucking haters would just be
trolls
so
putting
demeaning.
people off. I had a great speech, and then someone sent me this tweet and it fucked me up. I didn't know what to say.
Well, they would go after Einstein for his love of pussy, too.
Oh, well.
Oh, was he a hound?
Yeah, Einstein was a weird character. He was eccentric in more ways than one. So was Feynman, sort of a lot of brilliant guys.
Yeah.
Pussy chasers.
I didn't know that.
That would be the big deal.
They kept that,
kept that under wraps.
Yeah, big time.
You know how good you have to be at getting
he marry
ass?
his cousin or something like that?
Huh?
Didn't Einstein marry his cousin or something?
First time hearing this.
I never heard that.
Yeah.
Jerry Lee Lewis.
It's all right, it's not libelous.
Jerry Lee Einstein. He's the one that married his cousin.
He may have.
Jerry Einstein.
Jerry Lee Einstein.
Yeah, the one they don't talk about.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. That must have looked great when he was going down on a girl though with that head of hair.
Yeah, Einstein married his cousin.
Take that picture.
Wow. He married his second cousin, Elsa.
Second.
In 1919.
Now, what second and what's removed? What second cousin mean?
Jesus,
is that
fucking
second
Christ.
cousin?
Is second cousin your cousin's offspring, or is that your cousin's cousin?
I think it's your cousin's
cousin. I don't know. I like the fact their name was Elsa. I think we're all missing that how names have really evolved nicely.
Elsa.
That's a terrible name.
You don't like that?
No, I couldn't come to it. Elsa.
That's not a pretty name.
How would that get in the way? Her shouting her own name. How would that? Stop saying your name.
I would just look at her and know. It would
just know her name.
Typically, whenever I have sex with a girl, I have to fuck her with her own license on her forehead. It's a weird fetish I have.
Okay, listen to this. She was his first cousin maternally and his second cousin paternally.
All right, so there was shenanigans going on beforehand.
Hold on. I've got to work this out.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
so,
what the fuck does that
mean?
hold
on. Hold on. Does that mean
mother's sister's daughter?
His aunt. So it's his aunt's
daughter. On the mother's side, it was his mother's sister's daughter.
Mother's sister's daughter. Gotcha.
That's your first cousin.
And once removed paternally.
Now the father had to have been his.
This is like one of those conundrums, isn't it? It's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you cousin's brother?
What?
Welcome to Who Did Einstein Fuck?
So the girl that he married, her parents were somehow related.
Yeah,
the mother and father.
Of course, her parents were related.
Well, I mean.
You mean that's about marriage? I see. Right.
I think they were related.
Oh, I see what you mean. They were cousins.
Wow, this is crazy.
Yeah, I safe to say not a soft dick in this room right now.
Jimmy. Wow, that's
a trip.
Back then, I think it was more accepted.
They have kids?
Like Charlie Rose, this show.
They have kids?
None of this came up when I did Charlie Rose. There was not one bit of crossover. On a Venn diagram, these circles were miles apart. There's literally no crossover.
There's no little area to...
Charlie Rose.
I want to know. I want to know how they had kids.
Yes, they did.
Do they have smart kids?
That's a good question.
Yes, they did have smart kids, but they're all fused.
Exactly.
They're all fused to the head.
They didn't have smart kids. We would have known.
They're not smart enough.
One big cousin brain.
Some conjoined head. Giant brain with wild hair.
6 legs.
Yeah.
Imagine the expectations of being Einstein's kid.
Yeah, that's got it. What'd you do?
Yeah.
How'd you do? I got an A.
Yeah.
Good.
97, huh?
You suck.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And then that's ironic, the theory of relativity, and there's related to the people that
it's almost
a little irony.
Isn't it? It's almost cruel.
Yeah.
You go, we'll see what I've done. On you go. You know what I mean?
On you go.
Really bad.
Theory
like
of relativity.
Edison's kids.
Einstein's theory of relativity is fuck your cousin.
That's why I haven't had kids. It'd be cool for them. They could never, ever compete with me. I don't want to bring... Yeah,
Would you just be rubbing it in your children's faces? Look what I did.
Yeah. They wouldn't have to do much to beat me at anything, really. A slob.
A lot of people have kids and they want to spare their kids what they had to go through to get to achieve. Like they want it to to be soft. Like I
just don't have them.
Yeah,
that's done.
There you go.
Believe me, I've wasted generations alone.
Easy enough.
Yeah, there's a lineage in my sock hamper.
Literally a planet full.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Yeah, a planet full of people there.
Think about how many sperm cells are in each load.
It's crazy.
I mean, you can fertilize a continent with one shot.
One splash.
Imagine loads of Jim Nortons if you just like.
Yeah.
We would lose our. I think there's one or two is okay, but a whole bunch of them we would just kind of get.
We got to start cloning you, Jimmy. We got to just start cloning you.
Yeah, to fix all the flaws. Like give it a chin and no erection difficulties.
That's great. Make it sound like some sort of one-generation amphibian. It's like it came into the gene pool for one generation. It didn't work out. It fell out of the gene pool. What was that picture you tweeted of you when I said it looks like the one from Silence of the Lambs? You dancing around with your shirt off with lipstick on. What, you've forgotten? Like, which time? What do you mean?
Wait, was it me?
It was against, it was like you, and I said...
Did I have a wig on or no?
No. How many variations of this picture? We can't pinpoint the picture of you dancing around naked with lipstick on.
You're being too vague is the problem.
There was a lipstick picture of me. That was my Twitter photo.
That was from Leno, right?
That was when I did Leno, and I took the wig off in the car.
That was so creepy.
Oh, maybe it was that.
And I had a leopard dress on.
I just thought you were at home alone, just taking pictures, and thought I'd just tweet that.
Oh yeah, no, the wig would have still been on.
This photo, is that a photo of you taking a picture with a fucking cheetah next to you? What is that?
No, I tweeted that saying that's how real men shoot animals.
What is this guy doing? He's got is that a cheetah or a leopard right next to him?
I think it's a preservation because the cheetah's got a little thing on, so I think he's probably not a tame cheetah,
domesticated somehow or another.
It's probably about 10,000 acres, but he's a famous photographer, so I think he probably gets in with them.
That's right in there.
Huh. Wow.
It was that. The other one was the big thing was that Melissa. Was it Melissa Bachman? Who?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so.
Oh, the chick who shoots the lions.
She shoots the lions. Yeah, and she tweeted, "What a hunt!" And I said, "Spot the typo."
That's great. That's so English. That's such British humor.
Yeah, that's so hilarious. Very well done.
Bravo.
Yeah.
That was very well handled.
I eat meat and I hunt. I just started hunting recently because I don't want to be a part of factory farming. I don't believe in it. I think it's disgusting, and I want to avoid it as much as possible. But the idea of shooting things just to shoot them and trophies—that's
ridiculous.
It's disgusting.
It's disgusting.
It's weird.
There's no reason for it.
Kills things for fun. Well, apart from the cat.
Well, the cats, they love it. Yeah, look what I did.
There are certain issues like wolves. They have to call the wolf population in North America because they brought wolves in. They brought wolves in from Canada because wolves had declined radically because of hunting. Now they've taken off and they've become a huge threat to livestock. They've decimated the elk and deer population, and they're way above what they think is a healthy number of wolves in like Idaho and a lot of the western states. So they've started hunts on wolves, and a lot of people are complaining, like people that don't live in these areas. But people don't remember that the big bad wolf and all that shit, that all came from wolves eating people. In Paris in the 1400s, wolves killed 40 people in Paris.
Wow.
In fucking Paris. They came into Paris and started killing people because they're smart. And they figured out how to gang up on people, get a good group of them together, and let's find some of these
The French are easy, though. They gave up very quickly against a few Nazis.
They didn't want to drop their croissant.
First the wolves, now the Nazis.
Yes, famous picture of wolves walking down the street with a guy crying.
Like, I have a real issue with hunting for sport, but the people that think that you're not supposed to control populations of predators
it's very
are
different.
crazy.
Of course it is. It's a matter of degree. Exactly, yeah. No, it is very different. And you're right. Something that you could shoot a pheasant and eat every part of it that feeds a family. If you eat meat, then that is better. As I said, then have you seen the chickens they keep? They pump them up so they reach adulthood in a few days in complete darkness. They become cannibals. It sends them crazy just so you can have a 2-pound chicken.
So you can cut their beaks off to keep them from fucking pecking at each other.
That's nice.
Jesus. Chickens cannibalize each other normally, though. I have chickens. Really? I have chickens. I've 14 of them in my backyard. Really? I have a giant chicken coop, and
14 chickens.
Yeah, we get eggs from them every day. It's great. They're but they're free range.
Are they friendly?
Very friendly. They're like pets. My wife picks them up.
No, you can't fuck them, Jim.
I would love to. I'm trying to learn German.
There's one. There's one I'll let you fuck. But they have issues. They'll attack each other. Their pecking order that phrase comes from.
Right, yeah.
They're fucking really mean to this. I have one chicken that's like a really tiny one, and they fuck this chicken up, man. They gang up on her.
Chicken bullying.
Yeah, they're all girls, so they all they henpeck each other.
Of course.
It's all the words.
But they will
now
cannibalize.
They make sense.
They will find a hole. They'll peck at each other and then create a hole. And then once they create a hole, you have to do something about it because otherwise they'll
just keep going at it.
Yeah, they'll kill it.
Oh man,
they'll cannibalize it and eat it.
Yeah.
They're ruthless as far as like eating meat. I'll give them like leftover scraps, like chicken. I won't give them chicken, but I mean,
that's a little fucking
ruthless.
It's poor taste, Jim.
I'll give them beef, whatever leftover beef or whatever, and they'll go crazy. They eat venison. They'll go bananas for it.
So now they've got a taste for cow.
Yeah.
So the farmer next door,
chickens attacking us. I caught him fucking up a mouse.
Really?
They fucked up a mouse the other day. Yeah, they cornered it, and they have this huge chicken coop. It's like a house sized, and I open the door and I let them run around the yard. It's a
sounds like Shawshank. It's amazing.
Oh, they're gang up.
They fucking, they found
a mouse. A mouse made its way into the coop.
But how did they catch it?
They just fucking went after it. They're fast. They're really fast. They can run, man.
Well, I trained my boxing like that in Philadelphia years ago. My trainer told me if once I catch a chicken, I can catch grease lightning.
Yeah.
Rocky too.
Yeah. And that's from a broken down punk like me.
Yeah, an old mug like me, Rock. Who knew I was Jewish until they buried me in the third one? Goldberg.
I would be scared if chicken ate the mouse there, that it might pick up some kind of
it could be an issue,
bubonic plague or something.
It could be an issue. Well, usually the eggs are pretty protected dietarily from what they eat. It's not, like they're protected from parasites and things like that. But yeah, you have to be careful.
No shit.
Yeah.
How many eggs a week you get from that?
A lot. I get about 9 a day.
9 a day? Every day?
Yeah, one chicken's turned up missing.
Fucking chicken.
It's either one of my dogs got it, which I don't think happened because the dogs are pretty friendly and they don't exhibit that, or a hawk. Much more likely a hawk got it.
That would have been
because
cool
there's
to
no
watch.
Feathers. There's nothing around, so
Just
I'm pretty sure.
Fucking took them up into the sky.
Well, the area where they free range is a lot of trees, so it's difficult for a hawk to get in there. But sometimes they wander outside of that area and go out by the pool.
I
think that's what happened.
Have you got foxes?
Coyotes, a lot of coyotes,
right.
especially in where I live. I live about 30 miles north of L.A. We have deer in my yard. I see deer in my yard every day.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very rural.
It's crazy wild.
I got a lot
up
of
there.
acreage up there, but there's a lot of hawks.
Any mountain lions?
Yes, 2 in my neighborhood have been spotted. Yeah, it's not cool.
Jeez,
it's not cool.
They love bicyclists.
Well, they love anything that's running.
Anything that's moving.
To your cat.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They'll chase it down and just...
They can't help it. It's a ball of yarn to them.
Yeah, they love it. Ball of yarn.
Well, Samuel Jackson tweeted a picture recently of Mulholland Drive, of a fucking mountain lion on Sunday afternoon killing a deer on Mulholland Drive.
It looked huge, it
amazing.
Looked bigger than it looked like a real lion. It was huge.
Big cats, man. They get to be $150. I've seen 2 of them. I've seen one in Colorado and one in Santa Barbara. They were smaller cats. They were both about like 70 pounds.
That's what I thought they were. I thought they were like they're pumas, aren't they? They're basically
mountain lions. The biggest ones get to be about $150. I mean, they can get to 200 pounds. The record.
Yeah, this one looked massive.
It had this deer. It was mounting on this deer and it's biting its neck. It's pretty fucked.
Fuck.
And right on Mulholland. That happens all the time.
So powerful, those things.
You see the photos of the one that they found that lives in that park right above the Hollywood sign, like right above L.A.? Big fucking cat. They got all these camera trap photos of this giant cat that lives right up there, right in this park where everybody fucking jogs. It's a giant predator.
Amazing, yeah.
Just hanging out.
Waiting.
Killing deers, coyotes, whatever it gets hold of.
I eat tourists.
All
They're so slow and stupid. They always stop right there for the best picture.
They look at this little thing in their hand and they ignore their
ignore their surroundings. It's amazing.
It's so easy.
Coyotes you see coyotes running down the street in L.A.
All the
I've seen
time.
them with dogs in their mouths. Just
You've seen a coyote with a dog in its
on
mouth?
Fountain. In Hollywood, at like midnight, just jogging down the street with a dog in its mouth. And I've had them like late at night, heard this crazy, like, it sounds like a bark, but it's so much higher pitched. And I saw that a pack of them had come out. Because there's
they lure dogs away, don't they?
They what?
They lure dogs away.
They lure dogs away.
Man. Yeah, one blows them away, the dog goes to plays with it, and then the pack get them.
It's crazy. They come out in packs, and like at first you're like, what is that shrieking, high pitched? Because it doesn't sound like a familiar dog bark. It's not, and I went out and they had gathered around. There was a big dog that was through a screen gate. And they had found this apartment, and they were just like 6 of them
working like a team.
Yeah, the dog would win against one, but they take it away, don't they?
One lures it away, and the rest.
Then they get because they get dogs that could kill them. You know, a big dog would kill a coyote,
right?
But not
Not 6 or 7 of them.
Exactly, yeah.
It's like a young officer and a gentleman. You remember when he went over there and he was playing with the Filipino kid and they took him outside and all of a sudden, hey, big spender, give us your money.
That's right.
It's exactly like that.
Exactly.
I've told this story on my podcast.
Stop, don't go. I've seen this in a movie.
There's a guy who works at the pet store near me that also works for a veterinarian's office, and they brought in this big pit bull, 120-pound pit bull, and had cuts all over its body. The owner had no idea what happened, and somehow or another got out of the yard and something attacked it. They went back to the yard. They stitched this thing up, 1,000 stitches all over the dog's body. Go back to the yard, follow the trail of blood from the dog's house to up into the woods, where they find 9 dead coyotes.
Wow.
This pit bull got lured into this trap and just
a good fight.
fucked them all up. He said it looked like Saving Private Ryan, just guts and limbs torn apart. And you know, pit bulls are a very extraordinary dog. It's very
a big dog too. Right?
Yeah, the biting power is ridiculous, isn't it?
120-pound pit bull is a fucking lion. I mean, that's an enormous dog.
Yeah.
And it just, they fucked up. They lured the wrong one in.
Man.
And just killed them all.
I went walking with wolves a while ago for my birthday, and before we met them, they were saying things. Don't have shoelaces undone. Don't always have a fist. Right, don't put your hand out. Don't have fake fur, nothing like that. Right, don't eat just before. Don't eat anything. Just
Real
before.
Wolves or like
real wolves? Yeah.
Pets?
No.
Wild.
Okay, they keep them in this big thing in Reading. Right, they're socialised, so they have an owner. Right, but they have their instincts. They breed them. They're wolves in the wild, but in an area. Okay, but you can meet them. Okay. And so I'd heard all this. Their biting power is 5 times a pit bull. Their biting power. He was telling me, he said that he had the guy who fed them this
that doesn't seem right.
It's crazy. And we went out there.
I know they're big.
And so he comes out, the alpha male. It's called Turak. And I'd heard all this stuff. And he came up to me, and I was standing there. He put his paws on my shoulder and started licking my face, and I was going, "Oh God, what do I do?" And they're going, "He likes you. He likes the beard. He likes the beard." I was going, "Oh God, oh God, oh God!" And he just cut down, right? And then we had to approach them, and they went in first, right? And they liked having their underbelly.
Yeah.
So he said, "Don't touch their back. Don't touch straight their underbelly." It's because you're submissive then. That means you're underneath them.
So many rules.
Yeah.
See, I would have thought that made them submissive by showing you their belly.
No. Because you're underneath. They're feeding it on their belly, so they've won.
Okay.
So they're feeding on their belly. And then the 2 females came out. There was an alpha female in his tribe, one, and she just kept fucking screwing up this other female. I was going, oh my God, it's okay, it's normal. They bite to their potential, which means that they'll bite just to win, and they won't bite anymore. They won't draw blood.
Wow.
It's just a game. And he said that when they're puppies, we let them bite us, but we scream before it hurts. So they think that's their thing. So then when they bite us, they think they've won, but it's not hurting you.
Wow.
It's amazing. And he
wolf
said,
psychology.
he said, we're going to go past a different pack now. Don't stand between the 2, because they'll bite you. It's called transferred aggression. Right? So we had to stand on the other side, and they went at each other. These were on chains, and the other one, and they were, I've never seen anything like it. It was like something from a horror film. And these big chains. But they're sort of like, they're not tame, but they're socialised.
They're
and
used
they can
to people.
control them.
See, I would never want to go walking with any animal where they're like, okay, look, make sure you keep your fingers into a fist. That is a scary proposition.
I was nervous all the time because I think things can go wrong. They could suddenly get their hands
and then all of a sudden you're just laying there going, oh no, but I'm Ricky Gervais. Don't rip my throat out.
Here's the bite stats. A wolf can bite at 1,500 pounds of pressure per square inch, which is strong enough to snap an elk's leg in half. A domestic dog or even an American pit bull gets to about 250 to 300 pounds of pressure per square inch.
Wow.
Not
like
even
5
close.
times. Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
He was right, 5 times.
Amazing.
That sounds so crazy.
He told me he was chopping up a cow, okay, to feed them, and he couldn't get through the hip. And he just threw it in. He said, and Turak came along and bit it in.
Oh shit!
Unfucking believable.
That's like the Jaws of Life. The fire department uses just bite through a fucking roof of a car.
But I never knew they were that big either. I never knew they were.
They are big.
They're enormous. They're huge.
He literally, he was taller than me. He was taller than me when he stood on me, and he was just